Stand up, New York Giant fans. Gonna have a couple of YouTubers on. I think Bobby's still wrapping up. They should be done soon. I'm gonna have Authentic on from over there. He said he was gonna come on the channel tonight. I just couldn't wait any longer. I pushed the show back from 9 to 9:30. Wasn't trying to interrupt their show at all. But I can't be doing this till 1 in the morning. So figured I go live now, 9:30. We go for a couple hours. Hopefully I get to see a couple of you guys come on via the video chat. And the Giants got a big game coming up. Let me just read this before I lose it from Nick. Gave a super chat before the stream started. Says, have a great stream, Chris. I can't watch this because I can't watch this back. Got to get some sleep. Nick, man, you get some sleep. And hopefully when you wake up in the morning, you're jacked up for the game. Of course, the Giants week 1 got completely demolished against the Denver Broncos. And it left a sour taste in my mouth. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I was still had a sour taste in my mouth up until today. And then around like midday, I'm like, listen, man, it's a short turnaround. We got a big game tomorrow. And if we win, all of a sudden we're 1-1. And you look around this division right now, you look at the Dallas Cowboys. They just have an injury with DeMarcus Lawrence. Michael Gallup's banged up. We know their defense isn't great. You look at the Washington football team. They're starting Taylor Heineke. I mean, and the Eagles, yeah, they look good week 1, but are we completely convinced off a win against the Falcons? So we still got a long way to go. I know a lot of people are touting this game as a must-win, and don't get me wrong, by no means do I want the New York Giants to start 0-2, and I feel like it's damn near close to a must-win. We can't get off to a bad start. We cannot have that pressure on this football team going into Atlanta, and then when you look at the schedule coming up after that, this is definitely a game that the New York Giants want to find a way to get a win, and it will not be easy. Divisional foe. Obviously, I know we've had the upper hand the last couple of years. I think we've won 5 out of the last 6. The last 5 rather, and 6 out of the last 7. So recently we've had their number. They're starting a backup quarterback. I know Heineke looked good against the Bucks in the playoffs last year, and he looked pretty good last week, but that was a game in which you didn't have any time to game plan for him. I expect the New York Giants to come out with a much better defensive effort. And I know today I made a video about Daniel Jones, and it's just because it's not to knock Jones. I still believe in Jones. I've said from the beginning of the year, if this team fixes the pieces around him, I do think he could win football games. And the offensive line was encouraging week 1. It's because I am so infuriated watching this team week after week after week after week play not to win. And last year it made sense to me, but this year I expect them to come out with a much different offensive philosophy. And I recognize that Barkley wasn't completely himself. I recognize that Kenny Golladay and him didn't have much of a rapport yet. So I get that. And I know that, and I hope rather that this offense is going to get much better as the year wears along. Tomorrow is going to be a tough test. Washington has a great pass rush. Andrew Thomas going up against Chase Young. Make no mistake about it. They locked horns twice last year. Andrew Thomas did a damn good job, but I expect the New York Giants to try to double team him, triple team him. Then you got to worry about Montez Sweat on the other side. Giants, first thing on defense, they have to stop the run. Last week, Antonio Gibson for Washington did a damn good job. He had 90 yards on 20 carries. He did have a fumble in the football game, but Washington was able to establish the run against the Chargers. The Giants, the run defense was very concerning for me last week, especially coming in, losing Dalvin Tomlinson from the year before, and I was not convinced at all about our interior nose tackles in that first game. That has to improve a whole hell of a lot this game. We have got to stop the run if we're going to win this football game and force Taylor Heineke to beat us. And the other thing I want to talk about and why I was so discouraged, and let me say hello to a couple people in the chat. Of course, Dyer Giants fan. Of course, Jameson, Jetman, thank you so much, man. Lloyd in the chat, Max in the chat. Sometimes when I go live, I always say hello to you guys, but sometimes when I go live, I just got to get things off my chest, and then we get into the show. And I forgot what I was going to say because I started saying hello to everybody. What's going on there, Mets, man? What's going on there, Caden? What's going on there, Arctic? What's going on there, Jay Moda? Gideon, Vinkrasy, TG Fishing, Eric Garrison, Alpha Dog Pro, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Trixie, what's going on? Donovan Paolos, Saquon Keith, Kevin Wall, Fabian, Roldy in the chat, man. Tornado in the chat, Milk the Cow in the chat, Big Nuts in the chat. Great name. Absolutely love it. Christian in the chat, James in the chat, Alvin in the chat, man. Thank you to everybody for being here. I completely forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh, I was going to get into Patrick Graham. One thing that bothered me after that game, and I know we all hate Jason Garrett. I know Jason Garrett's not this great coordinator. I know he's not very innovative. I know he's the team's punching bag, and I know that a lot of Giants fans feel like he's limiting the offense, and I get it. But one name that I did not hear come out of anybody's mouth was Patrick Graham. The defensive game plan last week was abysmal, and that has to be much better this week. I have high aspirations for this defense this year. The New York Giants came out last week. They blitzed 44% of the time, and they barely got any pressure on Bridgewater. And when they did, he broke the tackles. They were not fundamentally sound. We were getting killed in coverage because we had nobody back there. The defense didn't look like they knew what they were doing in coverage. Patrick Graham has to do a much, much better job in this football game, and I don't think he got enough slack by the fan base. And I know last year he did a tremendous job with this defense. Tremendous job. And I love Patrick Graham. But the defense week one was very discouraging. The offense I expected. It was the defense that really let me down, and we're going to need them to have a rebound performance tomorrow night against the Washington football team if we're going to get a W. But Jatone, man, thank you very much. Need to throw it to first down mark. 100%. 100%. We can't leave it short of the sticks. And I think we need to try to stretch the field. I think we need to have quick passes over the middle. I've talked about that a little bit because that's kind of what the Chargers did last week. And I just want to see the Giants give Daniel Jones the same opportunity that Justin Herbert had going up against that Washington football team. Going in, the Chargers don't have a very good offensive line, right? I know they added Slater last year. I think they may have been the only offensive line ranked worse than us. They went out there. They let Herbert swing the rock when he had to throw it. And I think the Giants are going to have to throw on first down to set up the run because they're absolutely going to stack the box. We know Saquon Barkley's not going to be ultra, explosive in this game. We saw what he looked like week one. I think it's going to take at least another week before we see the real Saquon. The Giants have got to find a way to set up the run by throwing the football. We know these pass rushers are ridiculous, but if you could beat Washington, at least from what the first game showed us, it's over the middle of the field with quick slants, and I'd like to see them get Barkley more involved in the passing game. And we got time, man. What's going on? What's going on, Chris, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy, man. Great supporter, man. Glad to see you. Adam says, what's your score prediction, Tana? Listen, I am trying a different – what's going on, Jared Mercado, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. I am trying a different philosophy this week. Last week, and you know I'm very superstitious. That's why you don't see the red hoodie. We lost. Last week, I picked the New York Giants to win. I was pretty confident that they were going to. I said it was very close. I said 17-16. Giants are going to win by a point. I'm switching it up. I'm going complete opposite now. I'm going to pick the Giants to lose, just not to jinx them. I'm going to go with Washington 2017. But I honestly, in my heart, feel the Giants could very easily win this football game. I really believe that. Taylor Heineke is a backup quarterback. There's no excuses. This defense, I think, will rebound. I think they'll have a much better performance. But I'm going to see if it works. If I pick the Giants to lose and they win, I'm going to keep picking the Giants to lose until they lose. And then maybe I'll go back to picking them to win. But I'm trying to switch things up, guys. I'm trying to do everything I can in my power to find a way to get the New York Giants a W. Because I, just like everybody else in this chat, don't want to have to go 10 days in misery hearing ESPN, hearing Giants fans on Twitter talking about that the world's going to end starting off 0-2, and completely understandable why people feel that way based off the way this team has started in the past and based off the recent productivity this team has given us. I completely understand it. I don't want to go through it as a content creator. I am begging that the New York Giants get off to a 1-1 start and we start to feel much better about this football team. We're kind of right now walking on eggshells. We're nervous right now off that week one performance. We need the New York Giants to come through tomorrow. Yuri, man, thank you very much. We picked up Ojulari with the 50th pick. Then Washington picked Sam Cosmi with the 51st pick. Love to see that matchup. That is a good matchup. I was actually talking to a number of Washington fans who were in my Discord, and they said Cosmi looked bad week one. Now, he's a rookie, but by all accounts, and I didn't get to see the game because they had the Eagles game in my area, but by all accounts, the Washington offensive line did not look good week one. The Giants offensive line, surprisingly, was very good in pass protection. Run blocking, that's another story. Giants got to find a way to get more creative in the run game, maybe try to get Tony involved somewhat, maybe put him in the backfield, try to run more to the outside. It was not working over the middle. And as far as the injury report goes, Shane Lemieux is going to be out. We know that. Evan Ingram's going to be out. So the same, Lemieux played last week, but not a lot. I think he only had about 25 snaps. He is not going to be in this game. So we'll see what the New York Giants decide to do. Will it be Bredesen? Will they potentially put Billy Price at the center, shift Gates over? I haven't heard anything in terms of an update with that, but that's the injury report for the New York Giants. As far as Washington goes, we know the two big names. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick and Curtis Samuel. But thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it, buddy. Yuri's the man, dude. Always in the streams. Let's see. Adil, he said, should have kept Pat Shurmur as the OC. Listen, you had one of two options, and I made a video on this, and people killed me for it, and it was just my honest opinion with about 5 weeks to go in the season, and I never loved Pat Shurmur as a head coach. I thought he was a bad head coach. You were never in a million years going to be able to keep Pat Shurmur as an offensive coordinator. He wasn't going to take a demotion. He was not going to be an offensive coordinator for a new head coach. You either had to A, stick with Pat Shurmur, or you had to move on and get a new head coach. Those were the only two options. He was never staying here to be an offensive coordinator for Joe Judge. Wasn't going to happen. My issue with what the New York Giants did, I have no issue with firing Pat Shurmur. He sucked. The team wasn't good. My issue is, if you knew you were going to fire Pat Shurmur, if you were only going to win 5 games in Daniel Jones' rookie season, Pat Shurmur should not have gotten to select what you hoped was your future franchise quarterback. Because I think Pat Shurmur had a lot to do with why we drafted Daniel Jones in the first place. He fits the scheme beautifully. That's my only issue. And once he selected Jones, I was not super against him staying another year, only for Daniel Jones. Because obviously that, I think, was the main reason why we brought him in. But it's water under the bridge. It's over. Joe Judge is the head coach now. We like some things he's done. Last week, we don't like a lot of what he did. He needs to bounce off that. He needs to have a much better performance this week. The coaching for the New York Giants needs to be much better overall, in my opinion, in week number 2. Adam, thank you very much. Are you live during the game tomorrow? Yes, I'm going to be on Bad Dog's channel tomorrow. Not here. I'm going to be on Bad Dog channel. I will be live probably midday, maybe for like an hour and a half, 2-hour pregame stream, just because I got nothing else to do. And I know a lot of people are going to be jacked up for the game. So I probably will go live at like midday, maybe 3 to 5. And then I'll be on Bad Dog's channel at night. And then after the game, I will be live for a therapy session with you guys or a celebration. And we're all hoping that it's a celebration. Dire Giants fan, he says, hope I'm wrong, but you trust a guy that needs everything perfect around him. I said I would wait until week 4 or 5. But in a year where we need to step up, it wasn't good seeing him not convert. Yeah, listen, man, Dyer, and that's all. And again, I'm not asking anybody to do anything. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to feel the way that they feel. That's the way I'm taking this season, Dyer. And I said it going in. I said that after 2 weeks, I thought the fan base was going to absolutely explode and be nervous based off the fact that I didn't think Daniel Jones was going to come out lighting the world on fire. Pretty self-explanatory, right? We were going up against the Denver Broncos, who has the best secondary in football. We're going up against the Washington football team, an elite pass rush. And Saquon Barkley, I figured, was not going to be 100%. And Galladay really didn't play in preseason. Neither did Kadarius Toney. So I thought the offense was going to come out sluggish. So it's why and it's why what annoys me, Dyer, and it's what I said today, I don't want to feel like the New York Giants are playing not to lose. And that's what I felt like week 1. This year is all about Daniel Jones and finding out about whether or not he can win his football games at the quarterback position. And how can you do that when you see what Denver did with Teddy Bridgewater? They're going for it on 4th and 7 at midfield. They're going for it at 4th and 3 at the 5 when they have an easy field goal. They put the game in his hands. Daniel Jones, 1st and 10 at the 4. They didn't make an effort to try to get a first down. They were content with just punting the football back and letting Denver drive back down the field. And I cannot see that going forward. It annoyed me to no end. It's been annoying me for 2 or 3 days. It's why I had to make a video on it today and get it off my chest. I cannot see that. I need to see them give Daniel Jones an opportunity to prove whether or not he could be the future quarterback of this football team. When you do things like that, at least in my opinion, you're not giving him that opportunity. And Dyer, man, thank you very much. He says, you meant to ask me, do you? I hope I'm wrong, but do you trust a guy that needs everything? The thing I say to that, Dyer, one, I don't think he has everything. I really don't. I don't think he has everything. People say he has everything. I still think the offensive line is highly questionable. I think he finally has some weapons. You look around the league. You look at the best quarterbacks in the league. Josh Allen didn't really take off until he got Stephon Diggs. Kyler Murray, it helped when they got DeAndre Hopkins. Aaron Rodgers has Devontae Adams. Quarterbacks need a wide receiver to throw to, and I think the New York Giants finally provided him with that. And that's why I feel this year it's fair to judge whether or not he could be the guy going forward. Do I have my doubts? Absolutely. Am I a guy that's telling you that I think Daniel Jones is absolutely going to be a franchise quarterback? Absolutely not. I need to see a lot more before I say that. But I think we're going to find out this year. That's what I'll say. And I want to make sure the New York Giants give him every opportunity to prove it. But thank you, Dyer, man. I really appreciate it. Adam says, hell yeah. I'm not ready for another bad dog rant. No. We're going to win. It's going to be celebratory. We're going to be taking shots. It's going to be awesome. New York Giants are going to get off to a nice 1-1 start. I'm going to go and think it positive. Great, man. Thank you very much. Difference is we trust Graham. I agree. No, I agree. But I do think that Graham needed some criticism from the fan base after the first game. Because the thing that really bothered me, Grim, and I'm going to read the rest of your super chat. The thing that really bothered me about Patrick Graham in that game wasn't even the initial game plan, because I get it. He gets Adoree Jackson. He's excited. He wants to dial up the blitz. That is what he was known for in Miami, and that is what I expected this year. But when it didn't work in the first half, and when you saw Teddy Bridgewater was escaping the blitz, and you saw the blitz wasn't getting home, you needed to make halftime adjustments. And I just feel like Patrick Graham went in with a game plan, saw it wasn't working in the first half, and said, I'm just going to keep doing it. And he made no adjustments. And that, to me, was what was discouraging about his week 1 performance. I have every confidence in the world that Patrick Graham is going to clean it up. I think Patrick Graham is probably the smartest coach on this coaching staff, and that includes Joe Judge. I think he's absolutely brilliant. And I think this defense will clean it up. I think they're going to look much better tomorrow night. But I have to be fair in my critiques. And when I see nobody talking about the performance that he had week 1, well, I don't think that's fair. Because I think he was the main reason we lost that football game, if I'm being completely honest with you. Was there other parts? Absolutely. But if you're asking me what was the main reason, I think it was the defensive game plan and the inability to make adjustments at halftime. We expected the offense to struggle early, but the disappointment was the offense looked the same. Yes, in terms of the offensive scheme and everything else, I'm in complete agreement with you. There were times, I will say, as the game went along, where it looked like they were making an effort to throw it a little bit more down the field in the 15 to 20-yard variety, but I need to see that at the beginning. I need to see them aggressive coming out. I have a little bit more hope this week for the offense, but we'll see. Maybe I'm just too optimistic. I definitely think the defense is going to look much better in week 2. But don't get it twisted. We're going up against a really good defense. I don't expect us to light the world on fire. I just need them to do enough, move the ball, convert on third down, put up enough points to win a football game. I don't care if the score is 2-0, if I'm being honest with you. Get out 1-1. That's all I care about. We got to get to 1-1 to give ourselves an opportunity to have a competitive football season. This is a big, big game going into week 2. Zahai, man, thank you very much. Stand up. What's up, Chris? Probably not a fair question, but who do you trust more tomorrow night? The players to execute on the field or the coaches for what they do? Ooh, that is a really good question. I am going to trust, on the defensive end, I'm going to trust the coaches more than the players, because I'm going to tell you why. I do think Patrick Graham will rebound. I do think Patrick Graham will have a much better game plan. I was concerned with the missed tackling on the defensive side of the football. I was concerned with Shelton. I was concerned with Peppers in coverage. I don't want to see Peppers using that role again week 2. So I would probably actually put a little bit more confidence on the defensive end on the coaching staff. On the offensive end, I don't want anybody to get carried away with the offensive line's performance in terms of pass protection week 1. I still think that's a major question mark. If they continue to do that for a few weeks, I'll start to buy in. But they looked really good. They look much better. I shouldn't even say really good, but they look much better than I ever thought they would have looked coming out of the gate. And hopefully they can continue to do that. Garrett, yeah, I mean, I'm not ultra confident in his game planning. The offense has been stagnant since he's taken the job. But we'll see. We'll see. The offense, I think, is still a major question mark. I do think it'll start to look a lot better week 3, week 4, week 5. First 2 weeks, I always thought it was going to be a struggle to start the season. But I was concerned with the missed tackling by the defense throughout the first game, and that definitely needs to be much better, Zahib. Adam, I just want to make sure I didn't skip anybody, and I think I got Nick here, so I'm going to pull him in a second. I'm going to have a couple of people on tonight. I'm just waiting for them all to come in. I just want to make sure I didn't skip anybody. But I did, just because it's not on here. I got it on the phone, though. Jatone, man, thank you very much. If you could redo the draft and draft a lineman instead of Daniel Jones and then get Herbert the next year, would you do it? Of course. I'm a Giants fan. I'm going to support Daniel Jones until they tell me not to support him. He's the quarterback of my football team. Anybody with a set of eyes that sees Justin Herbert play and say they wouldn't take him over Daniel Jones, they're lying to themselves. And the Giants would have absolutely selected Justin Herbert had he been available in that draft. I fully believe that. They were scouting him. So that's what I'll say. Yes. Any Giants fan who says no, that is lying to themselves. I think Herbert's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the sport. And that's not to say Dan Jones can't be good. He can, but Justin Herbert's damn good. As far as with that pick, though, I would not have taken a lineman. I would have taken Josh Allen, if I'm being honest with you, on draft night. That's who I would have taken. I would have taken the edge rusher out of Kentucky. And Brandon, man, thank you very much. Promote Kitchens to play caller and watch the offense bloom. I just don't see how things will be different this week with Garrett calling this crap. We'll see, man. And listen, man, I do think that there are more. We'll see. I think there is more say than just Jason Garrett in the offense. They did promote Kitchens this year. They did bring in the guy from LSU. And I keep saying it, Joe Judge has to be held accountable as well. He is part of the offensive game plan. I have to think they start to open it up. Now, I don't want this team to come out this week and throw the ball 50 times. They do that, they're going to lose. You cannot throw the ball 50 times against this pass rush with our offensive line. I'm going to tell you that right now. But when they throw the ball, they have to be more innovative. They have to be more aggressive. They have to try to stretch the field because that's going to open up the running game. That's my take on it, at least. I don't want him throwing it 50 times. That's asking for a death wish, but they have to try to stretch the field. And I'm going to get Pest and Nikki on in a second. Adam, man, thank you very much. I don't get it. Why would you put Gates at guard if he's playing well at center? Just to risk him struggling. Yeah, we'll see if they do that. They may do that. They may put Nick Gates at the guard, and I don't know. Listen, these guys are professionals. They see how these guys play in practice. My only answer to you would be they feel like that gives them the better opportunity to win, putting Gates at the guard. The one thing I'll say about Bredesen, he was very good in pass protection, or he looked pretty good in pass protection, but his run blocking was really bad. We saw that week 1, so maybe they're trying to establish the run. Maybe they feel it gives them a better opportunity. But I mean, listen, they're paid professionals. I just got to hope they do the job. And I think some of the offensive linemen that they brought in, it was to present them with versatility and try to figure out this mess before the year started. And it may take 2 or 3 weeks before they figure out the exact alignment that they really want to have throughout the entirety of this year. True Rapless, man, thank you very much. Oh, wow, what a surprise. Great to see you, best channel. What's going on, True Rapless, my man? You know what, let me bring in Nikki, and then we're going to bring in Pest as well while I read off a couple of these super chats. Good to see you guys. What's going on?
YouTube Yoda! Yeah, what's going on?
My man, Pest, glad to see you, man. I invited Authentic on, and I tuned in the Bobbies for a couple minutes. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have Pest on as well, and I'm glad that you got the invite, and glad to see you, man, and thanks for popping on, man. Nikki, coming on for a second straight week, great subscriber of mine. He's a TikToker as well, so I didn't have your link, but maybe you can promote it throughout the stream, but thank you so much for coming on, Nikki. Excited to talk Giants football with both you guys.
I'm sorry. Can I just say one thing? Because it's been a while since I've said this.
Yeah.
Hi, Sunday. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Nikki, what's up, buddy?
How you guys doing? Excited for tomorrow?
Oh, listen, it's football. At the end of the day, we waited way too long, Nikki. I'll be the first to say I sulked. I cried in my bed. I slept till 5 p.m. the last couple of days, depressed after the performances by the New York Giants. But it's football. We waited 200 days for this. It's our second game. The season's far from over. I expect a bounce-back performance, and I think the New York Giants will come with a much better effort.
Well, before we get into the X and O's, I got a question for you guys. So there are some people who consider themselves as part of the Joe Judge fan club, like myself, Anthony Rivardo, among many others. When he tells you that he threw the challenge flag to get someone's attention, already us knowing that he's a pretty honest guy, do you believe him, or are you calling BS on
that? Here's what I'll say. If he is telling the truth, which he very well may be, it still doesn't excuse what he did. It's still a vital mistake. You have to know you can't do that. Or B, he was just over emotional and he just threw the flag because he was pissed off and he wasn't thinking. Either way, to me, it doesn't really matter. He made a really bad decision, and hopefully he learns from that and he never does it again.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I wanted to choke him when he did that. I was so upset. As soon as I saw that flag, I was like, who threw that flag? I was so mad when I saw it. And so then when he's like, I was trying to get a repetition, I think he was pissed off about something. And he wasn't thinking. And I'm sure after the fact, he probably thought back and was just like, that was just dumb as hell. I probably should have did that. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that anymore, because I got enough of that with Pat Shurmur. You remember every week Pat Shurmur would throw a flag to challenge a pass interference?
Yep, and we would never win. And he always should have won, by the way, but we never did.
And we don't need that no more. Let's not do that anymore, please.
The year, something like that, you never won it, ever.
I'm just going to read a couple more of these guys, and then I'm going to get Authentic in the chat as well. Dre, what's going on, man? He says, I'm not wearing any Giants paraphernalia till they win a game. Let Danny Cook stop holding him back. Dre, that was my message today. And it's just how I felt as a fan. I usually report the news, and I was like, you know what? It's how I feel, and I don't know if Jones is going to succeed. I don't know if he's going to fail, but I want to give him the opportunity to do one or the other. And week 1, I felt like we weren't really giving that opportunity. And that was just my honest opinion. So I wanted to share it with you guys and get your guys' opinion on it as well. But when I say that, Dre, and I want to continue to say that doesn't mean I want him throwing the ball 40 or 50 times this year. That doesn't mean I want him to be reckless. But in a big spot, I don't want to be passive. I don't want to be like, oh, you're on your own 4. Let's just play the punt. and rely on the defense. No, give your quarterback an opportunity to go into the half with the lead. Didn't like that move by the Giants, and hopefully they show a lot more confidence with him going into week 2. Nelly, man, what's going on? Tana, I'm trying to let go of Sunday and get hyped for tomorrow, but that last game shook my confidence. Really hoping we get this W tomorrow. Nelly, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm sure you guys probably agree, this is such a huge game, not just for the players, not just for the owner, for the fans, because if the Giants lose this game, I honestly feel like it's going to feel like the apocalypse for 10 days until we play the Atlanta Falcons. It is going to be brutal between the media and the fan base on Twitter. It's going to be brutal. It's a big game for the patience of this fan base.
Oh my God! So Chris already knows this about me, right? And I would think that a fair amount of the chat, or at least remembers that I exist, right? It's been a while since I've been around here. Oh, here come Authentic.
What's good, fella?
But y'all know that I'm kind of an anti-hero, right? So there's a small part of me that wants to watch the world burn. Like,
no,
you're terrible, bro.
There's a small part of me that wants to watch the world burn just to see it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm hoping the Giants lose, okay? I would never say that. I love the Giants. I want to win every single game. I don't care about draft picks and position.
Fix what you said. I'm going to fix what you said.
But
I'm going to fix what you said. You want to see them win, but you also wish it was like a movie where you get it on DVD and you get to see the alternate ending.
Yes, like I'm kind of curious as to how bad it's going to get if we lose tomorrow. Like I'm a little bit curious.
Does the world?
I hear that, man. I just want to read a couple of these before I lose, and then I really want to get into conversation with you guys. Mike, I'm going to read that in 1 second. Just going to read a couple on the phone. Roldy, man, thank you very much. Murray without Hopkins was special. Josh Allen was progressing from year 1 to year 2 without Diggs. Chargers had the worst O-line and still put up numbers, so don't bring up the BS. You were doing okay, but lost me. Roldy, all I'm telling you is this year I want to see what he can do. That's all. I'm not telling you that he's the savior. Just my honest opinion. And what choice do you have as a fan, Roldy? The season started. Daniel Jones is your quarterback. Strap in and see what he can do for 17 games. You don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
He's your quarterback. So at this point, what is let's find out what he could do. I know maybe you didn't agree with us bringing him back. He's back. You're a Giant fan. You're going to watch the games, strap in, and see if we get the job done. That's what this year is about.
Mm-hmm.
And G Nation, man, thank you very much. We win 24/7 tomorrow night. Stand up, New York Giant fans. Hope to get you back on the channel tonight, G Nation. I'm going to open up the stream in about 20 minutes. And Grim Solo says, 1-1 is a must. Week 4 to the bye is looking rough. Yeah, and we're going to talk about the schedule as well. But it's one game at a time, though. I don't even want to worry about the schedule. You don't know what these teams are going to look like. But, yes, it does look challenging. Lou says, here's a quick shout-out to a super dude. Your Giants need to do better. I'll have faith that they do. Yo, everybody, just peeking in. Later. Got to get a win today, Lou, man. You're awesome, man. I do not want to start the season, again, 0-2. And I'm going to read Michael, and then we're going to get to Authentic because I think I got a little time to get to the rest. Michael says, what if Barkley doesn't have a breakout season? Let's say he finishes, I don't know, not top 10. Do we let him walk? Yeah, he's had great moments, but few and far. I'm going to let Authentic start with that one, actually.
I mean, at the end of the day,
by the way, thank you for coming.
Oh, no doubt, man. I appreciate you having me too, man. We were just on Talking Giants. That was pretty fun too. Bobby had us on, but with this Barkley situation right here, right? Wins are going to solve everything. So, like, we could sit here as fans and we could nitpick every detail about the New York Giants until we just pretty much go crazy. But I think, like, Barkley could have a middle mediocre kind of season as long as we're winning games and moving the ball effectively and running the ball effectively. He don't got to be the same Barkley, especially for these first 8 games, getting 100 yards a game, going crazy, breaking the big play. Like, it just needs to be effective on first down. If the Giants can run the ball effective on first down, we're going to see ourselves in better second down situation, and we don't got to worry about that 3rd and 12 in that situation where we're behind the sticks, you know? So for me, it's just get positive yards on first down, and that should be the key to the Giants winning more games. It should open everything up. You just need people to come into the box and know that Saquon Barkley is a threat. He don't got to be that guy. I saw some other people comparing it to, like, CMC's stats on last week for game 1, who, they targeted him a bunch of times. He had a bunch of catches, bunch of yards, bunch of rushing yards. But it's like Saquon don't got to do all that. I've been comparing him to Alvin Kamara for a long time. I think that Sean Payton is a mastermind over there with the way that he uses Kamara. I said this all offseason. He hasn't had 1,000 yards as a running back in the NFL, and he had 6 touchdowns in 1 game. We got to get Saquon Barkley out there and just utilize him effective. Like, all this just running up to the line, these, vanilla style type plays where it's just like hand it, hope you hit a hole. Like that can't be it. We got to somehow find a way to run the ball effective, and then everything else gonna open up. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'll go and then I'll let you guys talk on Barkley as well. Here's my take on Barkley, man. I love Barkley, my favorite player on the team. I hope he gets back to 100% because I do think he's an incredible playmaker when he's completely healthy and can change this offense. For Barkley to stick around another year, first off, the Giants, I shouldn't say another year. He's probably going to stick around another year no matter what because we signed him on the 5th-year extension. But for Barkley to get an extension, the Giants have to have a good year this year. The Giants have to win at least 9 or 10 games, and he has to provide that he's healthy. He has to look good. Does he have to be the best back in the league? No, but he has to prove that he's good and he can stay healthy for a full year, and the Giants have to do well. They got to win 9 or 10 games at least because if that doesn't happen, Dave Gettleman's probably going to be fired. And if Dave Gettleman's fired, Dave Gettleman's the guy that drafted him. And most new GMs that are going to come into the job are not going to be looking to pay a running back $15 or $16 million a year that they have no attachments to. So that's my take. If the Giants have – it's not just Jones, it's Barkley too. Yeah. In terms of potentially getting a second contract with the New York Giants. There's a lot riding this year. And they both have strong ties to Dave Gettleman. So if the Giants are good, I think he'll stick around. I think he'll get an extension if he proves that he's healthy for 17 games.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. If Barkley is more reliant on the overall team in regards to his future as a New York Football Giant more than he's relying on himself right now. And I'm going to be completely honest, y'all, because I love Saquon too, okay? I literally only own one current New York Football Giant jersey, and it's Saquon Barkley's, okay? Like that's it. I got Eli, I got a Strahan, I got a Lawrence Taylor, I've got a Pierce, and I've got a Saquon, all right? I love Saquon Barkley, but if things don't work, if things are not good, then nobody is safe, y'all. Like no one is safe. And we have to come to terms with that, right? I always say I'm never married to a player. Player can come, player can go, we don't care, right? Because it's about this and not the name on the back. So at the end of the day, if things don't go right, don't be surprised if there's a fire sale, y'all. Like everything must go. It might happen.
When Gettleman came in, he got rid of Reese's guys. You could, if you're running an outsider, you could only expect that would be the case.
But now think about this with the fans, and we know that John Mara is the kind of guy who's definitely concerned with how the fans feel about it. Y'all saw what happened when they benched Eli. We, as fans, pretty much got Eli back in the game. I don't think that our fan base is going to be able to deal with another cleaning of the house here and another rebuild. Right. So I think that whoever comes in, it might be the same kind of situation it was when Eli was here, where it's like, hey, bro, I need you to win kind of with this talent that we got here and add to it.
In my opinion, that's not the best course of action.
Yeah.
If this team sucks this year, it depends on how they are. It's hard for me to say, but it depends on how they are. But I am not a guy that tries to rebuild and win at the same time. I just don't think he could do it. I think it was a complete mistake the first time. But I don't want to think about that right now. I want to think about Washington. I want to think about winning 60 games this year, winning the Super Bowl.
Very true.
I'm just going to read this real quick, and then I want to get Nikki's take on Barkley as well because I'm going to lose it. City for Real says, had a chance to pop in. Keep up the good work, my man. I appreciate it, City for Real. And the best Savage says, hey, man, week 1 was rough for us, but I did think there were a lot of positives in the second half offensively, one being the Jones-Galladay connection. For sure, I do think that there were some positive aspects of the offense in week 1. I think a lot of people just didn't look at that because they saw how bad we played. The defense, to me, there was no positives outside of maybe the interior defensive line, which I thought played okay. But outside of that, there was very few positives. But Nikki, I want to get your take on Barkley, man.
Well, really quickly before, do you think that since you've started YouTube, your reading skills have gotten so much better by the sheer amount of super chats that you have to read on a daily basis?
Before I started on YouTube, I didn't know I could read as well as I did. I'll put it that way. I'm glad that I got LASIK surgery. And I say it all the time. Anybody that just shows up to the Streaming Sports Chat, I can't say thank you enough for all the support that you guys always show. But Nikki's the man. I love Nikki. He's been with me forever.
So, all right. So going off Barkley, so that first run where he pushed that pile for 5 yards, I was like, That was such a tease. I was like, oh my God, I just saw Barkley carry a pile. That was Zeke for
No,
Jason.
no. I'm just trying to figure out the run you're talking about. You said you're not talking about his first run. You're talking about the run where it was 3rd and 2, right? When the offensive line came in.
About the first run of the game where he just went up.
First run of the game, he
Yeah.
ran for 5 yards.
5-yard run, yeah.
5 yards.
The fake the reverse kind of.
Yeah. That was one
I
I
was
think
like,
you guys
okay, because I had been thinking to myself all offseason, and it was really depressing to think about that Saquon just isn't a scheme fit for Jason Garrett. He's just not. He wants to run these inside zone schemes, and I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Right, the rest of the game proved me no, I was right before that. It was such a tease. I couldn't believe it. Not Pat Shermer. Oh my gosh, Jason Garrett just refuses to modernize his offense and get rid of these shallow curl route concepts. Get rid of this inside zone. Like, you look at how everyone's adopting the Kyle Shanahan outside zone offense right now. Everybody. I mean, that's how the Panthers won against the Jets. McCaffrey runs outside zone. He runs routes like a running back does. I don't want to see Saquon just running a hitch 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage anymore. That's not him getting involved in the passing game. That's not what we're talking about as fans. We're talking about lining him up in the slot outside, running 5-yard outs, running slants. That the one time, the last time that happened actually was probably that slant that he hurdled Richard Sherman back in the Niners game, was that Monday Night Football back in 2018. Like, we need to see that again. And Jason Garrett just does not know how to do it, or refuses to do it. And I don't know why use Barkley as a receiver.
he's gonna make Garrett run like a marathon.
Yeah. You're gonna trot CJ Board out there instead of Saquon out wide. Are you guys rather have Saquon? Like, are you kidding me? Get him involved in the passing game.
No, I'm with you, man, and I'm going to give Authentic credit for that, and I say it all the time. I always give him credit for that. I want to see him use more like Kamara. I do want to see him use more in the passing game, because we know Saquon's at his best when he's out in space, and I feel like really since his rookie year, the New York Giants have not used him properly. Like, a lot of people complained his rookie year that Eli was dumping it down to him a lot, but that's what he is. You want to get him the ball out in space so he could try to crack a big play. We all think about the
Pat Shermer's doing that. The way they use Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, how Pat Shermer was a lot. His running schemes used to be much more similar to Jason Garrett with inside zone. He's even modernizing that Melvin Gordon 70-yard touchdown was an outside zone run. Like, Melvin Gordon used to be a south runner. He's having a run outside zone. You're not going to win in the running game anymore if you can't run outside zone. It's driving me nuts.
We dominated them, though. We dominated them in the running game. That big run really pads the stats for them, and I think just because it was late, we were pressing, trying to make a play. The game's pretty much out of reach already. Outside of that, they didn't run the ball that well. I like what I saw out of the rookie. But, I mean, I think that Saquon can excel in a power back system. You know, it's just about you got to get him to the line of scrimmage. He's got to stop getting hit in the backfield. He had 11 carries. I was counting maybe 4 or 5 of them. He's having to either dodge somebody in the backfield or move right when he's getting to the line of scrimmage. Saquon's best when he's getting that full head of speed going on, and then he can make cuts and make people miss when he's actually rolling. But, like, when he can't even get his legs going and you got people tackling him, I mean, it's not going to work out like that. So I don't know if it's all on Saquon or all on Jason Garrett or all on this offensive line, but, like, as a unit, it's not working, you know.
And I think it's
one game, so I don't want to like jump the gun. He's just coming back off the knee injury and whatnot. And this is the other thing. I think it was a safe game plan for them to not get him hurt. Like, don't get him out here doing jukes and trying to do stuff on the outside in his first game back off of a devastating knee injury like that. I know a lot of people comparing it to Adrian Peterson, but there's only been one Adrian Peterson in my lifetime of football. I've never seen nobody else run the ball like that.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys remember that one run Saquon had? I believe it was the third quarter, something like that, where the entire offensive line outside of Nate Solder got like a 2 or 3 yard push past the line of scrimmage, and Saquon's kind of just stuttering behind them up there. And
on the outside, right sideline.
He goes to cut left, and then I think it was Kareem.
And there was a hole on the right side.
Yeah.
I just watched that play for 5 damn minutes earlier today, like Saquon. The hole is on the right side.
It was. There
was a hole. Go ahead.
Kareem Jackson comes down into the box off left tackle, and Saquon bounces that outside of him and beats him to the sideline because he's just too fast. And it was like, I know he's off injury, but it's like he was too afraid to do that. And that right there, that was the moment where I was like, he really isn't the same. It was disheartening to me because that was something that he takes outside. That was what he did.
What I will say, Nikki,
his rookie year, that kind of thing.
What I will say, Nikki, and then I want to get to a couple more of these before I lose it. But what I will say, I wouldn't be disheartened, though, that because he was not the same, but it's his first game back. Or if an ACL tear, I don't want people flipping out. I think it's going to take probably three games.
He's going to be fine. He'll be fine.
To really get back to himself.
He'll be fine.
Man, thank you very much. Says Authentic link. I have both links in the description below of both Pest and Authentic. Go over there, check both them out. Authentic and the Beard, they have a fantastic podcast. Pesta Manny, there's a lot more subscribers. Got to meet both these guys in person. Awesome dudes. And hopefully I get to meet Nikki soon as well. We got some stories that we got to talk about off YouTube. He says Kitchens and Garrett Kitchens better than Garrett as a play card. We saw it last year. A lot of Giants fans said that after that game. Yeah, listen, man, at the end of the day, if that's what fans want and the Giants feel like that's the best decision, I'm all for it. I know that Garrett's not getting the job done. I know he's not super innovative. I also know that the problem's bigger than just him. But I'd be open to it. Kitchens did a good job with Baker Mayfield. That's why he got the head coaching job with Cleveland, and then obviously struggled mightily as a head coach.
Yeah.
Nate, thank you very much. Although we may love Judge for the culture, he's still unproven and sometimes comes across as a know-it-all concerning if we keep losing. Nate, I'm going to be honest with you, and I want to talk more about Judge once I get to a couple more of these with you guys. I'm going to be honest with you, Nate. I support Judge. I love Judge. I love what he brought to this football team. But I do feel like sometimes this fan base almost excuses him of any responsibility for anything. I do think sometimes he needs to be discredited. And that's not to say I want him fired. I don't want him anywhere near the unemployment line. I want Judge to be the coach here for the next 10 to 15 years. But if you make him out to be Superman, you're setting him up for failure. People build people up to knock him down. And when Judge does something he should be knocked for, he's got to be knocked. And I agree with you. I don't think he's a superhero. So, hi, man. Thank you very much. Why is Barkley questionable? By the way, what do you think about a guy like Trent Dilfer saying he still believes DJ is going to be really good, at least competent? I mean, I still think DJ can be good. I do believe that in my heart. I do believe DJ can be good. I want this year to figure out what he could be and really have a real opportunity with weapons this year. As far as Barkley being questionable, he was questionable last week, so I'm not too surprised by that. Yeah, I still think he's going to play. I wouldn't expect much more of a role being that it's only 4 days off from the previous game, but I do expect him to play. And Zahib says, hit that like for my good man, Chris. And let me get to Austin, man. Thank you so much, man, for the $50 super sticker, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, man. I saw it on the phone earlier. They don't show it on the stream hours, but thank you so much. And Jamal, he says, hey, Tana, what's up? I'm so excited for tomorrow. I feel if our offense gets going, it will set us up perfectly for the upcoming matchups. Listen, man, week 3 is where I think this offense is going to really explode. I really believe that. It's what I've said for months, but I do hope that the offense will look much better week 2, and it better. Otherwise, we're not going to win this football game. We need a collaborative effort. We need both the offense and the defense to come with a much better showing. Simon says, Pest acting like we haven't seen that for the past 4 decades.
He's talking. Yeah. I mean, listen,
the bad endings.
Listen, I understand. I'm just curious. I am just curious as to what it would look like. That's all I'm saying. I kind of know, but this is different because we got Joe Judge here, right? We've all been like all the way up. How long we've been streaming it for? 43 minutes. We've been all the way up Joe Judge's ass, okay? And been love festing him and all that. I'm just curious how the fan base is going to react if we start off 0-2. And especially with this situation with playing a backup quarterback. Like, we got to win this game, but
I think it depends on how badly you lose. I think if you lose 23-24 tomorrow night, then honestly, I think you'll have people pissed off like they were for Denver. They'll be like, oh, no, not – but it won't be a blowout like that. But I do think that if you lose to the Falcons the following week on extra time, no matter how much it's by, then I think the world is on fire. I think World War VIII happens. Like that, then that would be the end of times for New York City.
This year, though, I do think the explosion would be extra because this year there's like real expectations for this team. As opposed to the last couple of years, it was kind of a rebuild. This year, you amped up the pressure by going out there and signing Golladay and Jones. There's no excuses for him this year. So I just don't want to see it, man. I want to see the alternate ending, Pest, but I don't want to see it in real life. Michael says, for me, it wasn't the fact that they lost. It was the way that they lost. We paid for a man defense and running zone. That game was more of an indictment on the D. I agree. The D was definitely the bigger problem, for sure, the first week. And, I know Authentic agrees with me on that. We've talked about that on Twitter. The D was super underwhelming in the first game. And Alejandro says, why pay Kenny Golladay $72 million and not get him the ball on his first possession? Cut the defense break. Adjustments can be made on defense. I'm not saying that I do think that there's going to be adjustments on defense, but I agree with you. We need to hit Golladay early on in this game. It has to happen. The one thing I will say from a positive standpoint, as Dyer Giants fan also says, clean setup, Authentic, epic panel. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
The one thing I will say, I forgot what I was going to say now because I was trying not to lose that. I'm so bad. I'm getting old, guys. Golladay. I need to see Golladay. The one thing I really liked as the game went along is I thought that it looked like Golladay and Jones were getting much better chemistry, albeit in garbage time, but it was still tightly contested catches, and it looked like he was trusting Golladay more, even if he was smothered in coverage. So hopefully they come out right out of the gate, guys, and they focus on Golladay early on.
Yeah, I think that the offense was just one step away from looking a lot better than they did last year. You know, you take away the Daniel Jones fumble, which did happen inside the red zone. You know, maybe we get 7 there. That's some more points. And then maybe we don't panic and kind of go for it on all these 4th downs in the end of the game, and you put up some more points. It's not a blowout win by 14 points. You know, maybe you lose the game by 6, 3 points, or something like that. People would say, okay, it's kind of looking like last year, but with the rust and the slow start that they were talking about, you know, we don't want to give Daniel an excuse, but it's like they haven't had a lot of time to build the chemistry, but the weapons are there, and also the coaches got to put them in the right position to be able to make the play. And with the Kadarius Toney reverse, you know, that's one of the plays I know a lot of Giants fans were looking at. It was close to being executed. You know, a couple missed blocks up there on that right side. I don't know if it was Solder. I was talking to Bobby about this. I don't know if it was Rudolph. It looked like it was Rudolph on a 2-step kind of block that he just kind of ignored Von Miller. Von Miller's in the backfield. Who knows? It could have been maybe a 5-yard gain. Everything else looked pretty blocked up on that play. But you got to find a way to use these weapons. It's very important, but it's going to start on that run. We got to find a way to run the rock, whether it be Saquon Barkley or not. They came into the game a little bit timid. And this is kind of what I wanted to ask you guys. Who is a quarterback that struggled in their first 3 years and then got it together and had a decent career after year 3?
Alex Smith. Ryan
Did he
Tannehill?
really get it together? You know, I think Alex Smith was in the perfect situation when he was in Kansas City.
That guy back there.
When he was with Harbaugh in San Francisco as well.
That too, yeah. Because did he lose his job to Kaepernick? Is that what happened?
He did, but he was really good with the 49ers. Obviously,
Yeah.
he played in the NFC title game.
Yeah, is that like maybe the only guy? You know, like because I'm worried about it. I see Roldy in the chat.
Well, Tannehill. I think Tannehill's another good example.
Oh, Tannehill's a pretty good example.
But it was with the second team. It wasn't with the Dolphins.
Right, and I think that's very important. I heard a lot of people on ESPN and on FS1 saying that, you know, a lot of Giants fans are going to be very upset when you see Daniel Jones go to another team and start balling out.
I've been saying it a lot, and I can see it, and I don't want to see it. I want Jones to succeed. But if I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, what team would be interested in Daniel Jones? You know, and I know a lot of people in the chat are like, nobody. I know people hate him. And Cameron, I'm just going to read this before I lose it. Eli was the best Giant performance this week. Yeah. But no.
True.
The Denver is the team I could see because of Pat Shurmur. You got the Pat Shurmur connection. Pat Shurmur had a lot to do with why the New York Giants drafted Daniel Jones. And as crazy as it may sound.
Oh, my God. We're going to send to Denver. He's going to ball out.
If there was a place I could see him being successful, I think it's there because they got the great defense. We got Shurmur. We all know he fits the scheme well.
Yeah.
That would be a Giants fan's nightmare. Imagine if Pat Shurmur leads Daniel Jones as the OC to, you know, a very good football team, kind of like Tannehill with the Titans.
It'd be crazy.
Giants not feel happy about that.
Yeah, and I just feel like the clock is ticking, man. You know, and this season he's got to at least show some improvement with the weapons that we have out there. You know, and I told people on Twitter this week 1, like, you know, Giants go 0-2, don't quite panic, but I see why people are going to panic is because that schedule starts to get really tough. The games that we look at the schedule that are competitive games, we have to win those games. We already let one go with this Denver Broncos game. That's a team that we competed with, and we should have competed more, and we could have came out with the victory if we would have not, like, shot ourselves in the foot with the defense. I mean, the defense was just all over the place in this Broncos game, unlike what we've seen in the past season from Patrick Graham. But the one thing that I proposed on Twitter today, too, was maybe the defense is a little bit overhyped. I've been saying on my channel, I do a podcast with my homie who's a Washington football team fan, and I've been like, man, I think y'all defense is a little bit overhyped. You know, y'all were number 1 in the pass defense all throughout last season. Last game, they got beat out by the Rams and whatnot. But when I get to watch every Washington game. I'm here in D.C. I watch my local games are Washington, right? Their defense is not scary to me. Their front is a little bit scary, but their defense is not scary. So with the New York Giants, I'm looking at it like, okay, the defense ends at number 9 last season, right? But I put this on Twitter today. Like, look at some of the quarterbacks that we played. There was 8 quarterbacks out there that were just god-awful quarterbacks. Backups. You know, that we got wins against. We played well against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Yeah. We played pretty decent against Tom Brady and the Bucs early as a defense. We played pretty well in that game.
I thought we played decent.
Yeah, I was going to say
Steelers, we played decent. And what did I say about the Steelers all year last year? I said they were overhyped. Throughout the whole undefeated run, I said they were overrated. And then Washington beats them. Yeah. You know, so for me, it's like, yeah, a defense could fall in the top 10, top 9, right? But a lot of that is circumstantial. A lot of it has to do with schedule, the quarterbacks you face, injuries, health, all that, right? And this year, we're looking at it again. The schedule got us again. We got some terrible games on our schedule with the Bucks, Chiefs, and all these teams that are high-powered teams. You know, it's like we're set up to lose again, I feel like. It's like, how are we coming into this division? We're finished last year at 6-11 or 6-10. And, like, we come back this year and we got another hard schedule. The problem last year was a hard schedule as well. We get off to the 0-2 start, and it's hard to get off the bench when you're losing.
I think every year is a hard schedule when your team is ass. Okay, like I don't necessarily know.
I was about to say that, Pest. I was going to say
I don't necessarily know if the NFL's got something against the Giants and they keep giving us hard schedules. I just think we suck. Okay, like
well, a lot of it happens, you know, out of like division winners and all that is how the schedule gets made. But I mean, we're playing both teams that were in the Super Bowl.
It's true.
Somebody's got to play them.
You see Dallas' first 6 games?
Dallas has a last place schedule, so that was
you know.
And D-Law split, so that's a plus.
Yeah,
wait, did Dallas get a last place schedule? Because didn't Philly finish third place schedule, right? Yeah, so they don't get the division winner like Washington had to add Green Bay because they got the division winner, and that's hell for them. I mean, it's going to be so hard to get through these first 6-7 games. And honestly, I'm glad we get the 17th game this year because if we do get off to a slow start, we got a lot more time to kind of win some divisional games late and maybe make a run. I got the Giants.
That's why Authentic, even though, and I'm not saying 0-2 is good because it's not.
It's horrible.
But with that extra game, 0-2 maybe isn't quite as bad as it normally is in a normal season. And then when you factor in the division we play in, I don't see with all the injuries that Dallas has, and they play a softer schedule than us, but it's not a cake schedule.
Right.
The Eagles don't scare me. I don't care what they did against Atlanta. We'll see what they do when they play the 49ers this week. Maybe they'll start to scare me. I could change my opinion as the season progresses.
True.
And Washington has their backup quarterback in now. So I don't think anybody is going to run away with this.
That backup quarterback should have been the starter day one.
Taylor Heineke, Washington fans are very confident in him. And
they wasted $10 million on Fitzpatrick. Did you see him? I mean, he only threw it. He threw it 6 times, but he looked like a statue in the pocket. And Taylor Heineke is just a younger version of Ryan Fitzpatrick. You're going to have better pocket awareness. He's going to be able to see when his protection is breaking down faster. Look at him in that game against the Bucks, how he was wheeling and dealing, man, all game. He had some bad throws out there, but for a guy thrown into his first game, and I think the team just rallies behind him more. I know y'all know about the sound effects that came out where it was Chase Young when Heineke first comes in the game when they benched Dwayne Haskins, and Taylor Heineke just says, he's like, yo, you got to do this. Or Chase Young's like, you got to do this, bro. And Taylor Heineke's just like, yo, I was born to do this. I've been doing this. And went out there and fried. Prayed a good gun. He's confident, man. And that's what Daniel needs. Daniel needs a little bit of swag, man. He need to go out there and play like, look, I'm not going to fumble. Stop thinking about it.
Daniel Jones got no swag. Jeez Louise. He just put, listen, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I just realized Daniel Jones' problem.
He's got no swag.
He got no swag.
And the Giants don't want to draft a quarterback who has swag. They don't, they'll pass up on guys.
You know this, though, Authentic, and you know this, Pest. Eli's first 3 years, people said the same thing about Eli. They said he's all shucks. He don't got it for New York. He can't be a leader. People said the same. I'm not saying that Dan Jones is going to do it, but people said that they had the same knock on Eli that they do.
But you know what gave me faith in Eli, like heavy faith, was Peyton Manning. I'm like, yo, the boy's a Manning. Give him his 4 years. Give him his 4 years. And he proved us, you know. The reason why I'm a Giants fan is one of my best homies from when we were kids. And, like, he was one of the people that was like, we got to get Eli out of here. I was like, bro, just give him his first contract. Just let him do what he does. I promise you, he's got the talent around him. You know, he's going to start making the plays, which is what we hope with Daniel Jones right now. He's got the weapons.
Yeah. I just want to read a couple of these before I lose them, and then we'll get – I'm sorry, guys, but I don't want to lose these. Austin, man, thank you thank you for the incredible generosity. He says, if you were to fix the team overnight, what are 2 things each of you would do? By the way, Pest is the man. Pest is the man. I love Pest. Like I said, got to meet him in person. Okay, I will start. If there were 2 things I could change about the team,
you do that. I'll be right back.
John Mara's gone. That's my first. New Orleans. I think John Mara is a major problem with this team. I think a lot of the problems with this team stem from John Mara. That's my first. After that, I mean, if you get rid of Mara, you're going to have a completely new GM anyway, so I don't need to say that. Everything changes when you bring in a new owner. Because I can't go in the past. It's in the present.
Yeah.
I would definitely replace the owner. And I'd give myself season tickets. There you go.
There you go.
Nikki, go ahead.
All right. The first thing I would do is I would break into Jason Garrett's house and I would rip 80% of the inside zone run plays out of his playbook and play outside zone plays in his playbook. That is the very first thing that I would do. All right. The second thing that I would do is I would look Daniel Jones in the eye and say, I do not care if there are 11 defenders on Kenny Golladay. You have to give him a shot. Very similar to what you were saying earlier yesterday, Chris, which was to find out he's the guy, you got to give him an opportunity to be able to succeed or fail. And that's, I think.
I watched that video too. I watched it in the shower.
You always do.
I do. I always do. Yes. Yes.
So where I'm going with that is, DJ hasn't had a number one receiver since he's been here or when he was in college. Hell knows when he was in high school. I think that concept of being able to trust somebody and just throw it out to them is probably a new thing for him. And that's why he's like, screw it in the fourth quarter. I'm just going to throw to Kenny. And then Kenny starts making these contested catches that I forgot what it was like to have a number one receiving option on the team that I root for. Since Odell, it's been 3 years now. I forgot what it was like to see a receiver just.
I thought the same exact thing.
Make a catch, get up like it's nothing. Like Shep, I love Shep, but he gets up and he flexes and he yells. Or Evan Ingram tries to do something that boosts his confidence, or he makes a catch. But Kenny gets up and he's just like, whatever. I made a catch. I'm that guy. Like I forgot what that was like.
Yeah, it's a good point. Pest, what's your two things you're changing?
All right, so I said one of the things over on Talking Giants. I'm going to just repeat it because it's literally what I would do. I am bringing in someone from outside this organization to spend the entire season doing system design and analysis on the New York Football Giants football operations from top to bottom. I need a consultant in there that has never worked with the Giants ever to just come in there and let them know this sucks. That's stupid. Don't do that. It doesn't work. Like I need someone to come into that organization from top to bottom and just fix things because there's a lot of things that are jacked up. Okay. And then the second thing that I would do, at the end of this season, I'm firing a lot of people. Like I'm firing so many people. Okay. And listen, I don't like to call for people's jobs, right? I'm not one of those people that says that someone should get fired. But a lot of people would get fired because like I don't care how hard you work at your job. If your results are results of ineptitude, then you don't need to be doing this job anymore. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be gone. Like that's what's going to happen. And listen, we can make the damn playoffs. Okay. I'm still firing a lot of people. Like there's still a lot of people that are going to be gone. I don't care.
That's crazy.
Clean house. If things don't work, I think we all agree with that. What's the two things you're doing?
I think it depends on actually when it is because you can't just fix a team week to week. So if for me it'd be at the end of the season,
yeah, I'm
going to bring in another quarterback to challenge Daniel Jones right off the bat. Because if you see, think about like Dwayne Haskins when he was in Washington, right? It's like, yo, you can have somebody.
Well, you're assuming that Jones won't be good this year, then, based off what you're.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if we're at where we're at right now at the end of the season, okay, because we know Daniel Jones ain't playing good. He's turning the ball 40 turnovers in 30 games is just horrible.
Yeah.
He in the last 15 games, he's 34th in QBR in the NFL. He's playing bad. Think about it when you like. Let's remove the Bucs game out of Daniel Jones' resume. When was his other good game?
Bucs.
When the first one, the debut.
Before I did my video today, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it because everybody always says, and I said it in my video today. I said Eli Manning had a different circumstance. He had a better supporting cast. I get all that. I could not believe because you forget about it because everybody's always like, Eli was okay, and then in the playoffs he was great. In Eli's second year, he had the fourth most touchdown passes in football.
Right.
In his third year, he had the fourth most touchdown passes. Like people forget, they just took him for granted. It's like we would kill to have a quarterback that had the fourth most touchdown passes in football. So I think people forget about that. But no, he's definitely been underwhelming with his stats.
Yeah, so for my two things, that's what I would do first. Challenge Daniel Jones at the quarterback position, because that's like, look at what they're doing with the Saints right now. They had what's the kid, Taysom Hill, and then they had Jameis Winston. Now you got to elevate your play. I used to play quarterback for a while. I was a JV quarterback, and like we had a dual quarterback system, and I broke my collarbone, right? Like week 2 or something. By week 4, I was back out there trying to throw the ball, trying to get my job back, because I knew it was another guy on my heels. So for me, it's like, yo, get another guy in there. They might have wanted to do it right now, to be honest. So I would have got another quarterback in there to challenge him, even if it's a Jacoby Brissett, whatever. Even if look at Tyrod Taylor doing his thing with Houston right now.
A guy that can step in it and manage.
A veteran. A
Yeah.
guy who's proven, Teddy Bridgewater, a guy who can throw the ball, right? And then I think at the end of the year, you got to look at the head coach, because, yeah, everybody calling for Jason Garrett's job, right? But let's say I'm the manager of something as minuscule as, like, no offense to nobody, but something as small as a McDonald's. I'm the manager, right? And every time you come in there, the food is cold, the fries ain't right, the burgers is garbage, there ain't no salt on the fries, we ran out of ketchup. That's going to fall on the guy running the organization. You can't be looking at the guy flipping the fries going, hey, bro, this is your fault. Because everything about an organization starts from the top. They're sitting in the room making up the game plan together. Jason Garrett's probably bringing the game plan right to him. I think fans be acting like Joe Judge is just like, hey, show up on Sunday with the game plan, man, and do your best. Like, it's not like that. He's sitting in there okay and checking everything off. So at the end of the day, some of this got to fall on the head coach. And when I'm starting to see Joe Judge in these press conferences, especially the excuse that he made up about the red flag, it's like, yo, everything you just said before this season and before last season is starting to feel like a bunch of fraudulent just talking. Like, you just trying to keep fans at bay, like, we got to get better. We got to get better. We've been saying that for too long.
The honeymoon phase is over.
It's over.
Now he needs to start. And I love Joe Judge.
Yeah, me too. And I love Daniel Jones. Everybody knows I cop for Daniel Jones all the time. I think he's got the skills to do it. But, like, that's why I asked y'all about the quarterback situation of, like, who's the guy that didn't do well the first 2 to 3 years, and then in the 4th year he just balling out, and then they'd re-sign him, and, like, everything went peachy.
And
it just doesn't happen.
And authentic, I'll ask you the same question. Tell me a guy who was a first-time head coach who had 3 losing seasons to start his career and kept his job.
Yeah.
It's crazy because
we're at that point. It sucks.
Get it together. Get it together.
I got faith they will, though. I will. And I picked them. They're going to beat Washington. I picked them to beat Washington. I think they will.
Let me just read a couple of these. I want to get back to this. Sean says, Gettleman's job is dependent on how the tackles play. Listen, I said it all offseason, Sean. If the offensive line fails, it is a direct reflection on Dave Gettleman. That's something he's supposed to have fixed for 4 years. He's gone. If this and to his credit, week 1, at least the pass protection looked a lot better than I thought it would. But absolutely, I completely agree with you on that.
Which real quickly, Entertainer, goes back to what Nikki was saying about it, right? Like running outside zone, right? You need some good tackles, and grade our tackles right now. 32 teams in the NFL. The Giants probably got maybe the worst.
And I'm gonna tell you what, Authentic, you know who I was pounding the table for in the draft, and I see with Sean Slater going out there for the Chargers and bowling. He made Chase look like a bitch, and I'm sitting there. Come on, man. Come on. He says, go ahead, Nikki. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Nikki.
Andrew Thomas made him look like a bitch last year too,
and he's gonna do it again tomorrow.
I hope so. He was our Andrew Thomas is probably one of our best 2 or 3 players on Sunday. He was. He played well. His name.
He played great. He played great.
Yeah. That is
he was facing a backup though. Let's not get it twisted. On that other side, they had a much tougher matchup. Y'all saw Nate Solder getting thrown around.
That's true.
Von Miller, man, he's back. He's back.
Oh, Von Miller was a beast. Did you see him friggin' level? I think Alex Wilson actually posted the clip. He bulldozed Andrew Thomas to the ground coming off the side. I mean, I'm sorry,
Nate Solder. Yeah.
And Will Hernandez choke slammed the guy at the same time.
Yeah. And Daniel Jones.
Only good play Will Hernandez.
Daniel Jones, Mr. Reed.
Look, I don't know if y'all saw my 3 tweets today. I was like, this play right here kind of sums up the New York Giants week 1, right? Because you got Daniel Jones missing a wide open check down. Saquon Barkley just wide open right there. Just take the 5 yards. He's going to get maybe 2 or 3 more yards. You got Nate Solder getting blown up. Like, Bobby called it like a play you would see in a football movie, which is so true. It's just like, she's just like,
as Alex
Hernandez choke slamming.
I can tell you why that DJ didn't throw that ball to Saquon. It's because he's protesting the route concept for Saquon. He wants to see Saquon running a slant, not stopping right past the line of scrimmage.
But isn't that why we brought in like all this wide receiver talent? Why we got to have Saquon Barkley running wide receiver routes when you got Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay, all these new little weapons? Let's use them.
Well,
Kadarius Toney wasn't even on the field that much.
That's another thing. Get Kadarius Toney involved in the passing game. Don't have run. I want to see him past the line of scrimmage just one time, because he wasn't past the line of scrimmage at all in anything that we saw on Sunday. He needs.
Yeah, and I don't want to give them no excuses, right? But like, if I were to give them an excuse, it's that they didn't have no time really in the offseason with all that garbage that was going on with Kadarius Toney not being on the field, and same thing with Kenny Galladay with the hamstring injury. It's like now we're losing reps, we're losing chemistry.
Not need to matter. If you're a playmaker, I don't think that matters.
Look, I'll tell you why it matters.
That definitely matters.
Let me tell you why it matters. Because look, when you don't block Von Miller and you don't have the chemistry and people aren't doing their jobs, that's what's going to happen every time. It's going to get blown up.
Yes.
If you're a playmaker, Saquon Barkley didn't have that help his rookie year, and he was offensive rookie of the year and had 2,000 yards from scrimmage. I don't think you need
Saquon Barkley, his rookie year, he had the best quarterback probably in the league pre-snap in Eli Manning.
Yeah.
You know how many? He had 91 catches. We don't even hear about stuff like that from running backs because Eli was putting them in the right situations, whereas Daniel Jones at the line, he's not the same. He's not an Eli Manning.
I mean, come on. Eli Manning, as much as people knock the guy was one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL for years. The guy had 17 years worth of experience.
Chris, you point to it all the time, and you say that there was a significant drop-off in play from the offensive line after DJ took over from before Eli. And I think –
I made a video on it. The first 2 weeks, the offensive line was playing great in 2019.
The deep drop, we talk about that a lot, man. Daniel Jones has that 9-yard drop. That's a difficult job for a blind side tackle and a right side tackle.
Yeah. I think Giants fans are missing what they had and didn't know what they had until it was gone. And Eli, everyone, you have Fisk always saying the corpse of Eli is your quarterback. Like, Giants fans didn't know what they had till it was gone. Yeah, could he throw the ball 70 yards anymore? No. But he was putting his offense in the best position.
Could Drew Brees throw the ball 70 yards anymore for Fisk's other team the Saints? No, but they had an offensive line and they had a defense.
Oh! Is that what we're doing? Yeah, I know. But you know me, man. Some people just like to watch the world burn.
I'm just going to get to a couple of these real quick. T-Man, thank you very much. Barkley was the least effective running back per next-gen stats. What will you think if he doesn't play tomorrow? I mean, listen, I expected him to be rusty. Like we said earlier, I'm not going to get crazy about the guy. He's just getting his feet wet. He's getting used to contact. Anybody that expected vintage Saquon a year off of not playing, and he barely played in preseason, we almost rushed him out there, it felt like. And we know that he was getting in shape and training, but this guy's not used to taking hits. He didn't play in any preseason games. I think it was more so him just getting adjusted to contact. I think he'll play T, but if he does, I wouldn't expect vintage Saquon Barkley yet. I just don't think that's realistic. That's just my opinion on it. The next gen stats didn't really surprise me because he didn't really look super explosive. We weren't getting much in terms of the run game. But Authentic looks like Justin Simmons. You ever get that, Authentic?
That's a new one, actually.
No, I honestly
Danny Green a lot.
No, Authentic. I think you look like Jair Alexander, honestly.
Word.
Austin says, best thing you said, or aka all-wheel drive, AW rather, all-wheel drive, Saquon getting tackled before his legs even get going. What are we doing to keep the field open? It is obvious they are expecting to run. How? Maybe play calling. I think play calling is a huge factor, Austin. And like Authentic said earlier, and like Pest said, or I think we all said earlier, you've got to find ways to get Saquon Barkley the field in open space. I think that's where he does his best damage. And the one thing I will say, and I don't think Saquon's himself, but the run game is super predictable. Everything is just right down the middle. Yeah. I don't think they ran a pitch the entire game. They had the one pitch to Toney, but outside of that, I know they ran it to the outside once with Barkley, I think, but it was very predictable.
You could tell he didn't want to hit the sideline too with the Barkley run.
Yeah, it's true. So they got to do something to create maybe they got to stretch the field. Maybe they got to throw the ball down the field, keep the defense honest, and that'll open up the ground game. Maybe run some draw plays.
I think they had the right idea. If you look at the first run, the one that Nikki was talking about, where Saquon Barkley goes off the left side, he gets about 4 or 5 yards, and they got Sterling Shepard going around on the reverse. But I think they just did it with the wrong personnel. You got to have that reverse be Kadarius Toney. Make it where you got 3 options. The run that the reverse play that they did to Kadarius Toney, they did have an RPO set up that it looked like he could have gave it to Saquon to go left, or he could have gave it on the reverse And I think we just need runs that have options like that.
Every day I'm fumbling. So DJ, the only quarterback to give a handoff to the other team for a touchdown.
Yo!
You got pest laughing.
Wait a minute. First of all, his name is Every Day I'm Fumbling.
Is that the picture of the fumble from Sunday?
Yo, it is. It's the fumble from the game. It's the fumble from the game.
I need to tweet that.
My God, man. I reacted strongly. He is dying.
Yo. Oh, man, that's hilarious, man. That's so funny, man. I'm sorry. That's
No. I'm glad you got to laugh at him.
That is so funny, man. Hey, listen, if we can't laugh at ourselves, right, then who can we laugh at, man? That's hilarious. Hey, good job to whoever made that.
Did y'all see Bad Dog's video today where it was his hype and hate video today, and I was like blown away by this stat that Washington's won 3 playoff games in the last 30 years, and Eli won more in 2007 than Washington has in the last 30 years. Like
you can say the same thing with Dallas since '95.
Yeah,
Dallas too. More playoff games.
Nuts, man.
Yeah, same thing. Let's see, Royal Money Man. Thank you very much. If we go 3-3, it's time to trade Barkley and Jones ASAP. Or
you're not
fire
getting anything.
You're not, yeah, exactly. Royal Money. I know fans bring that up all the time to me. Nikki, you took the words right out of my mouth. What the hell?
3-3 would actually be all right.
After
these first 6 games, I'll take that 3-3.
I'll take 3-3 right now. Yeah, I'm like, all right, okay.
Right now, guys, he says 3-3 is a disaster.
Yeah, I'm looking at we could fall to 2-4, 1-5 maybe.
I'll take.
I want to be 500 so damn bad.
I'll take 3-3
y'all know
right
the stat
now.
about the Giants not having a winning record at any point since like 2016 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Only team in the NFL.
But I mean, you look at our schedule. 3-3 is. I set up for that right now. I mean, I'll give the foul. Let's say we win the next 2. That's 2-1. Then you got at New Orleans, who looked like a beast week 1.
It's tough.
You've got at Dallas, and you got the Rams. If you take one of those 3, you sign up for right now at 3-3.
Yeah.
For sure.
Set up for right now. I'm just gonna read a couple of these because I kind of fell behind. I'm not gonna be able to pull up on the screen, but Alejandro, I got you here. Chris, you missed my chat earlier. I will try to go back and find it. I actually pulled up the YouTube chat so I could go to him here, Alejandro. I apologize about that. Josh says our offense needs to run more complex schemes. Sluggo, seam, stake, nod. Let's get our playmakers some opportunity. Every play seems like 5-yard curls. You're right. I'm not gonna. I do think we're trying to stretch it a little bit in the second half, but it's got to be out of the gate. It can't be these 3-4 yard routes to start the game. I feel like it's almost more risky to do that because if you make one mistake, at least if you throw a pick on a 50-yard bomb, it's almost like a punt. You got to try to stretch the field. And
he's definitely got to stretch the field, and I don't mind the interceptions either. If you throw it up there and it gets picked, it's whatever. It's them fumbles, man. Like I'm telling you, he might need to wear a glove like Kurt Warner. I'm joking, but I'm kind of being dead serious at the same time.
Eddie
like he
Bridgewater,
really has a problem with holding the football. Like it's the worst I don't remember a quarterback like this. Like even Jameis Winston didn't look this bad with the turnovers to me.
Yeah, the fumbles have been bad. He's got to know the thing that pisses me off. He's got to slide there, man. He's got to slide.
First and 10, you're in the red zone. You got to slide. When I first saw it, I thought it was like third down. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, saying that he he put 2 hands on the ball, but it's like, man, get down, man. It's first and 10. You're ruining point opportunities here.
Yeah, and Ricardo says, man, anything is better than we seen the last week. It was garbage. Can't be worse, Ricardo. Well, it could always be worse, but I hope it's not worse than that because that was bad. And I don't think it will be. I think they'll come with a much better effort.
Yeah.
NFL expert says, I'm calling right now, Shep breakout season incoming.
Facts.
I mean, based on
I got to get that number 3. He is the sexiest player in the league in that number 3.
By the way, guys, just so everybody in the chat knows, I just posted the link. If anybody wants to come on via video call, I just posted it. We'll get a couple of video callers. But, I actually was listening to your stream for about 5 minutes with Bobby while I was prepping this. He did mention Darius Slayton was great week 1. And then, so I'm not going to go over the top with Shepard, but I've been high on Shepard since I saw him in preseason and since I knew he was going to be working predominantly in the slot. So I think he could have a really big year. As long as provided he stays healthy, could have a really big year for the Giants this year.
Yeah, he's the only consistency in that wide receiver core that we've had with Slayton being there. A lot of people don't talk about the drops with Slayton, and that it has been a bit of an issue. He on the 9 routes, he seems to catch those, and Danny is throwing those 9 routes perfect. We've seen that replay of that catch he had on the offsides play on Sunday like a lot. Darius Slayton has caught in that ball like that a lot, but on the shorter routes, on the more intermediate routes, he had 2 drops. It's like we got to clean that up. It's like Daniel can't be making mistakes and everybody else be making mistakes.
Exactly. You got to help out your quarterback sometimes.
Yeah.
And Slayton had the big drop in the Patriot game too in the preseason, but still
on a beautiful route too and great timing. I mean, everything's perfect on that, and then he just drops it.
People don't talk about his drops enough. Everybody goes to Evan Ingram, rightfully so. A lot of his drops cost us football games. Yep. But Darius Slayton has had drop problems last year and so far this year.
Yeah.
Ricardo, man, thank you very much. Need to win games outside the division. Forget the NFCs. Well, you got to win games in the division too if you want to win it. I mean, those are some of our weaker opponents, but I'm with you. We got to win some games outside the division as well. Galen says, I am curious. And Alejandro, by the way, with the $3 super sticker, appreciate that with the thumbs up. Galen says, I am curious to see how much Tony plays. If he is healthy, he needs to be out there. Is it a Garrett thing? Do we think he does not know how to use him or something? It was weird to me, guys, and I want to get your guys' take on this as well, actually. It was weird to me, guys, that first game, because I honestly didn't think we were going to see a lot of Tony. And then because he hadn't played in all the preseason, yada, yada, yada. And then he was on the first 2 drives, and we didn't see him again. He only had 8 snaps all game, and it was so predictable, the plays in which they used him. The first time he came into the game, they used him on the pitch forward. And then the other play, he was in motion. He went back and forth, and they threw him a little hitch on the outside. I was disappointed in I didn't expect them to use him a lot, but I was surprised that they used him as much as they did early and never went back to him. It was a little bit weird to me.
Yeah, and maybe this is all I can speculate and think about that with Tony is that he's just not ready. If I had to bank on him being a guy that's, knee deep into the playbook or a guy that kind of is like a little bit on the outskirts of the playbook, he's probably the guy on the outskirts of the playbook, And I think it's just reps. It's just reps with him and just maybe the coaches or the coordinator and Jason Garrett saw something that the Broncos knew about how we were going to utilize Tony, and we're like, you know what, that's not going to work today. The play package we had set up that we were showing him is not going to work. Let's get him out the game. And you saw the passing game kind of be a little bit more effective in the second quarter, I feel like. The scripted first 2 drives looked pretty good with Daniel Jones. He was accurate, and everything was moving. I thought the ball was moving a little better than it moved last year. And Kenny Galladay was creating some separation for Sterling Shepard to get open. And that's why, to me, like, Kenny Galladay not getting passes like that early on, it was okay for me because in a way he's a decoy. You want the safety to play over the top and try to open up the middle of the field, and that should get Sterling Shepard going, who had the best game I can remember from Sterling Shepard in a while. I think it was like 113 yards on 7 catches and a touchdown. That's what we want to see out of him.
It was the Cowboys game last year, the last week of the season last year. Shep went off too.
Yeah, solid game. We want to see more of that, man. And I think Kenny Galladay will slowly but surely get – the more Saquon could get involved in the offense, the more you'll see Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney excel in this offense. And I think with Toney, it's hand in hand with Saquon Barkley. He's got to help him be a better runner in a way. We got to use Kadarius Toney on plays that they're quick. I like the second play they ran with him. I thought that was a great way to pick up a couple yards, and do things like that to get him open. And in return, it's going to open stuff up for Kenny Galladay, I feel like, down the field.
I like
all
it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I want to add to that. Well, I want to say, first of all, in Shep's last 2 games, he's got like 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just want to throw that out there. Shep's
a baller, man.
Cowboys game.
Shep is awesome, man.
Like, Shep's the kind of guy that if you're a teammate of his, when you walk out the tunnel, you're like, we know what we getting from that guy. Yeah. Just like Logan Ryan on defense. We know what we're getting out of him every game now. You might see him trailing behind a play, here or there, but you're going to get full effort, a dude out there hustling, trying to make every play. And I think that goes back to, like, what y'all were talking about earlier, like Sterling Shepard kind of like hopping up and being hyped about his catches because, he's passionate about the game. You can see that he's invested.
For sure.
And then the one other thing I wanted to say real quick was, did you guys see that tweet that my boss, Alex Wilson, he posted on Twitter, and it was – he like circled.
Wait. Did it have anything to do with someone's salad getting tossed?
What the hell was Alex Wilson thinking when he tweeted?
I'm just curious. Did it have anything to do with someone's salad getting tossed?
There is no way he knew what that term meant.
I didn't even see that one.
It was when we were back in our. It was after we recovered the fumble, Logan Ryan's fumble, and it was one of the passing plays that we ran, and it was like 8 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and it was 3 receivers all bunched up right in the middle, and there was nobody out spread out like anywhere along the field. Like it was that kind of play calling that shows that he didn't have any trust in Daniel Jones to be able to get him out of the situation, and it's frustrating. We talk about inconsistency with the Giants as a whole, but Jason Garrett calls boneheaded plays like that. But then you have that beautiful route concept where he has Kenny clearing out deep and then Shep's drag route, and it clears the linebackers and the safeties deep with focus on Kenny. Shep's free underneath. All he has to do is beat his man, and he takes that drag route for 37 yards for a touchdown. It's like, how does he think that and those two things are anywhere near close to each other in a quality of a play call? It's just that's in the definition of
inconsistency. It's mind-numbing.
I could give you a little bit on that too, though. Just to add to it, like I want to say that the Logan Ryan fumble was after Daniel's fumble. Am I right on that?
No, it was before.
It was before.
It was before. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and I was going to say is, it's a trust factor kind of in the quarterback, but look where we were on the field. We were on our own 3-yard line on 3rd down. If Daniel makes a mistake there, that's going to be it's pivotal, and he's known to make these mistakes in every game.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about there was no receivers outside of the hashes, like whatsoever. Everyone was in between the hashes, like the middle hashes. There was nobody outside, even close to the numbers. They limited their ability to use the entire field. They were hurting themselves by not opening up the field. There was nobody.
True, but also look at how
hashes.
Daniel excelled in the Pat Shurmur offense. They would roll the pocket to the right for him so that he could cut the field in half. We know Daniel's not a guy who's going to scan the field, get to the 3rd read, and dart it. He's not Herbert. He can't do these things. So you got to play within the strengths of your players. That's what the coach's job is to do. Now, you got to win that battle on 1st down. If you get the fumble there and you're on your own 3-yard line and you run it on 1st down and you get 3 yards, what's the coach thinking? Oh, mate, we might be able to climb up out of this. But really, if you can't, you're looking at a battle of field position there. You're looking to just get out of that without turning the ball over and then try to maybe punt the ball. You want to try to run some effective stuff to get to the sticks, but you also want to have plays that aren't risky with a high reward. You want to have something that could possibly turn out into your favor when you're pinned that deep in your own territory. And I'm not copping for Jason Garrett or nothing, but at the same time, we can't expect him to go shotgun, drop back, run a post verticals type of route system when he's on his own 3-yard line.
He was clogging the middle with all the defenders were all in the middle with those 3 receivers that were all in the middle of the field. And I'm talking about he eliminated 60% of the field by doing that. There was nobody lined up out wide at all. Everyone was slot or a curl route. Like there was nothing. I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you tell me, that's kind of what I was kind of trying to get to a bit there. Was like, you tell me this. Do you want to spread the field on your own 3-yard line with Daniel Jones at quarterback?
I honestly, yeah, I do, because I want him to either fail or succeed. I do.
That's my take too. I agree with what Authentic had to say about we definitely need to see him use more in terms of the rollout. I do think that Daniel Jones could excel in that area. But at the same time, I think he has to prove that he's capable of doing that. Otherwise, to be honest with you, Authentic, I don't want him to be our franchise quarterback.
At the same time, I just think that, like, all quarterbacks can't do everything, right?
No, I agree with that.
Certain guys, like right there, if I got Jalen Hurts at quarterback, I might run a quarterback draw.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that with Daniel.
Right.
Hey, the kid might fumble. We know that. He's got those soft hands.
You have to know your quarterback strengths and weaknesses.
I don't think that it's a like they don't have faith in him and they think he's not the guy for the job or something like that, right? But at the same time, it's like, hey, not all quarterbacks are Patrick Mahomes. Not all quarterbacks can scramble, run, throw it deep, read defenses, do it all. So you got to play their strengths. Look, Tennessee Titans would have probably played that the exact same way with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry.
Similar, yeah. Tannehill.
You try to run it on 1st down. Maybe you get a screen or something on 2nd or somewhere you check down and hope you get something, but you can't be trying to sling it down the field. I don't think there's not many teams that would do that. I'm not talking about
slinging it down the field, Authentic. I'm talking about having somebody at least lined up outside, not clogging the middle of the field.
Yeah, you want to spread out the formation.
Yeah,
and it was all just bunched up in the middle. That was it. And
but I think that's for a guy like Daniel. It's like, for me, when I think of Daniel, I'm not going to put like 2 split wide receivers and 2 in the slot or something and maybe a single back. On my own 3, I just can't do it. With him, I can't do it. The proof is in the pudding. The kid is, like, literally, he's never, ever made plays where I'm like, whoa, Daniel Jones literally just got us out of that.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't make that style of play. He's not that guy. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not even Derek Carr, who I've been hyping up all week. I said if the Giants had Derek Carr, I said if Daniel Jones can play to the level of Derek Carr, the Giants are going to be really, really good.
Derek
Because
Carr's
look,
good. Derek
takes
Carr's
care of the
great.
ball, high completion percentage. He can read defenses fast. I got these numbers on my head. I've had them on my head for like the past 2 weeks. 48 touchdowns, 17 interceptions in 2 seasons, 4,000 yards each year. He's a 68% quarterback in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Daniel
Do you
Jones ain't
remember
that.
those Derek Carr trade rumors a couple years ago? I was one of the few people that I knew that was actually. I was like, I would take it. That was before we got Danny. I was like,
yeah,
I
but and you know why they didn't do that? Like Derek Carr gets a bad rap because they're not winning games, man. Win games, bro. If Daniel Jones can win games, you can fumble a game and throw an interception a game. I don't care.
Eli Manning made tons of mistakes. He won games. People look at
that's yes. Listen, win. Everything else, win. If you win, it is the remedy for any ailment in football. Okay, if you win, it doesn't matter what happened. All right. Listen, both years that Eli Manning won a Super Bowl, he had stretches of games where he looked terrible.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that because he won Super Bowls.
We don't talk about
we don't even talk about that.
Listen, Pest. He made the plays when they needed to be made.
Yes.
Yeah, facts.
And right now, Daniel Jones is not that guy. Like he's not, this is the reason why I can't be on the Daniel Jones train, because I see flashes, but every time I see a flash, Daniel Jones takes 2 steps forward, and then the next play he takes 3 steps backwards, and it's like, oh my God, like I don't know what I'm going to get.
I got a lot of people waiting to come in, and I just want to read a couple of these before I bring them in so I catch up and I don't fall too far behind. But I do want to talk more about Daniel Jones. Alejandro says Daniel Jones doesn't have the it factor. Wake up, guys. It's not happening with Jones. However, I will love for Jones to prove me wrong, but can't see it. I think we all hope he proves everybody wrong that doesn't believe in him. If you're a Giants fan, you better be hoping he proves you wrong. Like I said, I'm going to give him the year and we'll see what happens. Adam says, just watch highlights of other teams. We're not doing things like other teams are. We're boring. The team isn't modern. We're easy to game. 100%. We are probably one of the easiest teams to game plan for in the NFL, if not the easiest. Yes. I was watching the Monday Night Football game. The Raiders are slinging the rock. I mean, it's the freaking Raiders, man. I'm with you, Adam, man. That's why I'm frustrated. It's why I made the video I did today. Brandon says 2 things to fix: Garrett gone and gone Garrett. Hamid says the thing that and thank you so much, Hamid. He says the thing that we all fall in love with about DJ is being a good guy. Might be working against him as a player. I almost feel I want DJ to get on guys' butts when they blow assignments. DJ needs an edge. He's a Brett Favre. Stop playing. Yeah, here's what I'll say, Mead. I feel like I don't know what he is in terms of the type of quarterback. I need to see more of him. But I feel like the New York Giants, because I guess of what they felt like he was coming out of the draft, are trying to make him like Alex Smith. That's the way it's felt the last year. And that he's not Alex Smith. Alex Smith is one of the smartest quarterbacks of all time. The guy never turned the football over. Yeah. You're basically asking Daniel Jones, a guy that Authentic just said that has 40 turnovers in 27 or 28 starts or whatever it is, to play mistake-free football to win football games. He can't play that way, and there's very few quarterbacks that can. He's not one of them. You have to allow him to sling the rock, because if you do that, yes, it's going to come with a few more mistakes, but it's also potentially going to come with some more big plays. And that's my mindset with Jones. We cannot.
You just give me flashbacks, Chris. To y'all ever see the top 100 players of all time? Lawrence Taylor at number 3, and Bill Parcells is talking about the hardest thing about coaching LT was to let the talent flourish without breaking down the structure of the defense. And we're trying to play in an offense that's it's very similar to what Alex Smith ran, but that's not the talent that DJ has. His talent is to be able to sling the rock downfield, like we were talking about, all those high down the field shot stats that we always quote, always talk about, highest graded player down the field. And we're trying to make him an Alex Smith. We're not putting him in that right situation to succeed that we always hear Joe Judge talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
That's real.
I got to get to your co-host here, the Beard. Thank you so much.
He says,
shout out to Beard. Washington. Shout out to my
damn Beard.
I love the Beard. The Beard's awesome. Link in the description below. I think they have one of the best podcasts on YouTube. Super professional.
Thank you,
Two
man.
great guys. Definitely check them out, man. I love the Beard. Of course, I love Authentic. So definitely check them out. Want to do more things with them in the future. And now I can pull up a couple here since I'm caught up a little on the chat. Chizolo. He says, the Giants are staying at my friend's college campus hotel, and my friend got a pic of Garrett, the O-line, DJ, the receivers, told him to take Garrett's playbook and burn that shit and give him a coloring book.
Give him a coloring book.
Give Jason, hey, take this coloring book. Go to the corner.
We're gonna have our first call.
Hey, what's up, boy? What's up, boy?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, boy?
Big Blue in the Bronx. I don't have your link in the description, but he does have a YouTube channel. He talks Giants. He talks Yankees. I've been on his channel once before. Great guy. Got to meet him in person. Thank you for coming on. What's going on, my man?
Yeah, and I'm shorter than everybody expected, but
You're taller than Kid Blue, so you have
Yes,
that.
you're definitely taller than BBS. Yeah.
yeah. I just like to say for the chat, and I kind of expected this, but whatever. It's a compliment, but it's also a negative in some aspects. Your chat, your audience is probably harder than the people who ask Aaron Boone questions. So,
Listen, I'm blown away by the support of my community. I always say, man, best supporters on YouTube, and I can never say thank you enough for everybody that shows up to my streams and supports not just me, but everybody in the Giants community.
So the first part I want to get to, and I don't know, partially where you guys left off, and I don't want to talk about this, but it has to come to conversation. If the Giants are bad enough, they have to draft a quarterback, and I'm saying if DJ's not the answer, but I'm not on the train where the Giants should draft a quarterback next year, because I think that this fan base is tired of losing. They don't need to go through another rookie quarterback. And going back to one reference last year with Tua, and they were almost ready to win. What were they, 10-6 last year? Brian Flores was bouncing. Am I going to win, or am I going to help develop my quarterback? And Tua switched out with Fitzpatrick too many times. So I honestly think if Jones is not the guy, it's got to be someone like Derek Carr. Aaron Rodgers, yeah, sure, in another dimension because we don't have cap space. So I have a question for Authentic, but everybody everybody here is free to answer. So Authentic, you get the Chargers games down there, the football team games down there. From what I read, Benjamin St. Juste, if I'm saying that correctly, didn't he do like poorly on Sunday? And is he their slot corner?
I'm not too sure. I wish we had the beard on here because he could probably break it down more. I was barely watching that game like with a keen eye this past week. But I know they struggled in pass coverage.
What were you going to say, Nikki?
Well, actually, I rewatched the entire while watching the game. Actually, I thought Benjamin St. Juste actually played pretty well. I'm pretty sure he was their 4th round pick out of Minnesota. I honestly, for a rookie, I thought he played pretty well. I think he had 1 or 2 pass deflections. He did lose on a couple vertical routes because he doesn't have that long speed. He wasn't the most athletic guy, that's why I didn't get drafted that high, but he's very technically sound. But I do think one of my points I had written down to talk about tonight was Shep can have another big game because he can absolutely take advantage of Benjamin St. Juste in the slot. Even though he had a good game as a rookie, he's a rookie. Shep is a veteran who tore up an elite defense last week. And that was one of my key things I want to talk about tonight was the matchup of Shep on St. Juste.
The problem it's not against Shepard because I'm absolutely rooting for him this year. It's been 2-3 seasons since he's stayed fully healthy for the full season. But I don't know. It just feels like a Giant thing to me, just this Giant culture overall that, if somebody has a good game, they're not going to have a good game the next game. Like Darius Slayton last year after the Steelers and the Cowboys basically disappeared. And I don't want to say that for Shep, but I think it should be another big game for him. I feel like we should get other receivers involved. And one of the guys said in the chat, I want to get Caden Smith involved. It can't just be Galladay. They're probably going to cover him up. Did
he even have a target, Caden Smith?
I don't think so, honestly.
I didn't know that he played till I rewatched the game.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what I think. This is my prediction. I think Galladay, and I know he's going up against a good corner, I think he is going to get force-fed the ball. I think Galladay is going to get a lot of targets in this game, especially as they saw the way that he played with Daniel Jones later in that game and all the contested catches he made. I think they're going to make it a point I expect at least 8 or 9 targets for Galladay. I think they're going to try to get Galladay the ball as much as they can early in this game. That's my prediction on the offense.
Yeah. If you ask me, I'm for it if it works, but I'm not too for it moving Gates to guard. I understand that, Bradison may not be the best run blocker. We need to get this running game going. We can't be sitting here at 2.3 yards per carry when Daniel Jones doesn't rush the ball. We just can't do that, whoever's our running back. But I'm not necessarily a fan of moving Gates to left guard like everybody talks about, because it's going to screw with Andrew Thomas. Obviously he didn't have great chemistry last year with Will Hernandez. They moved Lemieux over. I'm just tired of, I'm just totally tired. And I was for it at first. I'm not for this rotational line. They should really put in Matt Peart. I want to see the line of the future. And right now we're not seeing that. I just want to see what it is for the future. And then we go from there and make our evaluations. But just overall, I like the way Thomas played. Bradison's a better pass blocker than run blocker. And I was proven right when I did the proper research, basically that, once Lemieux left, any production in the run game was absolutely diminished because Bradison wasn't good. And Will Hernandez wasn't even good. And Nate Solder wasn't good. So, but that's also saying that the O-line did decent in pass protection. So that's what I got to say in terms of that. And I didn't think the running defense was that bad last week. I thought that huge run.
Yeah, it was misleading because of the big run.
Yeah, I definitely think that. But Danny Shelton's got to pick it up. He's got to pick it up. I thought Austin Johnson played well, but
Danny Shelton had one of the, in my opinion, and it's a play that you don't really highlight because you think about all the miraculous plays by Bridgewater throughout that game, the fourth down conversions. Danny Shelton, it was a 3rd and 12, and he had the guy in the backfield, and he allowed him to break an ankle tackle. He picked up 9 yards, and then they converted on the 4th and 3. That is a play that Dalvin Tomlinson absolutely makes last year. And that was a big play in that football game. He's got to be much better in this game, Danny Shelton.
Yeah, and I'm not going to self-promote here, but I was recording my podcast earlier, and I was doing like questions, keys to the game, whatever, questions to answer. And I was just outlining defense overall because I thought there was no singular person that really didn't do anything wrong. Like, Blake Martinez, he had a couple of tackles here and there, but that Albert Ogbonwenu touchdown, man, like, how do you not get him to the ground? To me, it gave me PTSD, and I'm not going to rip Graham for one game this year, but it gave me PTSD of 2019 and 2018 as well. Blitzed a lot, missed tackles, this, that, and the other thing. I have confidence in Graham to be able to adjust, and I think the opposite side will do that too, because from what I read in terms of stats and blogs and all that other stuff, the cornerbacks for Washington last week, other than William Jackson's pick, they weren't too great either. So I think both sides are going to make adjustments, but we can't be missing tackles. We have to get to the quarterback, and we have to sack them. That's just my opinion there.
I'm completely with you, my man. I'm gonna let you go just because I got a couple more people on, but I want to get your final score prediction on the game.
It's going to be close. I don't expect the offense to do any wonders. I think it's going to be a defensive one game. I have some weird feeling, but 2017 Giants.
I like it. Listen, I don't care if it's 2. So that's right around where I have it. I think the over-under is 40 or 41. I think it's going to be slightly under. I have it 2017. I'm trying something new, so I don't want Giant fans to think like I'm saying we're definitely going to lose. I'm picking Washington. I'm hoping that I could start a streak by doing that. But I have the same exact score for Washington, 2017. I like the 37 total points. I see it right around there. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, totally. Once again, thank you for having me on. Shouts to Nikki, Pest, Authentic. Met 3 of the 4 at a fan fest. Was really cool. We got to do that again sometime.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Definitely.
Come to next time. Nikki's got to come to next time.
Yeah,
definitely.
I really wanted to go, man. I was on vacation in the Outer Banks with my girlfriend and her family. I couldn't make it.
Nah, man. Hopefully the Eagles game you can make it.
Oh, I would love to.
But Big Blue in the Bronx, man, you're a great guy. Thank you so much for coming on and keep doing some great stuff over on your channel.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You got it, buddy. Be good. All right, just going to read a couple of these guys, and we'll bring on the next caller. Chris says, I still have faith in DJ, but regardless of how you feel, he's our quarterback this year. Got to call better plays, and DJ has to learn to slide. He'll get hurt. That's my mindset, Chris. Listen, at the end of the year, who knows what we're going to do? Who knows if we're going to get a stopgap? Who knows if we're going to draft a quarterback? Or who knows if we're going forward with Daniel Jones? This year, he's the quarterback, and I'm going to root my ass off for the next 16 games and hope that he can improve as the quarterback, so I have a lot more confidence in him being the quarterback in the future. You have no other choice as a fan, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fans that complain every step of the way, and there's definitely some fans that are completely off the bandwagon, and they're already thinking about the draft. I am not one of those fans. I am looking at Daniel Jones for the first time. This is the best situation Jones has had since he's been in the pros, and it's not even close. And we'll see, as these guys start to get more healthy, if he could progress as a quarterback. I have my doubts, but it's definitely possible. We've seen guys like Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield regressed significantly in his second year, and then he got much better in year 3 when he got a better scheme, and obviously he had a better offensive line, which helped. But it's not impossible for a guy to have a big year 3. Of course, Josh Allen, who I'm not going to compare him to, but it can happen. Quarterbacks could progress throughout their careers. So let's see what happens this year. That's all I'm going to say, and I think we'll get a much better taste of him throughout the year. I'm not going to just judge him on the first 2 weeks against these defenses with these guys who have been banged up throughout training camp. Pete, man, thank you very much. Do you think it's Daniel Jones or the coaches? I'm going to let you guys answer this. Do you think the coaches tell him not to throw? Go ahead, guys. I'll let Pat start.
He's muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the coaches do not tell him not to throw. In regards to that question, whether it's Daniel Jones or the coaches, I think it's both. Okay. I think that it's Daniel Jones not playing beyond the X's and O's. And I think it's the coaches being aware that Daniel Jones is not playing beyond the X's and O's. And so they're calling easy stuff for him. Like, I think it's a combination.
What you're saying is they're babying Daniel Jones.
I think they might be. Like, when I did my breakdown of the game, and I said, like, yo, we got to do a better job with this play calling, right? Because I feel like the play calling is very vanilla. It's very careful. And as I've thought about this over the last couple of days, I'm wondering to myself, is it because they're afraid that Daniel Jones is going to make a mistake? And if that's the case, then that's the wrong mentality, right? Like, I know you want to keep Daniel Jones' confidence up, and you want to put him in a position to succeed. But, like, let Daniel Jones go out there and just do it. Like, if these game plans that you are coming up with are potentially going to cause us to lose the game, then we might as well go out on our damn shield. Like, go out there and try everything.
Go out swinging. You go down swinging.
Yeah, right? Go out there. Go out there, and if it don't work, it don't work. Like, everybody's job's on the line right now. I wholeheartedly believe,
and they better start playing and coaching like it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that, like, this is a make or break year for this team and this organization. If they have a bad year, everyone's probably going anyway. So why don't y'all just go out there and just be loose, have fun, do it your way? Because listen, we had a coach that made the decision that if they're gonna fire me, they're gonna fire me because I did things the way I want to do those things. And we ended up winning a Super Bowl. His name was Bill Parcells. And I know earlier I said I'm sick of this whole old school Giants. But, like, at the same time, like, listen, when he decided that if I'm going to get fired, it's going to be because of me. It's because I'm doing things my way. It worked. So just go out there and just do the stuff. And if it don't work, get fired. You were going to get fired anyway. Like, what difference does it make?
Nicky, what do you think? Coaches or quarterback? Who's more responsible?
Well, okay, it depends. I think if you want to fault the coaches for trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, then then kind of the coaches, because I do think honestly, it depends on. I want to know what they're saying to DJ. I want to know on that first drive. Are they telling him, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake? And in that fourth quarter, when there's 7 minutes left of the game, are they saying, throw it to Kenny, throw it to Kenny, throw it to Kenny? Because why is that not happening the entire time? It really depends on what they're telling him. If they're telling him just to not make a mistake, that's on the coaches. If they're saying throw it to Kenny and he's not throwing it to Kenny the whole game and then he waits till the fourth quarter, then that's on DJ. I think DJ has all the talent in the world to be able to do this at an effective level. I think he needs to have the right offensive coordinator. I don't think that's Jason Garrett. I remember being so excited when we hired Jason Garrett, but I don't think that it's him. And honestly, it's both. But I would really like to know what they're telling him, because I'd be able to give an answer, but I really can't unless I know what they're saying.
Authentic, what about you?
I mean, this is a really tough question. I'm gonna answer the second half first. Of do you think the coaches tell them not to throw? I don't think that's the case, but I think that they're drilling a certain style in practice pretty much all week. Like, hey, we're gonna do it like this. And I don't even think they're mentioning the turnover thing to him. I think they're, maybe they're talking about ball security a little bit in practice, but they're not going out there like, hey, don't make sure you protect the ball, don't turn it over on this play. I don't think it's that. But I think more of this is on Daniel Jones, and I'm gonna just say that because on all losing teams I've ever seen, you got to start with the quarterback, especially if the offense ain't moving. I could understand if this was like Dallas right now where the offense is completely moving and the defense is struggling, then we could look maybe to the coaches and things like that. But offense starts with the quarterback. If you got a good quarterback out there, a lot of things can happen. I know that the number one wide receiver is a very important thing. It's not many quarterbacks in the NFL that are succeeding without number one wide receivers. We all know that. There's a few out there. And most of the ones who are, they're running quarterbacks. So if Daniel Jones is going to succeed in this offense, he's got to be a little bit just more aware, play a little bit more loose. The one thing I don't like about him is when he decides to run, there is no looking down the field after that. It's I'm running.
Like what Kyler Murray just did, where he runs back and forth across behind the line of scrimmage, backs up, and chucks it up. Like, that was unbelievable.
Daniel Jones ain't never going to do that in his dreams, ever.
No,
He's never going to do that.
Hey,
but you know what he could do? You know what he could do?
Quarter. He finally slid once in the fourth quarter of that Broncos game. My jaw hit the floor.
Oh, not me, because that's like fool me once. It's like you fumbled already, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you already fumbled.
I won't believe he's not going to have another mental lapse until I see it for a full year.
Right. But this is what I was going to say about how you maneuver in the pocket, right? Like, look at a guy like Matthew Stafford. Look at a guy like Taylor Heineke. Just go look at Taylor Heineke's highlights, right? He shifts, he moves in the pocket, and he's still looking down the field.
Two left feet. He maneuvers in the pocket.
Right. And it's not like Tom Brady's in the pocket moving fast. It's a mental thing. It's about keeping your eyes down the field and trusting your offensive line. Look at the play that happened to the Bucs. It was in the first quarter of the Dallas game on Thursday, where Tom Brady, the pressure's on his backside. He does not even flinch. The defender reaches for his arm and smacks his arm. And I know every Giants fan across the nation thought about Daniel Jones when that happened.
I don't know how he held on to that football.
I don't know how he held on to it either, but I know that he trusted the line there. He didn't even flinch when the defender was right there up on his tackle. He didn't even flinch. He was just like, whatever, reached at his arm. I mean, this is what you got to be able to do in the NFL. You can't be a guy who looks at it and goes, oh, my God, it's breaking down. Oh, time to run. Like, you got to look down the field. Russell Wilson, these quarterbacks are really good at that. You brought up Kyler Murray, who's fantastic at that. Make one shift. You can make your left tackle look so much better if you got good footwork in the pocket.
Yeah, and here's what I'll say about what you said right there, Authentic, is I'm in complete agreement with you. Is some of it the coaching? For sure. For sure. It's never just all one thing, but I am definitely a guy, and that's why I have always a guy that has always said, yes, Garrett's not very good. Garrett's not very good, but I'm never going to put the full blame on Garrett. At the end of the day, the players have to perform. These guys are paid professionals. This guy was the 6th overall pick. He's supposed to be a franchise quarterback. Do I expect him to be incredible in a bad situation? No. I expect him to be improved. And is the scheme conducive to his skill set? No. And was it a mistake? Sure. But then I could just easily put the blame on the Giants more so than Jason Garrett, because if the Giants knew that Garrett wasn't going to fit Daniel Jones, why did you bring him in the first place?
And that has to be because Joe Judge wanted him.
Yeah, and you know what? People are going to say it's Mara, and I thought it was Mara when we first did it. But at the end of the day, it stops with the head coach. Just like when Dave Gettleman does something that maybe the head coach recommended, it still is the blame is on Dave Gettleman. So Joe Judge is married to our offensive coordinator. Period. End of story. He came on with the hiring process, so he agreed.
And the fact of the matter is this. The proof was in the pudding when Joe Judge fired Mark Colombo. When he fired Mark Colombo, that let me know that any coach that's there is there because Judge wants him there.
Yeah.
Like if Judge and I was on the fire Garrett train, not really because I as I said I don't call people to get fired, but I wasn't happy with Garrett from the very beginning. But, like, I had to take a step back over the course of the last, 48 hours and ask myself, is Joe Judge really being made to keep a guy he doesn't want?
It can't be.
It can't be.
He already fired the guy he didn't want.
It can't be.
Yeah, it can't be.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I definitely think Garrett has something to do with it. I'm never going to say that he doesn't have anything to do with it for sure. And I don't think he fits Daniel Jones' skill set. It's why I was not super against getting rid of Shurmur, only because of Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Because I do think he fit the scheme very well. But at the end of the day, the players still have to perform. And Daniel Jones cannot be excused of any responsibility just because it's not a perfect scheme. That's just my opinion on it. The players have to take some responsibility.
And this is the scary part about it too, is like if Daniel Jones runs in the red zone there and scores a touchdown, we're looking at everything with a different eye. We're not thinking about the turnovers. We're like, wow, we're actually moving into a positive direction as an offense. But then he fumbles, and now it's like, oh, man, it's back to last year. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe Daniel Jones needs to become more of a running quarterback, because then you can put a defense off balance like that if they know that you're a threat to run. But it's like it's almost like he's smoking mirrors. Like he's like, yeah, I'm a pocket passer, but don't slip up. I'll run it. But I also got hands like we're playing Madden. Like he fumbles on hits that don't even look like nobody's stripping the ball, punching it out for the most part. He's literally just taking a regular tackle.
Tackled
regular
and fumbled the ball.
You literally feel like it's Madden. You know, like in Madden, it don't matter who your quarterback is. You could have Lamar Jackson. If you run it too many times, like when he gets tackled, he's going to fumble the ball. And Daniel's like the only quarterback in the NFL that I feel is like that, where it's like, man, and as a play caller on the sideline, you see that happen. Now you're like, maybe I shouldn't put these running plays in there. You know, they showed the RPO and they never went back to it.
My opinion on Jones, and I'm not trying to knock Jones. I still, like we all said, I still think Jones could be good. We'll see this year. But my opinion on Jones, he feels like Evan Ingram to me. Like you just feel like he's going to have and you just feel like he's going to do something to cost you the game in a big spot. Yeah. And I can't get out of my head. And it was last game too, when we were starting to get that momentum on that drive. And he was looking great, zipping the ball down the field. In the back of my head, I'm like, is he going to screw it up? 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 And he screwed it up. And I cannot continue to feel that way and feel comfortable with him as my quarterback. I need him to progress this year. I need that to get better. And that's just me. That's just me being blatantly obvious. And I'm sure a lot of the Daniel Jones fans in here are going to be upset that I'm saying that. That's my honest opinion. And I think he could get better. But I'm not going to excuse poor play. I'm not. And that's just me being honest on my channel.
He's got to get better this year. And then at the end of the year, we can still all make an assessment. And I think that if people are still a little bit like on the fences about Daniel Jones, even after a solid year, let's say, I will understand it. But it would give him at least the opportunity to go into 2022 and be able to be our starting quarterback. But I still think in the back of people's minds, we're going to be shaky about it, you know, until he gives us multiple years of success and positivity on the offense.
Listen, Daniel Jones has a bad year. Daniel Jones has a bad year this year. We'll have a new quarterback next year.
Oh, it's not
I don't know. I think they'll let him play out the fourth, but they'll draft somebody. And then it'll be like a situation where, like, you know, if you start like 2-5, 2-6, all right, we're going to give a young kid a chance.
I'm just going to read a couple of these guys before I lose, but then I want to get G Nation on. Peter says, Chris, I'm sure you appreciated that blast I sent you. Yeah, I saw, man. You were definitely pissed off. Grim, man, thank you very much. Judge spent time with a very good offensive mind in Josh McDaniels. He must know offensive scheme matters. Sound fundamentals only get you so far. It's a good point. McDaniels obviously known as a very good offensive mind with the Patriots while he was there. It's a good point. And I do believe, what I will say is, I do believe that Mara was much more responsible for that hire. I will agree with that. For sure. I don't think that was a Judge hire. I think every other coach on the staff was for the most part, but I think that was Mara influence. I will agree with that. Rel, man, thank you very much. DJ doesn't have it. He's average, seriously. I don't blame anybody for feeling that way right now. We need to see him progress and get better. I still think he's going to have a good year. I really do in my heart. I still think he's going to have a good year. And I am not going to change my opinion until week 5 or week 6, and I get to really assess him after the first 2 weeks. I've come out and said it's been my hot take before the year started. It's what I feel, and I'm going to continue to say it until he proves me wrong. I think he's going to be close to 30 touchdowns this year. I
think so too.
In my heart, believe that.
And a lot of average quarterbacks have won the big game.
Yeah. So we'll see. You know, I got to see more of him, Rel, but I understand why people are down on him. I definitely understand it.
Yeah.
Stan, thank you very much. What did Mara sell the future of the franchise for? 2 wins against the Brady of Arch Mannings in 2025. Pest knows who this is. LL, love you guys. What's going on, Stan? Popped in the stream, buddy. Stan's the man.
What's going on?
And Greg, what's going on? Should Eli be a quarterback coach for the Giants? I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but I just don't ever see Eli. People have asked me this in the past, guys. I'm curious to get your take. Eli never came across to me as the type of guy that would want to be a coach. He seems very laid back, you know, especially as we've gotten to know him more so after his retirement. I think he's a family man. I think he's enjoying his life. Obviously, he's having the fun thing with his brother on Monday nights, but I don't see him wanting to put himself through the daily grind of being a coach in the NFL.
I agree with you. Ain't too much to be said. I don't even see Eli as a coach for real. I mean, look at how he was on the field. He was just blah all day.
Yeah,
you know, we're winning. The only time I really saw him celebrate was in the Super Bowls, you know?
Yeah.
I love him though. Because you
Love him.
know what I loved about Eli was he was himself.
Yep.
And he wasn't phony. He didn't act. He knows that the fans don't want him to be the way that he is. He didn't care. And New York fans embraced him because of it.
Yeah, that's facts. And I know we're talking a lot about quarterback right now, but like, you know, like we said in the beginning, I don't think that this game is on Daniel Jones, to be honest. I think
I know. Let's go back and circle back to that. The defense was the reason we lost week 1.
Yeah, the defense was awful. I know some people were saying they were tired because the offense couldn't stay on the field. But the 2 back-to-back 8-minute drives and just, I mean,
the defense.
I looked at the PFF numbers. It was so bad. It was so, I mean, like Peppers, it was 4 for 4 on Peppers. It was 6 for 7 on James Bradbury, 2 for 3 on Adoree Jackson, 2 for 3 on Xavier McKinney. You know, like just in coverage, like they're just catching everything. Teddy Bridgewater's numbers were ridiculous. And the game plan that was kind of obvious, it was executed to a T. Whereas our game plan was pretty obvious and it just got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was tired because of the defense.
Yeah.
That's my take. They couldn't get off the field from the jump. From the start of the game, they couldn't get off the field.
And the edge rushers, man, still an issue. You know, like we got to get pressure on the quarterback from the edge. Like we cannot rely on Leonard Williams to just be bull rushing from the middle of this defense getting sacks all year. Like we need some pressure on the edge. Make these quarterbacks step up in the pocket.
Not even just that. Not even just the pressure off the edge. The Ojulari and Carter, both of them, they were horrible in the run game. I mean, I know Ojulari is a rookie, but man, on that Melvin Gordon 70-yard touchdown, he was a turnstile. He is way too small to be up there on the line trying to help in run support. That is not the right personnel. That is not putting your players in a position to succeed. And I was really on a side note, I was really underwhelmed by Carter. You know, Patrick Graham putting him up. He looks great, and he didn't show up.
Carter did not. I didn't say his name the entire game. I was disappointed. That's a good call. I was disappointed with Carter as well.
Yeah.
Chris Hoffman says, "Do you think Judge sees Garrett's plays aren't working? Does he have eyes?
Yeah.
He have a brain? He must. I mean, how do you not? I mean, this team was 31st in the NFL last year in offense, and they put up 7 points. I don't count the last touchdown. They put up 7 points week 1. I mean, he has to know there has to be some kind of changes to this offense and improvements. And I think what Judge is banking on is these new guys they've brought in, and when Barkley gets fully healthy, you're going to see this offense start to take leaps and strides. But I has to. How could you not? And we'll see how Judge, hopefully make some adjustments this year. Pete, man, thank you very much. Guys, you're going in circles. It's the coaching. It's the line. It's Barkley's health. Graham's defense. Couldn't get off the field. Blah, blah, blah. It's the quarterback. If we had a spot, this would all be moot. Pete, you know what? Here's what I'll say, Pete. In the NFL, when you have a great quarterback, it hides a lot of your deficiencies. And that's just facts. And you go back to Eli Manning in 2011. That team, Authentic, we had more deficiencies than almost any of that team. I'm going to tell you right now, Authentic, that 2011 Giants team, when you factor in the injuries we had that year, was worse than this one. Outside of the quarterback. Yeah. It was worse. We ranked dead last in defense that year, I think, or maybe it was like 26th, and we were dead last in running at 32. Now, we got healthy come playoff time, but Eli carried that team to the playoffs. So he's absolutely right. When you have a great quarterback, and that was the one year where Eli was really at that. Yeah,
Victor Cruz, man. Oh, my God.
Victor Cruz was huge for that team. Of course, obviously, it hides a lot of your deficiencies on your football team. So he's right. If we had Pat Mahomes, if we had insert quarterback's name here that's a top 5 quarterback, sure.
Yeah. And
if it was up to Ben McAdoo, apparently we'd have Pat Mahomes, so.
That's what they were saying. Yeah, but the Giants right now, this Giants team lacks identity, and that team, it had identity. We knew. I was waiting to do salsa dances every Sunday that year. I knew Victor Cruz getting him one today, And even when we were losing games with Odell Beckham, we went into every game on offense knowing, like, hey, that slant coming. It's coming. I know I'm about to get me a 50-yarder or a 60-yarder from Odell Beckham at some point in this game. And right now, it's like everything is so shaky. You got all these injuries coming into week 1. What are we banking on offense right now? It can't be Kenny Galladay right now, like he just got here. Saquon Barkley's coming off a knee injury. Kyle Rudolph looks like Jason Witten out there. So it's like, where does the identity come from? We're not ground and pound. We don't stretch the field. Darius Slayton is what Darius Slayton is. We kind of know what Slayton is. We kind of know what Daniel Jones is. So they got to find a way, and that's on the coaches. You know, coaches got to find a way to have an identity with this offense where it's like, yo, y'all can't stop this right here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just going to read a couple more of these, and then we're going to bring the next guy on. Tuto, he says, salute, Giants Paisano, dropped by your office to pay on my proper respect for all the Giants fans around the world. Slap all the stinky Eagles fans losers. What's going on, Tuto? And Mike says,
Chris, really quick.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Really quick, my laptop might die while we're still on here, but I can pop back in on my phone just so you know.
No. You do what you got to do. If you want to, I'll pop you back in. You have the link. I'll pop you back in.
If it dies, I'll pop back in on another device, but I should be good.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, man. Mike says, why Rusty? He came off the IR in Madden and didn't miss a beat. Sorry,
Shout out, Mike.
Mike, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna read more of you guys. I'm not gonna have it here. I'm gonna read it off the thing. So I saw somebody said that I missed the super chat. I'm not missing it. I'm gonna read it periodically because I'm gonna have some callers and I'm trying to get as many people on the show as I can. Braden Bigheart, man, what's going on, buddy?
How are you guys doing today?
Is that DRC?
Yes, it is. Well,
my jersey behind me, I have a signed DRC jersey, my favorite New York Giant of all time.
Yeah, you're lucky for that. So I wanted to bring up, because Authentic Pest and Bobby brought up, I was in their live stream earlier, they brought up how they really opened up the offense back last year against the Buccaneers. And yes, Daniel Jones completely threw that game for us. We lost because of Daniel Jones. I think we can all agree on that. We were all pissed after that game. But going back looking at it, that was probably, in my opinion, it was Jason Garrett's best offensive play calling of his tenure here so far. Like Daniel Jones, he definitely told Daniel Jones just go out and just sling the rock. Like if you guys remember, Daniel Jones missed he'll miss Sterling Shepard. He had a touchdown wide open. He missed a couple players just wide open, but people were getting open. He opened up the playbook. He told Daniel Jones to just go out and sling it, and he did that. But he also threw us the game. That's what I want to happen this year. I want Daniel Jones to just be able to have free will and just be able to just go out and either fail or succeed.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, I do think that that game, I feel like the lights were a bit too bright for DJ, which is kind of discouraging. I feel like he was thinking way too much. And then when it came down to it and when adrenaline took over, those 2 4th downs on that final drive, he converted. I was like, holy crap. That's probably the one time I felt like I've seen him have that it factor. Those conversions to Shep and to Slayton, on that 4th down drive, that's like the only time I felt like I have a franchise quarterback ever. Like I've been like, this is a guy that can make a play. When all we're talking about all week is we need guys that make plays. That was the only one. And honestly, that was probably one of DJ's worst deep ball completion games of the year. And he had a bright spot. So we need to see more of that those play calls, and we need to see more of that from DJ.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm in complete agreement with you. That's what I said today. I'm tired of the kid gloves at this point. Last year, I understood it. We were limited. We relied on our defense. New playbook. You had a brand new offense. I knew they were going to struggle coming out. And then he got hurt when it looked like he was starting to pick up the playbook in the second half. So I understood the conservative approach last year. And I know there's going to be times based on your opponent, you're gonna have different approaches on offense. I get that. But I never want to feel, if I have a franchise quarterback or a guy I'm hoping is going to be a franchise quarterback, that my team is playing not to lose when my quarterback is out on the football field. And week 1, that's how I felt. And I don't want that. I want Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, you're talking about a journeyman. Denver said, go out and win the freaking game. And that's what I want Daniel Jones to be. But it starts with the coaching staff. They have to have the confidence in him to be able to do that. And that's why I was frustrated after week 1. Had very little to do with Jones. It had a lot more to do with the fact that they weren't giving him the opportunity to make big plays in big spots.
Yeah, they just babied him. That's the best way to put it. Like in that Buccaneers game, they weren't babying him. They gave him keys. They gave him the keys to the offense, and I wouldn't say he showed out because obviously he threw 2 interceptions and he lost us the game. But he had 2 touchdowns, and we almost came back and won that game. That's what I want to see this year. I want him to either succeed trying, like I want him to come out trying, like in that Buccaneers game, and succeed, or lose trying, and not just being babied and we just replace him.
Yeah. I think that's twofold. I think you're playing scared, trying not to lose, and that's throwing away the game you're playing at that moment. And on top of that, I think that ruins your evaluation of Daniel Jones on top of that for the entire season. If you're not going to let him try to go out and ball, that's a lose 100% of the time.
Because we don't know what we have in him. We just don't.
Exactly,
If you just
100%.
baby him the entire time, running stick the entire game, frustrating.
Can't happen, man. They
Yeah,
got
if it completes and it works, I don't think we'll be complaining as much. But when it's not working, it's terrible. You know, like you look at that first half and the Giants only come away with like 3 points or whatever, and it just looks bad. It just looks really bad. I don't mind the short route concept, but just don't overuse it. You know, like Jason Garrett's sitting there running the same concept over and over and over and over again. Like we're just trying to get the rhythm. Like, yo, just go.
And the thing I can't stand, Authentic, about the short routes that we run. Like when Pat was here, we ran short routes, but it was more east-west. It was a West Coast style offense, and you had guys running open on crossing patterns, so they could catch the ball and run for an extra 5, 6, 7 yards after the catch. With this, they're curl patterns. As soon as they catch the ball, if they even catch it, they're going right down to the ground. So
curls and flats.
I just feel like there's very little big playability when we run these short routes with this offense.
Yeah. The stick concept. I'm so
Which
sick
is where
of the
Kadarius Toney could come in. You know, like. Get you some slants and some other different angles that could win on speed. Look at D-Hop. I mean, they were killing him with the slant in that Cardinals game. And he was even like the passes are so perfect for D-Hop. He's making his move before he catches the ball. Some of those quick slants, he just hit the brakes, goes the other way. You know, but like we see what happens when you run the slant with Darius Slayton. It don't work. You don't get no separation.
I don't want to see Kyle Rudolph running a stick route in the red zone or in the end zone ever again. I want to see.
I wasn't mad at that call. I wasn't mad at that call.
I want to see Sterling Shepard running a stick route. Like
he's got to go up with Pat. He's got to make a better throw on that play though.
Daniel Jones got to put the ball on him.
Yeah, that was a bad pass.
100%. I agree with you.
Like if you're gonna throw it away, you might as well throw it up. Like you might as well. It's Kyle Rudolph.
If he was throwing that away, okay. I don't know if he was. If that was, maybe it was miscommunication. I don't know.
He shouldn't be throwing it away.
Exactly.
Put that bitch up in the air and let Kyle Rudolph go get it. Put it in the air and let Galladay go get it. Like what?
Yo, I don't think he was throwing that away.
I don't think he was either.
Yeah.
I think he just missed.
Think he thought Rudolph
honestly,
was
watching it back, I kind of thought it was a miscommunication. I think that they just were on the same page. I think that he thought that Rudolph was going to run a completely different route than he did. Honestly.
Now, look, when I saw it live, the way the throw looked, right, I was like, I think he thought it was a fade, right? It looked like he was trying to throw it over the top a little bit. But, like, it's your tight end, and how many times did we see Jason Witten make a killing on that exact same route? He would either go to curl or go to stick and kill it all the time. So it's like, did we really make a mistake and think that Kyle Rudolph was running a fade route right there? Somebody messed up, I know, and I'm not 100% on this, but, like, you see him come out the break. He started inside, came out the break outside. Like, we're going to throw fade? Like, this is our starting quarterback. He should be able to see this. And I think that when it's one-on-one like that, you're thinking, I'm about to feast. When you're Rudolph coming out the break, you're like, oh, this is one-on-one. I'm going to bully him for this catch.
Yeah.
And the ball's 4 yards over your head.
Yeah. I just it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because these are things that at this point in his career, Daniel Jones should just be able to do with his eyes closed. Like you've done it. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, because we only get to see them do it one time in the game. They do this over and over again in practice.
Yeah.
Okay? These plays that they are running, it's not the first time that they've done this. They've run this constantly.
And Pest, like, yo, if I'm the tight end, right, and Rudolph probably wasn't, like, on the podium in the press conference, but if I'm the tight end and I did that to a young quarterback like that, I'm going to make sure that people know I ran the wrong route right off the bat. That's me. I don't know. But, like, somebody's got to be accountable for this. They're hiding Jason Garrett in the press conference. They're hiding people making mistakes in the press conference, and they're giving us these bland answers. Like, something's got to give. Offense not working. For me, I got to start right at the quarterback. Yeah. And the relationship with the coordinator. Yeah, Jason Garrett, you'll do something. You see a kid can't make these throws, do
Garrett's
something.
definitely part of it. There's no doubt about that. But Braden, I need a final score, and then I'm going to let you go. I got 2 more guys I got to get on, and I got to read a couple more of these. So what's the final score tomorrow, buddy?
Oh, yeah. 21-20. I'm going over by half a point. The over-under is 40.5. I'm going 21-20 Giants.
Okay.
That was the score last time when Ron Rivera went for the 2, right? Wasn't it 21-20?
I believe it was 21-20.
Hey, that'll be
Are you going to say the same thing here? You think Riverboat Ron goes for 2 again, or no?
No, I think it's just going to be. I think it's just going to be 2 field goals and a touchdown for Washington. It's going to come down to the last possession. So.
Oh, and then Giants going to score a touchdown 20 to go up 21-20, win the game.
Either that or they throw an interception on the last. Like Washington throws an interception.
Got you.
Seals the bag.
Okay.
I'll take it. I don't, as long as we win, man. But Braden, man, thank you so much for coming on and enjoy the game tomorrow night. Let's get a win.
I will.
Thanks, bro.
All right, buddy. Be good. All right, we're going to get a couple more guys on. Just want to read a couple more of these. Eddie H. said, Tony is our version of Tavon Austin. I sure hope not. They are a similar type of receiver. I will say that. But
Both
that would be like,
electric as hell in college.
Yeah.
yeah, he got drafted by the Rams, then ended up with the Cowboys. He never amounted to anything in the pros, but they are a similar type of receiver. Good Citizen, and just so you guys know, I am reading these. I can't post it on the screen because it's too far behind on the StreamYard. He says, what do you guys think? Daniel Jones looks like he was raised as a goody good two shoes. We need to get him some hookers and some cocaine for one night so we can loosen him up, enjoy life. Big fan.
Hey, listen.
My
Listen, I had to check the time when I said Daniel Jones has no swag, right? I said Daniel Jones had no swag, and then but we're 2 hours into the stream, so you won't get demonetized at the point. And I was gonna say we need to get this man some pussy. we need to get this man something.
You're terrible, man.
Because he got no swag. This man got no swag, man.
You're right, though. You're right. He's playing like he's not confident, and that's then when it's crazy because when he's playing like he is confident, like when he's running the ball, he fumbles. It's like, oh man, I just wish he didn't fumble that, man. Like we'd be looking at it totally different, man.
Hey, listen, hey,
okay.
I'm real quick. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say this. I want to say this, and Tana and Thin think is gonna get this when I say this. I know a perfect place that we can take Daniel Jones. I know the perfect place
after the Giant game.
Yeah, I know the perfect place we can take this man. I'm just saying. We found it by accident, but we know where it's at now.
I will say,
NFL experts, man.
That boy's a fool, man.
NFL experts, you got to keep that till after the stream, Pat. NFL expert says, Nikki, I told Tana yesterday, Shep sent me a number 3. That's awesome, man. Yeah, he got a number 3 jersey from Shepard. NFL experts did. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
I saw Shep posted that on his on his Instagram that he was doing that giveaway. That was pretty cool. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, I saw somebody saying that they're not going to wear no Giants gear until we get the W, and I might be right there with them.
Listen, I've only got the hat on in the house. Okay, just in the house.
Let me read the next one here. We got Independent Outsider, man. What's going on, buddy? He says, I want to see the Giants play 4 full quarters of football, not 2 quarters of football as usual. That said it. The one DJ fumble, the ground caused it. Wait. I'm sorry. That said that one DJ fumble, ground caused it. No.
In this past game, no. That was out way before he hit the ground.
That's a joke, but the ground definitely didn't cause that fumble.
I hope it's a joke.
Yeah, it might have been a joke. But yeah, I'm with the Independent. There's so many. We got to get off to a good start, and we got to play 4 full quarters. The last time we played 4 full quarters was the Seattle game. And it's rare that we play 4 full quarters, but yeah, we have to. Amit says, fellas, let's be real. Amit, thank you very much. Garrett's playbook is an Atari 2600 in a PlayStation NFL. His playbook works well for the 1986 Giants.
Agreed.
I mean, here's my issue with the Garrett hire, and I liked the Garrett hire when we made it. I'll be the first to say it. I was a fan of the hire. I thought it made sense. I blame it more on the Giants than Garrett because the Giants should have known Garrett, for his system to work, it is common sense. You think back to those Cowboys teams. Strong offensive line and a power ground game. The Giants didn't have that. And we didn't have the tall wide receivers on the outside. We had Golden Tate. So you knew that the personnel on the team didn't fit what Garrett was trying to bring to this football team. So I blame the hire on the Giants more so than Garrett calling the plays because Garrett, that's been what he's done for 15 years. You know what you're getting when you bring Garrett in here. So whether that's Judge or whether that's Mara, I think they're at more fault for bringing him in here to begin with.
I will say that I do think that it's a bit, it's kind of funny how I think that Evan Ingram was very much missed in this game. I know that everyone makes fun of his drops and all that crap, but, I saw a lot of people on social media, on Twitter, on TikTok, everywhere, saying that they really miss Evan Ingram. Like, you felt like he wasn't there, and I really agree with that. You feel he wasn't there because a defensive coordinator is not going to game plan saying that, this guy's probably going to drop the ball. With his athleticism, his speed, his release package, you have to account for him as a defense. So they game plan for him like he is going to catch the ball. And that changes the entire way that the Broncos played coverage against us. That's going to change the entire way that the football team game plans for us tomorrow night. I think that we are a much more productive offense with him on the field, even though he will drop some balls here and there.
Yeah.
And Corn Pop says, How do you think we could use Colin Johnson? I don't think to my knowledge, I don't think he's going to be on the roster this week. But the reason we brought in Colin Johnson, I think, is he's kind of like a backup in case Galladay goes down. That's the type of receiver he is, right? He's a tall threat on the outside. And I kind of think that meant that David Sills is probably never making this roster. Once we brought him in. Austin, man, thank you very much. Authentic, totally agree, bro. You're speaking the truth right now. So there you go. And Austin, man, thank you so much, man, for the incredible generosity. Bano says, I just want to see DJ play with some balls. Watching Derek Carr in that game gave me chills. He's got it. DJ don't. Listen, we all get it, guys. The fans want to see DJ sling the rock, and hopefully we get to see that this year.
And that could be a game plan thing too, because look, Carr made a bunch of mistakes at the end of that game. You know, they almost completely threw that game away at the end. You get another chance. It reminds me of Eli, man. Like Eli used to struggle, man, all game. The defense would give him like one or two more chances, and he just drive you down the field, get the W, man. You know, it wasn't flawless.
Where was that whole game, Eli? I mean, I'm glad it showed up in the end, but you could have did that. You could have did that 20, 30 minutes ago, man.
Yeah, you wanted some suspense in your movie, man, on the script, and Eli gave it to us. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Fix the O-line says, is old school Judge holding back Garrett?
Possible. I don't know, man.
Ooh, I've never even thought about that.
Oh, hey, Tainer, but before you break down what you say real quick, did you see the video that kind of was going around the internet with Judge before he got hired? He's talking about philosophy and stuff, right?
Yeah. Diggy made, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said in that video, I want to play old school philosophy. Right. I absolutely think that in terms of the offensive philosophy, not the scheme, the offensive philosophy week to week, Judge has at least as much say or more say than Jason Garrett does. I absolutely believe that. We're running Jason Garrett's scheme. It's still the stick concepts, and I get that. But in terms of the offensive philosophy week to week, I think Judge has a ton of input on that. I'll say that.
Yeah. So where do you think if he's invested in that kind of a philosophy, where is he looking for the improvement here? Is it running game, you think?
Yeah, he said when he first took the job, and that's just a small tidbit of what he said. He said he wanted to base their game plans based on the opponents they were going up against. So what I'm hoping of it as a fan is when we go up against Atlanta, we open up the playbook because they have a weak secondary, and we'll have an opportunity to throw the football. But I do think at heart, Judge wants to be like the Titans. He sees a quarterback like Tannehill. He wants to be able to run the football like they do and work off the run. And obviously they have a really good offense, but they work their offense around the running back, Derrick Henry. And they're kind of a team that
they run outside zone.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
They fell short on Sunday as well too, and looked pretty dismal on offense as well.
Yeah, they better have a good offense this year after adding Julio Jones and AJ Brown, but bad start to the season for them. But I think that's the type of offense that he envisions, the one that Vrabel's running with the Titans, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
A run-first offense.
And then it's personnel. Ooh.
Yeah, well, their personnel is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin, thank you very much. For my health and wellness, I need Brandon Rodgers' seat frauds to suck ass for eternity. It's ironic how Ed Oliver keeps calling DJ Danny Fumbles. Mr. Fumbles is 4-0 versus the no-namer. He's right. I mean, if there's any team he has his number, it's the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Alejandro. Let's hope that continues.
Yeah, exactly. Alejandro says Daniel Jones 2.0. He is bigger. He's stronger, faster than Eli Manning. Was the reason Giants drafted DJ. Enough with the excuses.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Listen, this is the year, okay? This is the year that Daniel Jones has to prove something. This is the year.
Yeah.
What's going on, Chris? What's going on?
Sorry, I had to wait too long, man. I try to get to the super chats before I bring people on because I know I'll never.
Hey, Chris surprised me like that too. I was like, oh, we're on. All right.
I got two more after him, so I'm trying to get to him, man. G Nation came on last week. He's got a channel. We had a great conversation last week. I'm sure you told me you weren't going to get any sleep before the game, so I'm sure you probably didn't feel much better the next morning.
You see, I'm in all black. I'm mourning.
I like this guy already.
We're not going to a funeral, are we? Man, are we going to a Giants funeral tomorrow?
Hopefully we're going to a funeral for the other team.
Hopefully we're going to a baptism tonight and being reborn tomorrow.
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
know, and hopefully we come back with a glorified body punching people in the face for 60 minutes like we were promised. I'm just, Jason Garrett is a big factor to me in why we lost that game. I would say about 70%.
Whoa.
The other 30% was Daniel Jones and Joe Judge.
So you put
no
none of
percentage
the,
for the
you put none of
defense?
the percent on the defense?
man.
Yes, the defense. Okay, yes, the defense.
They do say you got to put in 110%, so we're going to leave 10% for the defense.
They stunk. They stunk up the field. It looked like they had cement in their shoes, and they didn't know what was going on the field. And with all the hype around this defense, adding a Dory Jackson, reshuffling the defensive front, adding Azeez Ojulari, getting Lorenzo Carter back, Ellerson Smith, Raymond Johnson, even though I knew Ellerson Smith wasn't going to be on the field till at least week 12 or maybe next season. But I think Raymond Johnson had the potential to make it on the field this year. And once Azeez gets his legs under him, the defense will come together because we saw what they can be last year. I think that we needed that reality check because of all the hype around the defense. They just thought they was going to come in there and do their thing and had a little reality check. But offensively, why are we still trying to run end arounds and double reverses? And this is not 1990. Like Jason Garrett is killing me, bro. Like Kyle Rudolph might have been a bad decision. I don't know what he was out there looking like a slug.
He didn't look good. Now he may still be not. He didn't play much in preseason, so I'm gonna give him a few weeks. But I agree with you. He did not look good. Let's just hope they look better tomorrow. What is that?
In reference to that Atari 2600 earlier, that was Tecmo Bowl. Kyle Rudolph looked like Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah. He's just running diagonal.
You know what was the cheat code in that game? The Raiders. If you had Bo Jackson, you never lost.
Yeah. You couldn't tackle lose.
Tecmo Bowl.
Well, Bo Jackson did it all. He played baseball, football. I think he ran track.
Yeah.
But no, this it's got to turn around. I think that Joe Judge is going to use this as a teaching point. I think that's what he's best at, teaching. I think he's going to use this as a teaching point. I think the New York media is doing their job and rubbing it in our face, as they always do. And they're going to come out there with a chip on their shoulder. I in my super chat earlier, I sent you was 24-7 was my prediction for the game.
There you go.
I like that.
I think they're going to come out there with a chip on their shoulder. We're going to get 3 turnovers. Hopefully we get 2 touchdowns at least off of them 3 turnovers.
Oh shit!
And
I hope we get those turnovers. This is a
damn. I listen. This right here is gonna make me sleep good as hell tomorrow night.
He's coming in confident.
Listen, I know that
game plan for
Entertainer has close to 40,000 subs, so a lot of people are watching this. Hopefully, some Giants players, particularly the defensive players. So I'm calling you out. We're calling for 3 turnovers and at least 2 touchdowns off of them.
I will say, recently when we played them, I think we got 5 turnovers, right? And there was a game, I think last year, where we got 5 turnovers against them. So,
well, DJ's historically played great against them. Saquon's played historically great against them. And like you said on your last couple streams, until they beat us, I'm not worried about Washington.
I like the confidence, man, and it's a game we have to win.
We got to.
Yeah. I'm
going to be in black for the rest of the season.
That's facts, bro.
Nobody's wearing Giants gear right now until they start winning some football games.
Oh no, I'm rocking the gear. I'm just
okay.
But it's black. It's black.
I tell you what, my hats are staying inside. My hats are staying inside. I listen, and maybe I'm the reason for this, right? Because last weekend, right, my wife wanted to go to the farmer's market, and we had to go and do a couple other things, and I had to take a mask, and the only mask I had was my Giants mask, and I didn't want to wear my Giants mask out in public.
Oh, come on,
but I did.
Be scared. You got to wear that Giants pride. You got
listen. Listen,
you gotta have that pride. I agree.
Listen, no, but you know, I'm a little superstitious. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a little superstitious. It's like
Stitious.
you know, I typically don't wear stuff before the game. I wear it during the game. I put it all on, and I messed up my little ritual is all. I messed up.
Chris, you gotta send them one of your red hoodies.
Yeah, my red hoodie didn't work week 1 though. I don't even know what I'm gonna wear tomorrow. It better whatever. If it works, I'm gonna keep wearing it.
I'm bringing out that Eli tomorrow. I'm gonna be at the game. I'm bringing out the Eli, man.
Oh, that's in Washington. So you're going to the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the game. I'm gonna be sitting right by the tunnel, right by the Giants tunnel in the end zone. So I'm hoping for a couple touchdowns in the end zone. I remember when Larry Donnell carved up the Washington football team. They were the Redskins back then. I was sitting right in that end zone. Got a lot of touchdowns right close up, man. It was awesome.
I'm gonna wear Saquon tomorrow. Okay. I'm gonna put Saquon on. Yeah, I'm just gonna materialize good vibes to Saquon.
Yeah,
I like it. G Nation.
Go ahead. Touches. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was kidding. I need to score, man. I need to score.
You just went 24/7.
24/7.
But I did want to say this. I was gonna go live myself, and then I saw that you was going live. But I was gonna say thank you because I reached 500 subscribers today. So
hey, congrats, bro!
Congratulations.
Let's get him to 600.
Yeah, 600 people go to his channel.
Go subscribe to G Nation, man. But I appreciate you coming on. It's getting late. I don't want to keep these guys on forever. So I just want to say thank you for all the support you always show. And let's get a friggin' win tomorrow, man. Let's make it so you don't have to wear black much longer.
No. Yeah. 3 turnovers tomorrow. I'm telling you, 24-7.
We need them positive vibes, man. We appreciate that, bro.
We're gonna make Heineke go drink some Heineken.
Be good, buddy.
All right,
man. That was G Nation. I'm gonna read a couple more of these, then we're gonna bring on the next guy. Pip named Slickback says, "Hey Chris, did you know Judge is locked in a room where Garrett makes his playbook? Because according to Giants fans, Judge deserves 0 blames for the offense."
I got a question. I got a question. So, all right, Pest. So you were talking about taking DJ somewhere after the game, right? You think a pimp could hook us up for DJ for after the game? You think he knows somebody that help DJ out?
Hey, yo, pimp named Slipback. Yeah. Hey, we need you to link up with DJ. Okay. After the game, we got to get his swagger back. Oh, and you're the man for the job, pimp named Slipback. I see you in a profile picture, looking GQ'd in a mug. All right, it's on you.
Well, welcome to Big Fat Sports.
Oh, he did say his laptop might.
Yeah, his laptop. His laptop. He heard pimp, and he was like, "Pimp in distress," and he went down.
He'll be back on via the phone. He said it, so we'll get him back on in a second. Big Pat Sports Talk says, "How do I get on the show? I got to say something." Big Pat, it's already midnight. I tell you what, next week, I'll have you on as one of the panel guests. Next week, I'll have you on as one of the panel guests. I'm doing this before every game, Big Pat. So I'll have you on next week, Big Pat. But
Big Pat.
Yeah, he does a really good channel. Go check him out.
Yeah.
Amid says, "Let DJ draw up plays on Nick Gates back in the huddle." Well, one of you guys pulling some Madden 22 plays tomorrow night when the game is on, please.
Hey, listen. If it makes y'all feel any better, right now on Madden Ultimate Team, the Daniel Jones, there's a Daniel Jones card, and if you take his power up card and put in all the training points, and then take that other card and put it in that card, Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in Madden right now. That's no BS. That's no cap. Daniel Jones is literally the best quarterback to have in Madden right now. It's crazy.
He better be the best quarterback to have on the field on Thursday night.
Daniel Jones is one of the best quarterbacks to have in Madden Ultimate Team right now. Not the regular rosters, but like in the Ultimate Team where you can like build your own team or whatever. I
think he's got a good shot to light it up tomorrow. I mean, he got a little bit more comfortable. I think he knows he's got a security blanket in Kenny Galladay now, somebody that you could throw the ball to when, things kind of go wrong. I think he's going to light it up tomorrow, man. I think we're going to see a couple touchdowns from this offense at least, man. I'd say at least 2. We got to get at least 2 touchdowns for me to feel all right going into week 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to see a little bit more offense for sure. Pandemonium says, "I don't get how everyone is always down on DJ. He has been the entire offense for the last 2 years." I get it. I mean, Pandemonium, I do get it, but by the same token, I see where you're going too. Last year, he was the entire offense. That's not.
I mean, yeah,
that's not
it's
saying
by default.
he had nothing on offense, but
Yeah.
I get both sides. I do get what you're saying. He's had no help whatsoever.
It's by default. He's been the whole office because it's by default.
Yeah, but this year,
Yeah, with no Barkley.
And it's why I'm not panicking yet. It's why I'm going to give him more than one game. I'm going to give him the season.
I was going to say the same thing.
With all the pieces we've added, we need to see growth, and that's all I've ever said. My video today, I don't know if you watched it, was more so a knock on the coaching staff for not putting the confidence in him in a year in which we have to find out about whether or not he can take the next step.
Yeah.
I also watched that video in the shower.
New York Giants, LA Dodgers says Thursday Night Football, who's hype? Bad week 1, but that was a fluke. Sure hope so, man. We got to go out there. We got to smash some skulls.
Facts.
Durant says, agree with Pest. Better to lose knowing than lose never knowing. Didn't spend the money to play, not to lose. This is DJ's audition. Durant.
Yep. Yeah. Listen, let this kid go out there and go out on. Listen, you either come back with your shield or on it. Okay, get your ass out there and make it happen, or don't and be gone. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Those are your only options at this point. Go get it done or get gone.
And I think the organization knows that they did him a disservice in the first couple of years. You know, they didn't bring in really no wide receiver talent. You had the Golden Tate signing, which we kind of knew wasn't going to work, especially in this scheme. And Darius Slayton being drafted in the 5th round. That's the only wide receivers that they really drafted for him before this season. So my thing is, like, let's give him a little bit of time. I think maybe we're beyond the audition. We're kind of seeing, like, hey, is this actually going to work out? Where is the ceiling for Daniel Jones? Are we seeing the ceiling, or can these weapons really open up his play style? So that's why I think in 2022 he is going to be the quarterback, because we can't just give him one season of it and be like, okay, it's over, it's done. But what if we see some flashes in this first season and go, whoa, this offense could be really high-powered next season with Daniel Jones? They're not going to try to regress and start over with another quarterback, which I think it'll be a bit, some ups, some downs this year, and that's why I got the Giants finishing 9-8.
That's
okay,
right.
I got a question for you, Authentic. I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we get through the season, right? And there are some flashes, right? There's some flashes, but we still suck. Okay, like we're still below 500.
7 wins, 7-10.
Sure, seven wins, right? And let's sweeten the pot up even more. We're 7-10, right? So we're probably picking like number 10. But the Bears are terrible. So the Bears got like the number 2, number 3 pick that we have now. Okay. And there's a good quarterback on the board. What are you doing?
I might draft him. But I'm one who's like, the new age kind of quarterbacks now are getting thrown to the wolves a little bit too fast, if you ask me. Daniel Jones being one of them. I was always the one that was like, let him watch for a year. You look at the quarterbacks who sat and watched, man. They developed very well. And yeah, we might draft one, but I would give Daniel at least some time in the 2022 season to prove himself with this offense. Let's say it's 7-10 and he put up like 26 touchdowns and like 15, 16 interceptions, and we're 7-10. I'm giving him next year, but I might draft a quarterback as well. And that's the good thing about the Giants draft capital going into this next draft. We got a ton of draft capital. So it's like you can make a lot of different moves, and it doesn't have to be something that's like, hey, we implement that quarterback right now. If you saw enough from Daniel, he flashed with the weapons that we placed, in this offensive system, then maybe you go into 2022 starting with Daniel Jones. I mean, Kadarius Toney's got to pan out too. Saquon Barkley's got to pan out too. And Kenny Gallaudet got to pan out as well.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
James Tortorella says, I think we draft horrible. And listen, I think he meant to say us. It's DJ. James, there's no arguing. In terms of the drafting overall, it's been bad, man. And I've been a guy that's tried to, stick up for Getman when I felt like it's appropriate. And we'll see. Some of these guys could still get better. I'm still not going to come to a full evaluation on Jones. Obviously, you have, and I understand it. I still think Andrew Thomas could work out to be a very good pick. He showed some progression week 1. Saquon Barkley, injuries. And obviously, it was very questionable to take a running back there. I can't debate that. And obviously, there's been a lot of other questionable picks as well. It has not been roses for Dave Gettleman. His draft classes have not looked good 4 years in. Can't debate that at all.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. Pimp named Slickback. He says, the question for Jones throughout this year isn't can he show something? It's, am I going to pay him $40 million in 2 years? I don't see it. I'm sorry. And that's a great point.
Yeah, that is a great point. And
Yeah.
when you think about paying him $40 million, you better play at a high caliber, man. Like I think Dak Prescott earned that money.
It's 20% of your cap. And if we're going to be fair as Giants fans, and I know there's a lot of Daniel Jones fans in here and people that want to go to the grave with him, and I get it. He's the quarterback. I'm rooting for him just as much as anybody. As a matter of fact, he's my favorite player on this team because of all the hate he's had to endure. I am begging that he overcomes it and becomes a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But if we're going to be fair as Giants fans, a lot of the people in this stream, when the Dallas Cowboys signed Dak Prescott to a contract that ate up 20% of the salary cap, people called them fools.
Get him.
So for Daniel Jones to be worth that, he has to at least match Dak Prescott. Let's be real.
Message.
In today's NFL, when for a quarterback to warrant 20% of the salary cap, they have to be a top 6, 7, 8 quarterback. Otherwise, you're not going to win. That's just period, end of story. And I'm not saying he can't do it. He's got 2 more years to prove it. He's got to progress this year, and then next year, maybe he takes a big leap. Maybe he takes that mega leap this year. But he's absolutely right. To me, that is the biggest question. Ultimately, is he going to be worth that second contract? Because we saw, as Giants fans, what that did when Eli got the contract. And by no means do I regret Eli Manning getting that contract. He won 2 Super Bowls. He earned it. But when we got Eli Manning, we talk about how the team regressed. Part of the reason is because we didn't have any money to pay anybody else because we gave Eli Manning that mega contract, which he earned.
Yep.
He won 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. But that's my take as well. If he can't do it on his rookie deal, can he do it when you pay him 20% of the salary cap? Because that's the going rate for a quarterback. And that's why we need to see a monumental leap the next 2 years.
That's a
the
great
difficult
comment.
part, man. It is. That's a fantastic comment.
That's a great
Marcus
comment.
Mariota was a guy that dealt with that. Played okay and just couldn't sign him.
Yeah, let's bring Nikki back into the stream, and we're going to get Mizrahi in a minute. Just responding to a couple more of these. What's up, Nikki? How you been?
Pretty good. Waited for my stuff to turn back on. Made myself a drink. Pretty good.
Jamal, he says, this is one hell of a stream. Great work, guys. Hey, man, they're making the stream. These guys are great. Got to meet them in person, and we hit it off. Had a lot of fun, and always love when they come on the channel. But great guys, and Nikki as well. Nikki's been on the channel before. He's doing a great job, too. So appreciate that.
Jamal said he's going to be at the game tomorrow, too, and he said he was in the same section as me, man. So if you spot me, say what's up, man. Pull up on me.
That's awesome, man. Zach says we're going to blank on Washington, Atlanta, and Dallas. And you all think if Shep's consistent, we trade him by the deadline and get like a second or O-line. I'm going to say no, Zach. And I was a guy that thought that just because it was common sense when you looked at the salary cap next year and how much money we would have saved if we cut him, that Shepard wasn't going to be back with the Giants after this year. But then when they backloaded the contract, to me, that shows that because this is the way I look at it and why we're not going to trade him. One, I think it guarantees he's back next year because you could have done that with any player on the roster and you could have tied up $2 million more towards their salary next year. They chose to do it with Shepard, which to me shows more of a commitment towards Shepard. 2, by them doing that, that kind of hurts Sterling Shepard's trade value. So for me, when they did that to me says, no, I don't think they're trading Sterling Shepard. I think they plan on him being a part of the future of this football team. So I'm going to say no, I don't think we're trading Sterling Shepard, Zach.
I'm with you.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He's going to be here.
And Go Big Blue says, when do we see Daniel take the next step? If it's not this year, you're not going to see it.
Yeah, like this is it. This is make or break for Daniel Jones. It really is.
Yeah, he's got to show some. And I think he does. I think he will. I really do.
Unfortunately for him, I think tomorrow night is going to be a lot of that showing up if he takes the next step or not.
Yeah.
No, we're going to hear it all year until he does it.
Mm-hmm.
Every week it's going to be brought up until he has 5 or 6 consistent games of good quarterback play. That's going to be the topic of conversation all year. That and Barkley. Is Barkley going to get his contract extension? Those are going to be the 2 biggest points of conversation.
What do you guys think if DJ has a game where he throws like 4 or 5 touchdowns? Do you think like half the fan base flips back over to I've been on DJ the entire time? I've been
Of course.
It always works. Everybody's always right.
Yeah.
Of course.
I told you.
Except for us, because all the things that we do are on wax, and so somebody go back, yeah, you go back and prove what we said with us. But with them, I've been saying this the whole time.
I love it. I love it when I'm right though, because I remember last year I made a video on the 5 potential breakout quarterbacks, and number 1 and 2 I had Baker Mayfield 2, I had Josh Allen 1. And at the end of the year, I went back into the comments and I read all the comments. There must have been 30 people that said, "You're a moron. How could you have Josh Allen as this year's breakout quarterback?" And I made sure I commented on every single one of them. And I just said, "How do I look now?" So when you're right, it feels
You
good.
have every right to do that, man.
Listen,
Yeah, you got to keep them receipts, man. I'll be bookmarking some tweets and stuff. I'm going back.
Y'all, I'd just like to point out that y'all all called me crazy for saying that Leonard Williams was going to be like the best player on our defense. Everybody called me crazy, and then he was, and I was like, I told y'all.
Everybody called me crazy. I had Mac Jones as my number 2 quarterback in the draft last year, and Jalen Waddle's my number 1 receiver in the draft last year. I think it's turned out okay.
Mac Jones. We'll see about Mac Jones. Well, I loved Waddle, and obviously the Patriots are very high on Mac Jones. Simon says Dave Gettleman is on the hot seat, so DJ is gone. Of course, of course. If a quarterback loses his GM, the quarterback usually loses his job.
Yeah, we got to start winning, man. We got to start winning.
The Real Talk podcast, he says, just read Peppers is complaining about his time off. What did you guys think? And I know he was getting cooked in coverage, and maybe they got to use him in a different way. He only got 35% of the snaps week 1. This is a guy that is like a captain of the defense, like a guy that was, you figured, one of our top 4 or 5 defensive players going into the year. Were you a bit surprised by his lack of playing time week 1?
Yeah.
A little bit. I do think that it seemed to me that his role in the game plan was as that coverage linebacker, and I do think that he can do that. I just think that Noah Fant was the wrong tight end to do that against.
Yeah,
it didn't surprise me too much. I mean, Denver's got a lot of speed at wide receiver, and we knew that we got 3 safeties out there, so somebody's got to, sit back. And I think when we need a more aggressive game plan to stop the run, you'll see Peppers probably more in the box and stuff like that. But 30%, it's not too bad. They were out there for too long anyway, so he got to get his reps out there, and he didn't look good in coverage. I mean, Noah Fant was dogging him all day.
His 30% was a lot with all that time that they were on the field.
He was getting worked in coverage. It was so bad. He was getting absolutely worked.
I will say he was right there, and he was making tackles like with zero yak, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, but he was getting tackles past the line of gain. So it's like, good tackle, but they just got a new set of downs. Like, geez, can we get off the field, please?
Pat, man, thank you very much. Just how do I call him, Pat? Tell you what, this is the second time you super chatted. I am going to give you the StreamYard link. We're going to make it quick, though, because it's already 12:11. These guys got to go to bed, too. I'm going to give you the StreamYard link. Hopefully you get on quick. It's going to be quick, though. We're going to talk to Ms. Rai. What's going on, Ms. Rai? How you doing, my man?
Oh, Ms. is here? Oh, okay. All right, then.
No. I think he took me all wrong last week. I got love for this guy. We got into a little passionate argument, and I kept getting cut out because I was down in Florida. I couldn't even get my point across. By the time I got in, he was gone. So
hey, man, listen, family fights. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine, man. You know that. We all want the same thing. We all want to just start putting together a couple wins.
Some wins,
but
man.
Yeah.
My thing about tomorrow, maybe you guys touched on it. I missed a little bit at the beginning of the show, but I've been watching a lot of this, and Chris, I think I brought it up to you last night. I feel maybe the whole league knows our plays when we line up by formation. We've become that obvious, and I think that's a major problem. Like when we watch the game, don't we know what they're going to run most of the time before they run it?
It feels that way.
And I feel like a lot of the teams do, because we can't get a running play to break through at all. We get blown up in the backfield. All right, maybe we're going to say the O-line. But how many times do these defenses know what we're going to run? It's time to change up some stuff. You could keep the same formation, and Garrett could keep his plays. But how about you switch it up and fake a little? You could run the fake handoff, the quick throw to Tony. I haven't seen that yet. I know it's been one game. I really hope it doesn't take them 9 weeks to learn how to use this kid, Kadarius Toney. Yeah. These things worry me.
That you talked about predictability, and I said it earlier in the stream. Those 2 plays that they used, Tony, were the 2 most predictable plays of the game for me, and they blew it up. The first play comes in, they put him in motion, they pitch it forward to him like he wasn't in the game. Like they're gonna know, all right, look out for Tony. They're probably gonna use him on this play, especially when they put him in motion. The 2 plays that they used, Tony, they put him in motion. You talk about predictability. to me, it was like super predictable when they did use Tony in the offense. But overall, I think it's a great point. I think, last year and game one, I think that's part of the problem with this offense is the teams know what's coming. They know they're going to get a very conservative game plan. They're going to get short stick routes, and they're going to get a lot of running up the middle. And there's not a lot of creativity to this offense.
Both of those. Last time you saw a pitch or a swing pass to the running back, I don't care who it was. When's the last time we saw that? I want a little bit of that.
He's right, man.
Like, I know that's like a little bit of Madden talking, but like, damn it, it works sometimes. You get a running head start, and with Saquon picking up speed before he even gets to the line of scrimmage for once. Like, they got to throw some of that in there, man.
Yeah. It's crazy because both of those plays that they ran for Tony were plays that you run in preseason. Like, you don't run those plays in the regular season. You run
That's
those plays.
That's what Judge said, that this is an extension of the preseason too. That's a little concerning.
He did say that. Yeah,
bullshit. That's absolute bull. Like, we are in the regular season. These games count, man. Like, and it's crazy because I think about this as well. You remember when the Patriots were always bad in September, but then they win the Super Bowl like every year, and it's like I really hope that that's not something that Joe Judge has pulled from Belichick of we can be bad in September because we can win it all.
No, he's not.
Bro, that's not this team. Like,
Gettleman better be calling up Judge and saying, dude, this is not the preseason. This is my job. You're going to cost me if you don't.
Yeah, that's not this team right now.
They're definitely not thinking like that. And here's another thing I just kind of want to add to that, right? It's like sometimes the other defense should know what play you running, and you should just be better than them.
Brandon Jacobs, that's what I was thinking about.
Exactly. When we were effective with Brandon Jacobs, teams knew that run was coming off the tackle all the time, and Brandon Jacobs was putting his foot in people's mouths. So, like, at the end of the day, where does the execution lie to? Okay, we got a bland style of offense being called here, but, like, can we just execute the Kadarius Toney play? If they so knew it was coming, all Rudolph or Solder, whoever it was that missed that assignment, all they got to do is make that block, and Kadarius Toney's got at least 5 yards on the play. Look at it when Daniel Jones catches the snap and he's about to throw it. It looks like it's blocked up. And then all of a sudden you see Von Miller in the backfield 5 yards deep. It's happening too much on this team. Like, when is it going to be when the offensive line completely blocks it up and we get some big holes for Saquon?
What do you think I was begging for Slater?
That's what it comes down to, man. The O-line. Again, we go back to the O-line. I don't want to get going again because then I get real angry. I'm trying to be good tonight. It's late. But then I go all the way back to the draft. Once again, all these younger people, you know me. I'm old school, and I'm going to keep on bringing up fantasy football. This is not fantasy football. Yeah. We really seriously needed one of those top offensive linemen, even at 20. And we could have got a receiver later on because we already put the money into Galladay. So I think we dropped the ball there. I hope we didn't drop the ball.
Especially when they took the trade. It looked like it was making more sense for us to get an offensive lineman when we were farther back. I think they took our guy, Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I think
they took our guy. Everybody really wanted him to be the wide receiver that we were going to draft.
That's who I wanted, man.
In the end, you got to stack up on the line. We're sitting here just waiting around the draft, like, when are they going to get us some line? And then we went 2 weeks before the season starts. They're bringing in guys, and it just seems very like, we just bringing in stragglers off the street to come play line. It's like, come on, we got to have a better game plan for the offensive line because if you got the true hog mollies that Dave Gettleman talks about up front, then I don't care if they know what play we're running, especially if it's a running play with Barkley. Just go get the yards.
The game I'm thinking about, authentic, and obviously everybody thinks about when I think about Jacobs, you think about a few plays. You think about the playoff game against the Packers where he levels Woodson on the first play. But the game I'm thinking about was the Ravens game. That Ravens game, we ran for like 270 yards, and the Ravens knew exactly what we were going to do. But because of our offensive line, it didn't matter. We just trucked them the entire game because we bullied them. And that, to me, is how you build a football team. And I for sure, I know it's a new NFL and you want to air out the football, but it still is one in the trenches. And until the New York Giants get that figured out, it's going to be hard to win football games unless you find a Pat Mahomes. And those guys do grow on trees, man.
And look at the guys we have. Like, all this capital spent on drafting offensive linemen. And look at our best offensive linemen from the draft. We got probably Andrew Thomas.
Yeah. Andrew Thomas is our best.
Andrew Thomas never, so far has not made me like, oh, my God, he's going to be incredible.
No, I think right now my feeling on Thomas is he's probably going to be at least good. But
he's going to be solid. He's going to be solid. And that's
going to be great. He could be great, but I don't know yet.
But then, you look at all the other guys down the line that have been drafted.
Still very valuable.
You know, there's just a bunch of guys who we're years into this and they're not being effective. And the same thing goes for the linebackers and the cornerbacks kind of too. It's like, how are we not able to cover? I know it was one game. I'm not overreacting. But in this first game, how was it that we were not able to cover all this capital we spent in the draft? I mean, we got guys, we could trade guys and still have depth at the cornerback and safety position.
Well, it was one game, and it was Jackson, to be honest with you. And I believe that maybe his foot wasn't 100% or his ankle. You got to remember that he had the ankle injury. It was the first game. We got to give these guys time, man. A lot of people, including myself, man, I went nuts the other day on a video. I was upset. I do not jump off the bridge. I'm not jumping off the bridge. One game
Definitely not.
Doesn't mean anything, man, because now that we have an added game to the season, it's an even longer season.
Yeah.
You know, but you're right. After losing for 4 years, man, we got people hanging off the bridge, you know, and I get it. You know?
I see you,
I tell people I'm not doing that, but I understand it, man. It feels like the same story all over again.
But if we say we're going to give this guy time, right? Like at the end of the season, do we say the same thing? Do we still give him more time, or are we like, yo, okay,
no,
I think this experiment is done.
I understand.
That's the one thing. With Graham, I do think that though a lot of those 3rd and 4th down conversions, the Giants were playing zone at the sticks or off man, and you just had Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy was like a maze runner. He was finding those holes in those zones so quickly and converting on those 3rd and 4th downs. And I was waiting for Graham to be like, I know that zone is generally what you play, or you play the sticks on these conversion downs, but damn it, they're finding the holes in these zones, and he wasn't trusting his corners to lock down on 3rd and 4th down. When something's not working, you don't keep doing it. The definition of insanity. I think you need to change it up, and he got a little bit stubborn and prideful in his schemes.
Yeah.
I'll give you my score tomorrow,
they got
Chris.
The stiff arm from the quarterback. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I want you to get to Pat, and I know it's getting late, so I want Pat to get on. But tomorrow's game, just one play I would really like to see step up. I told you last night, I'll bring it up again today, man, and we need Carter to step his game up. If we stop the run, I believe we win the game. If we stop their run, I believe we win the game 23-17.
I like it, man. I like
it, man.
And
that's going to be hard to do.
Guys.
It is going to be hard to do because Gibson's good.
I expect him to get 25 to 30 carries tomorrow night. They're not going to let Heineke air it out 30.
He had 20 carries his first game. He had 20 carries his first game.
Well, you know what I mean. Don't shut him down completely, but do a good job. You got to try to come up with a decent job.
You get him in the third and longs, third and middle.
All right, guys.
5s are longer. Miz, man, thank you so much for coming on.
Good night, everybody.
All right, Miz, have a good one,
too,
man. Let's get this done.
All right, now.
You're the man, dude. Gonna read a couple of these. We got 2 more callers we got to get on. If you guys got to go, I know it's late, so
it's getting there. I'm gonna be up, man. I'm a night owl, bro. I stay up. 5 a.m. vibes, man, every night.
All right, let's get with Mills with the skills. He says everyone on the O-line had a PFF grade in the mid-60s, minus the guards. We're on our way. The offense just needs more continuity. Trust the process, boys. Love the optimism, man. And I will say, Mills with the skills. The funniest thing about the game, and I've said this now throughout the week, is the one thing we were all like, holy crap, I'm scared to death of the offensive line. They played better than I thought they would. It was everything else that played worse.
Yeah.
So it was ironic that the run
Andrew
blocking
Thomas was phenomenal, man.
Yeah. The pass protection was much better than I thought it would be. So good call there, Mills. Zahib says, crazy stat. The Giants have had 0 weeks with a winning record since 2016. And over the last 5 years, they averaged 4.5 wins a year. Yo, that's so bad.
That's correct.
Owners, honestly. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I didn't know about the wins, though.
That's correct.
You know, that reminds me. I wanted to ask all of you guys because obviously I haven't been a Giants fan as long as you guys have. I'm much younger. But I was going to ask you guys what your favorite, single favorite play, just a play in your entire fandom's history that you can remember. That's my favorite play. I was the most hype after watching that. Like, what's your favorite play ever?
I'll let Pat start.
It's not even really a play, but it was the NFC Championship game when Eli Manning got up, grass all in his face mask, shoulder pad all exposed, got up and called timeout. Was like, get in the huddle. I knew we were winning everything. Because it was like that's my favorite
right now, man. That is by far. I'm going to say my play, but that is by far my favorite Eli Manning memory.
Yep.
I think that game, there was a lot of members of the fan base that were not all in on Eli, even after he won his first Super Bowl.
Yep.
That game, to me, is the highlight of Eli Manning's career. That San Francisco 49ers, New York Giants NFC title game. I remember watching that game with my friends, and I literally kept grabbing my ribs because I literally thought that Eli Manning was going to get hurt every other play because he was getting rocked, and he just kept getting up. And he just kept getting up. So as far as an Eli Manning memory, that is my favorite Eli Manning.
That defense was ferocious, man. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Listen, and I'm man enough to admit that sometimes I get emotional about things, right? I can't watch that game without crying. Like straight up, like no bullshit. I can't watch that game without crying because that game I was just so proud of my quarterback.
Yeah.
I was so proud. It's not sad tears. It's just I feel like a proud father. I was so proud of my quarterback because that day he carried the team on his back. He said, "We winning this damn game. I don't care if I die in the process." And I tell you what, man, if as someone who's played football at a relatively high level, man, if my quarterback, if I'm out there and I'm watching my quarterback do that, I'm ready to destroy someone for that, man. I'm ready to go out there and massacre someone on the field if I'm watching my quarterback go out there and put it all on the line. So I watch that and I literally sit there and I cry like, God, I love you,
Pest.
Eli.
You soft, man.
I don't care. I don't care.
Yes, I cry from my Giants memories too. You're not alone, man. I can't hear Burris alone touchdown New York without getting chills and starting to tear up.
I was getting chills when he was describing the story.
Yeah.
But Authentic, give me your favorite Giant memory.
I got two of them, and two people got them in the chat. One of them is the Victor Cruz touchdown, the 90-yard touchdown against the Jets, where he just did the little shake and then made them two players hit each other and just took off. And the OBJ slant against the Ravens. And let me tell you why. The play felt like it was like 12 seconds long. Like he's running, he's waving, and I'm celebrating the whole catch. And that was just one of my favorite plays, man. Odell Beckham taking those slants to the house, man, was just I missed it.
Man,
we need that on this offense.
That was mine. That was my first jersey. My mom bought me for my 18th birthday. My first jersey I ever owned. That Ravens game. That's my favorite game as a New York Giant fan because I remember I was still I'm Catholic. I was in my confirmation classes on Sunday after church, so I missed the beginning part of the game. And I'm checking fantasy, and I have Odell. Every year I had Odell. And I see, one catch, 3 yards, and a fumble. And I was like, oh, no. And I get home, and they're losing 10-0. I'm like, oh, no. And then I remember, because that year, he started slow that year. Everyone was saying, down year for Odell. And Odell got that 75-yarder on that curl and go in that game. And I was like, all right, Odell's back. He's back. He got his stat padding. He had, and then he had another deep catch down the left sideline.
Yep.
And I remember I'm on the edge of my seat on that 4th and 1, and my dad is sitting right next to me, and I'm like, my fingers are crossed, and he catches the ball, and I see Anthony Levine Sr. hit, I think who was in coverage, maybe Jimmy Smith was in coverage, somebody, they collided, and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to take this the whole way. And my dad and I are jumping up and down. We're screaming. My mom runs downstairs and she thought someone broke into the house because we were freaking out so bad. The dogs barking, everything. That was my favorite memory as a Giant fan. Oh
yeah,
my
that was
gosh.
a great one. I thought the catch too was a good one. Even though we lost the game, as far as an excited moment, the 2007 helmet catch and the Odell Beckham catch also, literally got me out of my seat. Like that did not just happen.
I'm going to give you two.
My best friend's dad was at the 07 Super Bowl, and he says that's the greatest football game he's ever watched in his career. And he was also right in the corner where Odell caught the catch also. I'm so jealous.
That's the greatest catch. I mean, in terms of skill, that's the greatest catch of all time.
Yeah, that was crazy.
My two greatest – all right, I'm going to give you one memory and one player performance because Pest hit home with the Eli. That's my favorite player performance. I think an underrated player performance in terms of overall performance, and in terms of the how big the game was. Negative 30 degrees, Green Bay, Plaxico,
cold as day.
Yes.
Coasting Al Harris.
Yes.
West, Al Harris.
Yes.
In that NFC title game, and it doesn't get talked about enough. When you factor in the weather in that game, and what he did in that game was incredible. Going up against one of the best cornerbacks in football. I don't think he had a drop. He went for over 100 and something yards. He was incredible in that game. So that is like one individual performance that I do think gets overlooked by a lot of Giants fans, probably because he shot himself. But but in terms of the it's got to be the helmet catch for me. And it wasn't complete until Burris caught the touchdown.
What about the Manningham catch too? What about that one? That was another one.
That is the greatest throw in
everybody
Super
calls
Bowl
it the Manningham
history.
catch. I call it the Eli throw. And the catch was great, but he didn't have a choice but to catch it.
And that's a tough catch, man, over your left shoulder. Woo, but the ball
right in the
perfect.
bucket.
Only place
right
it could
in
be.
the bucket.
You
That
know
was
what I
one of
liked
the
about it? Like
greatest
Manningham
throws
was
in
not
NFL
like
history.
Manningham was not like a top-notch guy. You know, he was the only reason why they were throwing him is because everybody else was pretty much getting double teamed that game. And the way that he like leaned his whole equilibrium to make the catch, because it wasn't one where you could just catch it straight up. He had to kind of lean his body with his feet going in, towards the field and his upper body towards out of bounds. Just a great over-the-shoulder catch. And, man, when I played receiver, I struggled with the over-the-shoulder catch, man. My coaches used to get on me about that. I couldn't make that catch.
One catch that's really underrated, I think, was in that NFC Championship game, Chris, when Amani Toomer has like that dolphin diving toe tap on down the left sideline. I don't know if you guys remember that. I mean, he was literally parallel to the ground with his toes, all the tips of his toes touching the ground. Yeah. I remember the first time when I first got into the Giants and I went back and I watched that game, and I was like, how does somebody have the body control and awareness to be able to do that? The catch was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
That helmet catch is a big part of my life, and that's the reason why I have the throw on my wall. Like when the first time I talked to Chris, I told him that's my prized possession. That's that's the most aside from my wife, that's the most important item in my house. I love that thing because that play was just amazing, and I remember it being in the living room. Oh my God,
we lost
Chris.
Right.
We lost the host. It's my show now. Now it's my show.
I'm back. I'm back. I was trying to refresh the super chats, and I refreshed this by accident. I kicked myself.
It's my show now.
Justin's about to take over, Chris. You're good. You can go.
Yeah, he was about to go solo screen and everything.
It's my show. I own this now. It's all mine.
I'm gonna get to a couple of these, and we're gonna get these guys on. Zahibe says if we have a bad season, Mara has to change his conservative philosophies, sprinkle some color. We're so B&W. Zahibe, I'm with you, man. I think Mara is too much. I agree with you. I think we have to think outside the box. I think we have to bring in somebody from outside the organization. If we're going to have to blow this up, and hopefully we don't. I hate talking about this after 1 week. But I'm with you. I don't want to bring in the stereotypical, guy that has connections to Mara. No. If you're going to blow it up, do it the right way. Bring in somebody that has a fresh mind. I'm with you on that.
Would you rather promote Freddie Kitchens to play caller if Garrett gets relieved of his play calling duties, or would you want to see what Russ Callaway can bring to the table?
I think Callaway, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with the younger mind. Yeah, I think I think I'd rather we're not in season. In season, I'd probably go with Kitchens. But if I'm going for the next OC for the future, I think I'd rather Callaway. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Let the young kid give the young kid a shot. See what he can do.
I think Kitchens,
and if it sucks, then you go to Kitchens.
Kitchens, the chance that he had was with Colt McCoy, and I know Colt McCoy put up like 200 yards in that game. It wasn't like the most incredible completion percentage, but I'd like to see him just to get a little bit more on his Giants resume to see what he could do first.
Yeah. Skywalker says, honestly, it's 100% the play calling. They call the wrong plays, the wrong time, 3rd and 2. They try to take a shot deep. Get the first, then take a shot.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. The play calling is definitely bad. I am never going to say the play calling is 100% of the problem. The players still have to execute, but you have to also put your players in the best situation to succeed. So I'm going to say it's, definitely part of it, but I'm not going to say 100%. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. Bum God says, you don't think Judge is to blame for not playing his starters in the preseason? I remember his strategy backfiring on Nagy. So that was obviously a huge storyline going into the year, guys. Do you have any, do you think there's any validity to that? The fact that the Giants elected not to play really any of the starters up until the final preseason game in terms of coming out slow week 1. Do you think there's anything to that?
There's a little bit to that for sure. There's some validity to that. I think that you're also dealing with some injuries. So it was tough. A guy like Galladay wasn't going to be on the field unless you put him in the first preseason game, which I don't think I would agree with that. But, maybe the second and the third game, yeah, you get your starters out there to build a little bit of continuity and get used to playing with each other, especially with a lot of new guys on the roster on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I can see where he's coming from. I think hopefully by week 3 that should have no bearings at all, but it could have something to do with why we came out a little sloppy. I'm going to bring DJ on. I got a couple more super chats, but we'll do that in between callers.
I will say that there is a reason Shep came out firing on all cylinders week 1 and not really anybody else. But then again, to play devil's advocate to myself, Darius Slayton stays dropping balls. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's true.
What up?
What's up, DJ, man? What's going on, man? Thanks for calling in, buddy.
What's going on?
What's good, fam? What, you got a TV on back there or something? Getting big.
Shit. I think I hear that. Move it. Okay.
I'm gonna bring you right back, DJ. I'm gonna bring the next guy on, and I'll come right back to you quick. Let's bring on Pat first, and then we'll bring DJ on to close it out.
Pat.
Hold on 1 second. How do I get to? Why is this thing? I hate this thing. Hold on.
It's my show now.
Pat, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, what's up, Pat?
Pest. I gotta get on your show.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Authentic. I've seen your show is amazing. I don't want to be a guest on there. And if I am on a panel for the next time, it's a blessing. I'll be honored to be on the panel next time, entertaining.
For sure, man. I appreciate you coming.
You took my memory, man. People don't know that Plexico Birds game.
People forget about it.
There's no Eli without that Plexico Birds game. Him and Al Harris in that NFC Championship.
And I'm going to tell you another thing. There's no Plaxico Burst without Amani Toomer against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to next.
That's
that
true.
Amani Toomer game against the Cowboys, when he took that play and when he was running so slow but so fast. I was like, they really not going to catch Amani Toomer on this play. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a play that I really love is when Plexico Birds, we beat the Eagles in overtime when he caught that ball and he was like, "Get that shit out of here!" When he threw the ball into the crowd.
Yeah,
that's
that
one
was
of my
good
best memories.
It's hype.
I wanted to get to something earlier. This is the reason why I wanted to come onto the show. There was a question saying that we're calling Daniel Jones because they're scared of him making mistakes. What I recall is he's made the most mistakes over the past 2 years. He's made 41 of them. So the confidence not working.
Well,
So
but
if they're
under this
calling
regime,
him, he
though, they
should be benched.
did cut back on the giveaways. On the 2020 season.
So imagine a cutback being 40 turnovers in 2 years, and that's cutting back on the turnovers. You think that?
Well, I think what Authentic's saying is the vast majority of that came in DJ's first year as a starter, because I believe he only had 1 giveaway in his last 6
rookie
starts.
campaign.
I'm gonna look at it right now. Actually, hold on.
I think his rookie campaign he had like 16 to 17 turnovers.
Oh, yeah, more than that. I
No,
think.
way more. He had that in fumbles alone without interceptions.
Yeah, I was going to say he had like 20. It was in the 20s.
Was it 14 or 17 interceptions that year? I think it was 14.
I think I want to say he had 12 interceptions and he had 11 fumbles lost.
So he had 23 turnovers. So the past year and a half, year and 1 game, he's had 18 turnovers. That's still averaging a turnover a game.
Well, I will say again, over his last 6 starts, he only had 1 interception, and it was a drop ball by Evan Ingram that got popped up. So the picks haven't been there at all recently. Within the last 7 to 8 games, they haven't been there at all.
I'm going to give you his exact numbers right now. Last year, first game, he had 2 picks, no fumbles lost. Two picks, no fumbles lost. Okay, that's 2. Second game, he had a pick, and he had a fumble loss. So 2 more turnovers the second game. Third game, he had an interception. He had a fumble loss. So, again, 2, 2, and 2 his first 3 games. Fourth game, 1 interception. That's it. Fourth game, 1 fumble loss. So, still 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Sixth game, 1 interception and no fumble. So, 1 turnover. So, he had at least 1 or 2 turnovers every game up until, I want to say, week 10 here. And then he had no picks and no fumbles outside of, I think he had 1 turnover. So 2 turnovers, I think, in his last 6 games. And they weren't even on him. One was on Wayne Gallman on a handoff. And another one, I think, was off the hands of Evan Ingram.
In the Dallas game.
To Nicky's point, it did get much better over the last 6 or 7 games. But overall for his career, it's been obviously a major problem.
Well, I know all you guys have heard the term scared money don't make no money, right?
Yeah.
For sure. And I agree. Listen, I'm
You should
almost
tell
at the
Garrett
point
that.
I'm almost at the point, Pat, where I'm like, I'm okay if you throw a pick. Take shots down the field. Try to put points on the board. If it means that he throws an extra pick or two and it means we're scoring more touchdowns, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So not only do you hinder your team offensive wise, you hinder your way of finding out what this guy really is.
Yeah.
So you'll always have that in the back of your head. Maybe this guy is way better than we think. No, find out who this guy. I'd rather go 2-14. This guy throw 30 interceptions like Jameis Winston. Then let's go 6-11, and you're coddling this guy, and you'll never find out what he is.
Yeah. And I think that's more of a reason why we got to let this season play out. Because look, you look at the first season, he's a turnover machine. It's without the fumbles, his season looks really good, but the fumbles were really bad. Look at the yardage from Daniel Jones in the rookie season and look at it with Jason Garrett's first year in the system. The yardage is the same. Where he regressed was his touchdown numbers, which they were pitiful. And I know Giants fans hated that with the 11 touchdowns passing this year. It's unacceptable from a quarterback. I've been watching Giants football for a long time. I never seen no season like that. It didn't look terrible, but you're right about the scared money thing because they're trying to protect him. But at the end of the day, when you're turning the ball over like that, you're giving the other team offensive opportunities on your side of the field, especially when you're getting blindside hit trying to throw the ball down the field and you're fumbling. If they can just clean it up where he could actually take a sack and not fumble, I'm totally down for them to stretch the field. But, if he's not going to be able to get the time, this offensive line is shaky. We know that. They were getting the ball out quick, and I think that led to Daniel Jones having one of the better days as far as having time in the pocket to throw the ball. It's because they're getting it out quick. They're making the decisions faster for him so that he don't got to sit in the pocket and possibly get hit and fumble the ball. I'm willing to give him the third year. So first year, he had a good amount of touchdowns. The interceptions were totally fine. The second year, he had a terrible amount of touchdowns. The interceptions were totally fine. So we can all sit here and say that Daniel Jones does not have an interception problem. It's a fumble problem.
Yeah.
Clean up the fumbles.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
totally
he can
a
do
fumble
that
problem.
this year and be able to put up more touchdowns on the board. And then we're looking at one awful year with the fumbles, one good year with the fumbles, and not enough touchdowns. But in the third season, we saw him step it up and put more yards on the board and put more touchdowns on the board.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, I guess from an optimistic standpoint, at least, and again, he's still completely at fault for this, and it's still a horrible, disgusting decision that he didn't slide. At least his fumble didn't come from within the pocket, which is where he was criticized in his rookie year when he couldn't sense the pressure. He wasn't grasping the ball. And again, a fumble's a fumble.
He was holding it like this. He had both hands on it.
I know.
Yeah, it's still
I saw him do that, and I'm like, oh, we're good. Then it's like, no.
No, you're not.
Some people are just prone to do things. Like, it's just prone for, Deshaun Jackson to get hurt. It's just going to happen.
Yeah. I think the coaches
people
just
just
got
gotta
to instill in
bang
him, though,
out
man.
like that, man.
Get down. Stop trying to be the runner you want to be. Start sliding,
Right.
bro.
But another thing about this team, guys, when we had those Super Bowl teams, I know we hate going back in the day, but that's really what we got right now. We had staples on the team. You know what people were going to bring, like you said about Brandon Jacobs. People knew that we were going to off tackle with Brandon Jacobs, but that beast, nobody really wanted to hit that guy.
Nope.
And that guy brought an attitude to the team that you know what you're going to get from him. You knew what you were going to get from Ahmad Bradshaw. You knew what you were going to get from Kevin
We
Boss.
wore
You
teams
knew what you
down
were going to get
with
from Monty
Bradshaw
Tooman,
and Jacobs.
Victor Cruz, Strahan, Tuck, O.C. Manure. We have no staples on this team. This team is based off straight talent.
Yeah.
What they could be. Lorenzo Carter is based off what he could be.
It's
Jimenez based off what he could be.
A lot of hypotheticals.
You know who never ever gets enough love from those Giants teams, in my opinion, and somebody I almost bought the jersey. I've been meaning to. Corey Webster is probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, Corey Webster. You knew what you were getting from him.
Underrated.
With Corey Webster, you hope with Corey Webster he didn't get hurt. When he wasn't hurt, he was actually pretty doggone good.
Yeah,
he was solid.
Kenny Phillips, he was pretty good if he didn't get hurt.
Did we bring in Sam Madison on one of those Super Bowl teams too?
Sam Madison,
Yep, Sam Madison, Jabril Wilson, R.W. McCorders. You knew what you were getting with those guys.
Yep.
They had
Matthias Kiwanuka. Nobody talks about Matthias Kiwanuka.
Matthias Kiwanuka is like what Lorenzo Carter could be, I feel like. But he ain't getting it together.
Even Saquon Barkley is based off talent. Like, you don't know what this guy really is.
Yeah, but now that's where I feel like we really got to put some blame on Jason Garrett. You got a guy like that in the backfield. I'm going to give him time this season. But you got to prove that you know how to use Saquon Barkley. It's hard to mess that up.
Right. Right.
You can only mess it up if you don't think outside the box. And y'all brought up a good thing. Joe Judge is an old school type guy, and he does have a lot of pull in that organization. So who knows what's going on? But I believe if Jason Garrett was his guy, like you said, he would be gone. So I think it's too many factors with this team. There's not one thing you could point on this team and be like, that's it. That's what's making us bad.
Problem.
That's everybody.
That's
what's making us really bad, and that's what's pissing a lot of Giants fans off.
Are there teams that we can look at like that don't have that reliability at the quarterback position?
As far as the quarterback not messing up every time he goes on the field,
not even not messing up, just knowing that like we can put the ball in this guy's hands and he can do it. Like, are there teams that are like that? You know, I heard people getting on Lamar Jackson about the 2 fumbles on Monday night, but it's like Lamar Jackson's been winning a lot of games.
You know what Lamar Jackson's going to do. He's going to have a game like that maybe once in a blue moon, but the next 2 to 3 games he's going to ball out.
Yeah.
Maybe Carolina with Sam Darnold, right? We don't know if he's good or not. We don't know if the change of scenery is going to make his life better. So, like Sam Darnold,
they beat the Jets. I mean, the Jets aren't supposed to be good this year, and Carolina has.
Yeah, but they know. But that boy that they drafted over there in New York, he's solid. He's gonna be
I think he's going to struggle though because the team around him. It's going to be hard to win.
If you put that boy from the Jets over here with the Giants right now, I bet you we'll be talking a different tune.
I mean, probably because again, you know,
I don't know. Maybe
I
got to see more from him. I saw one game. Both those teams seem like they're going to be bottom of the league teams. So I don't really know. I got to see a little more.
But as far as
he can sling it.
As a question at quarterback, one in our own division, Washington. They really don't know what's going on. Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, but you know, when you look at Washington, they were a bad team last year. They just so happened to be in the worst division in football. 7-9.
Your question was what good team has a question at quarterback?
Yeah, like what good team out there has a quarterback? Where they have a question mark, where they're like, we can't rely on that guy.
The 49ers is the closest thing I can get to. The 49ers.
Yeah, maybe the 49ers.
49ers stunk it up last year.
I mean, Garoppolo, he could get it done.
Tennessee, maybe. You know, Tannehill is always a question mark.
Hey, I dare y'all pull up Ryan Tannehill stats. They're ridiculous.
Hey, Tannehill been balling, man.
Tannehill might be
balling. He's a baller
in the NFL right now. He's really good.
But you really can't say a good team that's what good. Only team that I know that had questionable quarterbacks that won was the Baltimore Ravens and the Buccaneers because their defenses were so great.
Yeah, Brad Johnson.
And
what I wanted to say too was Tanner was talking about Ryan Tannehill earlier about how he was one of the quarterbacks that started off bad in the first 3 years. The eye test was better than Daniel Jones, I feel like.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Daniel Jones does not have pocket awareness at all. I think that hurts the line a little bit too.
I think
he can't even see the pressure coming from his right side.
Yeah, I feel you.
But Pat, I'm gonna need to give you to give a final score for the game tomorrow, and then I gotta let you go, buddy.
Final score for the game tomorrow: 20-10. Giants on top. Daniel Jones throws 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. Man,
I like it.
Let's go, Pat.
I'll take it.
My man.
Thank you for everybody letting me on. Nikki, I don't know if you got a channel, but if you do, I'm finna subscribe. Pest, you know I gotta get with you. Authentic.
Yes, sir.
You know, and if I'm on a panel entertainer, we're gonna have some fun next time.
Hit me up on Twitter. That's right.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed.
Yes, sir, man.
All right, now.
All right. We're going to read a couple more of these, and we're going to bring DJ back on, where then I think we're going to call it a night. It's been late. I appreciate everybody for being here. I'm sorry if you guys weren't here for all the Super Chats. I kind of fell behind because I was trying to talk to all the guests and people coming on. But if you're still here, I'm going to read all of them. Simon says, this isn't Jason Garrett's play style. Where's the Air Coryell? I don't get it. I mean,
not a lot of people saying that. That's true, though.
I think part of it, Simon, is we can't hold blocks. I think that's definitely part of it. Like, it's not like he doesn't want to throw the ball down the field. It's that they don't feel enough confidence in their offensive line to be able to sustain blocks. But I think where Giant fans have a little bit of issues is the fact that he doesn't fit the personnel on this team because we can't hold blocks. He can't really do what he wants to do, and he doesn't know what he's doing in terms of the short passing game. It's not the type of offense that he wants to run. And because of that, I don't think he's equipped to fit this football team right now. I think he doesn't really fit the personnel. Danny Thomas, man, thank you very much. What's up, everyone? You think the offense will throw the ball down the field more? And what changes do you think Graham is going to implement tomorrow? I do think they're going to throw it down a bit more. I think they're going to target Galladay early on in the game, much earlier than they did last game. And I'll say this, guys. I think the big change that I think the Giants defense is going to have coming out of the gate, I don't think they're going to be as aggressive as they were last game.
You mean in blitz percentage?
44% of the time, which was the fourth highest total in football. And they clearly showed, and they may be aggressive, selectively aggressive against Heineke. He's definitely a guy that could be prone to turning the football over if you pick your spots. But I don't think they're going to blitz on half the time. I think they're going to be a little bit more reserved in their defensive game plan this week.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And Michael Mitch says, was the Q tag on Barkley to be expected? I think you meant to say the fifth-year option, Mike.
No, I think he means
no, he's questionable. He's questionable.
Oh, my mistake.
Oh, yeah.
I did expect it, Michael. I don't know about you guys. I'll let you guys talk about it. I did expect it because he was questionable last week. So I figured
it's only 4 days difference for sure.
I expect him to play though too, and I expect him to have a larger role in this game as well.
I mean, questionable doesn't mean that they're not going to play. It's just he's still injured. He's not at 100%. We have to let the league know that this player it's a formality. We have to let the league know that this player is injured.
Yeah,
which he is. So
and they removed doubtful from the injury reports this year too, I believe.
Yeah.
So they really?
Yeah, they don't have doubtful in the injury reports, which I don't get it.
I think I've seen it once ever where I see someone who's questionable actually go ahead and not play. More often than not, you are playing.
Yeah, I think he's going to play.
Yeah,
it'll be a similar
he'll play.
I think he'll get like 10 carries again. Jamal says, "Hey, authentic." Oh, you already talked about this. That's crazy. I'm going to be at the game too.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, man. Hopefully, you guys get to meet each other.
Yeah, that'll be what's up.
Michael Mood says, "Sorry, I'm late. Was the Q on Barkley to be expected?" Oh, we just talked about that. Yep. I think it was to be expected. And thank you, Michael. Johnny Nelson says, "Everybody got to relax. We will be fine. One game." Shaking my head.
Facts.
It's a long season, Johnny. We got a long season.
Sure.
We'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Plenty of football left.
Mike says DJ Shines load up on the O-line with those picks. Oh, if DJ Shines load up on the O-line with those picks. I'm with you. If
regardless.
I'll tell what. All right now, say we're not taking a quarterback. Say DJ Shines. Outside of the offense, to me, it's offensive line, it's edge rusher. That's what I want early on.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
This draft is so easy.
The exact. We need whatever. So if the best player at whatever pick we have first, whether it's ours or Chicago's, we need to get the best edge rusher or the best lineman, whoever's there. Okay,
Yep.
And then with our next pick, the best edge rusher or lineman, whatever is the opposite of what we just. This is the easiest draft ever.
Yep. It is. And I wouldn't be mad if they traded for some proven players that could come in on the line and an edge rusher. Use some of the draft capital to maybe bring in somebody who's like that deal of an edge rusher, somebody you got to account for.
This one's pretty crazy. So Jalen Waddle, when he was at Bama, he got up his speed after running 0 to 10 yards. I believe it was 11.1 miles per hour for just getting to the 10-yard line. There's an edge rusher from Bama, sophomore Will Anderson. He's 6'5" and 248, 10.8 miles an hour. The difference of 0.3 miles an hour compared to Jalen Waddle, who's like 5'10", like 178, soaking wet. This dude's a ridiculously freak athlete. He's like crazy, insane stuff, like Josh Allen kind of stuff coming out. He's nuts.
Yeah, but you said he's a sophomore, right?
Yeah. He is a sophomore, but dude, he is unbelievable.
What do you think about the guy from Oregon?
Oh, Kayvon Thibodeau?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he got hurt week 1.
Yeah, he hurt his ankle or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, man, he reminds me a lot of Myles Garrett, man. Honestly, I don't think we'd be able to get him unless the Bears had finished with the top 5 pick, because he'll be gone. But there's no way I could see him getting past the 3rd pick in the draft.
He's gonna be a top 5 pick. Evan Neal too is another guy that I think will go top 5.
Evan Neal, I don't think gets past 5 or 6. The one guy, the O-lineman, I think we can get, who I've been targeting since I was doing research for the last draft, Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. The center is a mauler, absolute mauler, and Iowa has been producing those linemen.
Yeah, I've seen him. He looks impressive. Let's see what we got here. Chef says DJ could have the best offensive line and still suck. He was okay during Pat Trimmer's tenure, but we had prime Barkley. trade for Trey. Well, they ain't 49ers ain't trading Trey Lance. I promise you, Chef. They
Hell no.
3 to get him, and I'm actually a big fan of Trey Lance. I don't see that happening.
Hell no.
I think
And
you
they ain't
regret
get
that
And that
trade.
it's going to be the other quarterback. It's not going to be Trey Lance.
They're not getting rid of Jimmy GQ. They getting ready to run a 2-quarterback system like the Saints did. They get ready to listen. They get ready to do some crazy stuff up in San Francisco. Just watch. They get ready
I
to do
think
some
with the
crazy
17-game season, you might see that a little bit more, man. Like, you're going to have to have a little bit more durability at the quarterback position to last another game.
Yeah.
I think you might see that little that Saints vibe a little bit more from teams.
Where they go with two solid quarter. You make sure you have a really good backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you think the Niners regret trading up that far, giving up that much to grab Trey Lance? Because it was almost
no.
It was almost no. I'm not saying to get Trey Lance. I'm saying it was almost like at that time they didn't even know who they had wanted yet. Because I feel like maybe if it wasn't enough, they could have gotten him a little bit further back and gave up a bit too much to go and get him.
That's true.
They traded 2 months out from the draft.
If Trey Lance works out, they're not going to care. Quarterback.
Yeah, and
that's fair.
if you like a guy, you take him. Okay, that's just it. If you like a guy,
That's
you take
the Daniel
him.
Jones argument right there. That's the Daniel Jones argument.
And listen,
that's a good point right there, Nick.
Listen, and I'm okay with that, and I am okay with that. All right, if you shut up, Pizzle. If you like a guy, if you
Somebody
like
said
a
we should have
guy,
traded for Minshew. Wow.
for Minshew, I don't know about that. If you like a guy, you take him. If he sucks, it is what it is. Okay, but if you like a guy, you take him. That's just what it is. And so I understand.
Simon says
the Bears and Trubisky. I mean, come on.
Well, no, they don't always work. If he fails, they're obviously going to look like
it. Don't always work. It doesn't always work. But if you like it, but if he does work, you're a genius. If you like a guy, you take him.
The person that I blame for all the Giants' struggles right now, there's one person responsible, and it is Justin Herbert. If he would have come out, this would all be so much easier. I remember watching film on him back in October before the draft and saying to my roommate, this will be the quarterback of the Giants for the next 15 years. And then he decided to not come out. And I was
he would have been, and I loved him.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. If they can win games, I think he's going to make a run for the MVP this year.
Yeah, he's good. Simon C says, Giants organization acts like it's rocket science to fix an O-line.
Facts.
Feels like it is with them, but everybody else could fix it in a couple of years.
I think rocket science might be easier, honestly.
I know. It's been tough. It's been tough on them Giants, man.
Mike says, I was on a post-up morphine drip for that OBJ catch. I gave it a couple of extra pumps for 13, Mike says.
Oh, I saw that one earlier. That's a good one.
Joey D says, listen to you guys reminisce about great Giant moments reminded me of Mark Ingram breaking the 5 tackles at Super Bowl 25. Yeah, I don't go back that far.
They showed that this morning. Good morning.
I go back that far.
I've seen it, but I didn't.
I go back that far.
Prince Castro says, remember the first time you saw Victor Cruz touch the ball? That number 3, I saw that in Shep Sunday. He had that same pop as Cruz the first time I saw him play. It's not a bad,
wow.
I can see that a little bit. I can see
A
that
little less speed, but I can see that for sure.
I can see that a little bit. That's not bad, Prince. And John says, I came in late. What are y'all predictions? All right, John, I'm gonna preface this by saying I am trying something new. I'm gonna pick against the Giants every week and hope they keep winning. I'm gonna keep doing it if they are. So I'm going 2017 Washington.
You're gonna get a lot of fake fan thrown at you.
Wait, Tanner, did you pick us to win week 1?
I did.
So you about to go 0-2 in your picks for the Giants.
I want to be 0-2. So I'm taking one for the team. I'm taking one for the team.
What is the big deal about what's going to be announced at halftime tomorrow night? What do you think that is?
Said,
I saw Art Stapleton tweeted.
It was something about Hard Knocks.
See that?
Yeah, something about Hard Knocks. It's about Hard Knocks.
They said.
What
I don't know.
Like,
the Giants are going to be on Hard Knocks next season. Watch, like, nah.
I didn't even see it, to be honest with you.
Tanner, you remember when we were talking about Hard Knocks in the offseason? You were kind of like, I don't want us to be on Hard Knocks, a little bit of a distraction. I almost think it would have put a little more pressure on them to get things right.
Yeah.
Man. We're looking not ready. We're looking like we're not
Chris,
ready.
You kind of convinced me about the extra cameras and we don't need it. I don't know. I think Authentic might have brought me back over to the dark side. I don't know.
I know, right?
Yeah. So we can see what's going on in there, and we know they full of bull
under Giants fan supervision.
Now, isn't one of the rules with Hard Knocks, if I'm not mistaken, that you can't do it if you have a rookie quarterback?
Oh, really?
I think that there's a bunch of weird rules. I think that
maybe.
And if that is true, then Jones, if we move on,
might be tough.
If we make the playoffs, we're not eligible either. So
if you make the playoffs, you're not eligible.
You know, when I think about Hard Knocks, I think about the Browns when they were on Hard Knocks and Jarvis Landry had just got traded over there and he blew up on the whole wide receiver room.
Yeah,
I want that clip, and I feel like that. You know, things like that don't change the season, but you get to see which guys are really trying to lead this team. You know, and right now on a team with the New York Giants, we are lacking leadership. We don't know who the real leaders are on this team.
All right, I was wrong, by the way.
If we saw that clip,
my mistake.
New coach, got you.
You can't do it. My mistake. New coach, not a new coach.
If you saw that clip, like say we had a Jarvis Landry do that, like say I don't know, Jabril went and did that to the DB room. And we saw that going into this season, and then we came out and saw what we just did on Sunday. That would have been that much worse, though. I don't know if I want that.
True. They don't forget the Browns started slow that year, too. I want to say that was the year Odell got hurt and whatnot. And then they're like, okay, let's get back to the identity. Nick Chubb, we're giving you the ball, and we're going to run the ball. We're gonna make it a limited game plan. Wow, speaking about Daniel Jones, that's exactly what they did to Baker. They're like, bro, we're going to make it so you don't make mistakes.
And real quick, guys, give me your predictions on the game. So John hears it. Final score.
Go ahead, Pest.
I don't do predictions. Go ahead, Authentic.
All right, I'll give you a prediction.
It's not my thing.
Offense is going to look a lot better. I think we're going to see a little bit more targeting to Kenny Galladay, and look for Shepard to have another big day. I'm going 27-13 Giants.
Same score as we lost by.
Same score.
Wow,
I like it.
Flipping the script. All right, I'm going to go 20-14 Giants. I'm going to say Saquon gets a rushing touchdown. I'm down on the goal line. DJ throws a TD. I will say DJ has another fumble, no picks. I'm hoping that you're right. Shep has a big day because he's my sub for Odell right now. So, and he won me the game last week. Shep was my highest scorer last week, last second sub.
So there you go. And I think I could pull I'm hoping the last three up here. If not, I'll just read it off. But I think I got the last three here. Charlie, what's going on? He says the Giants need to be consistent. DJ needs to clean up on fumbles and get the targets the ball. Defense needs to get off the field quicker. You summed it up beautifully.
That's everything.
And there you go.
Coaches need to coach better.
Make Chloe the coach.
And Bob's your uncle. There you go.
They do all that, Charlie. We'll be 1-1. They do all that. We'll be 1-1, Charlie. Mr. Mini Guy says, Authentic, are you and the Beard streaming tomorrow?
Yeah, it's looking like we're going to be doing our stream at 12 o'clock right before we take off for the game. We're going to be getting to that tailgate probably around 4 o'clock. And then maybe we'll try to go live from the phones while we're at the game for a little bit, too. We'll see what's up. We're going to kind of try to just lay out the game plan tomorrow when they pull up.
Link in the description below. Noon tomorrow. Authentic's going to be live doing a little bit of a pregame Giants-Washington.
Yeah,
so
appreciate you, man.
New York Flash says, Pest, scream some more. The neighbors want to hear your take as well.
Hey, listen. Well, here's a good thing. All right. Here's a good thing about owning this is a weird flex. Here's a good thing about owning a big house. Okay. My neighbors can't hear shit. They can't hear. This is a big ass house. They can't hear nothing.
All right, Flex. Flex some more. How many square feet?
3,000.
Flex some more.
3,000 square feet.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty big home, man.
3,000 square feet, quarter acre,
but
2-car garage.
I just moved down the shore to a 3,500 square foot home, but the house I moved out of, we built, it was 13,000 square feet.
Holy crap!
I told you we live right next to Saquon.
Well, I knew you got money, but that's the downside, though. That's like what 1/3 the size. That must.
My parents are looking to retire soon, so.
True that.
I'm just gonna read this super chat real quick, and then we're gonna get to DJ. John Smith says Giants don't typically make moves like this, but if DJ doesn't work out, how do they not trade for Watson? If he's legitimately cleared? Yeah, I get what you're saying, John, and I guess it doesn't work out. But you hit it on the head. The Giants don't typically make moves like that, and for an organization that constantly talks about culture and not looking to bring guys like that in, I just don't see it happening. Would he be a huge upgrade at the quarterback position? Yes, but I like to think realistically. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm with you on that,
What's
Tanner.
going on, buddy?
The culture won't allow it to happen.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't see it.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I got you. Cool. All right, a couple points. Number one, let's start with Jason Garrett. All right. He's on my last patience, my last nerves with him. I'm just not feeling him no more, man. I'm gonna be honest. I have no faith in him at all. As far as Daniel Jones go, I'm gonna give him that whole year. I'm gonna give him respectable. I'm gonna give him the full year, and I'm gonna see what he does. Saquon, I'm patient with him. You know what I mean? I'll give him a couple weeks just to get his feet back. You know what I'm saying? He came back from an injury. Defense was bad. Defense was horrible. I expect Patrick Graham to be better tomorrow. As far as Joe Judge, man, and his philosophy running game plan, man, he just needs to change it up. You know what I'm saying? He needs to tell Gary, listen, go aggressive, be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, run some RPOs, take some deep shots down the field with Daniel Jones. You know what I'm saying? As far as Daniel goes, is don't fumble the ball. You know what I'm saying? Try to be better in the pocket. Like, slide to the left or slide to the right and put like those darts down the field. Have that swagger and confidence. Like I said earlier, I think that's key. Which I've been said about Daniel Jones for like years, but you know, Chris didn't want to hear me, but whatever. Nah.
Hey man, hey, before you go on, you know my opinion of the draft pick. That has not changed. I hope Daniel Jones works out. I would not have taken him. That's my.
Okay.
That's what. Obviously,
No.
Nope.
I understand that. But when I said that he need to have swagger and confidence, he doesn't need that at all to succeed in the NFL. Like, what I'm saying is that all these quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, they all have some type of swagger that you know they got it. You just know that they got it when you watch them play. But you just know, okay, well, this guy, he's different. Like, he's built different. He's a monster on the field. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't think that Jones got that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, DJ, what borough you from? What borough you from? My God, what borough you from?
Oh, man, I'm from Queens, man. Shit. I'm from Queens.
Oh, he's like
Queens, New York, man. Queens.
Okay. All right. I just need to verify. That's all. I just need to verify.
You came in here. You said a lot of points. I want to know your opinion on this game.
Man.
I want to know your game.
Tomorrow game. Listen, we got to block. Got to block Chase Young. Got to block Montez Sweat. Got to block them guys. Tomorrow, man. I want us to win tomorrow, man. But a part of me feels like this might get bad, y'all. I mean, oh man.
You're thinking long enough. You've had 3
what?
out of the Giants going to win. Are we going to win?
Oh man. Listen. I personally,
that's a no.
That's a no, and that's okay. It's a no, and that's fine.
I'm a pick Washington to win the game tomorrow. I think they'll win tomorrow. I think they'll win 23 to 10. I don't believe in Jason Garrett whatsoever. I think I really think 10. Me personally, I don't think Jason Garrett is that good. They would score more than like 14 for real. But
no, listen, man.
Look,
the way
man, they don't.
No, boy.
Listen, I think Taylor Heineke. And listen. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I come on back to your show critically. I was wrong. I apologize to the Giants. You feel me? But tomorrow, I just think, listen, tomorrow gonna be like this, man. Taylor Heineke, you know what I mean? This defense, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be one of them games where it's like the defense, they might do a little bit better, but they might give us some run plays, or you know what I'm saying? Or Taylor Heineke, he might have them big games, you know, how backup quarterbacks have been doing to the Giants for the last 4 to 5 years. Like, I just see like that, and I also think that listen, I think Montez Sweat and Chase Young, they're gonna murder Minnesota tomorrow. They're gonna absolutely abuse him tomorrow. And listen, I don't believe in Minnesota. I don't believe in Jason
You
Garrett.
shouldn't believe in Nate Solder. He wasn't very.
I don't
good
believe. I don't believe it. Well, he didn't play last year, but
No,
I don't
last
believe.
week. Last week, I said last week.
Yeah, but
He had the one good block on the
listen,
touchdown. That was a nice block on
Yeah,
the
he did.
touchdown. That's
He did.
about it. That was about it.
But listen, man, I don't believe in Jason Garrett. I believe in Joe Judge though, but I think that Joe Judge needs to find a new offensive coordinator like really quick before his job is in jeopardy. The defensive coordinator job, Patrick Graham. You know what I'm saying? It might, you know what I'm saying? Patrick Graham, man, like, yo, man, I hope he proves me wrong because if this is how we are week 1 tomorrow, oh yeah, his job might be in jeopardy too, man. But look, man,
I hope you're wrong, man. I hope
we
you're
better
right.
not go 0-2. We better not go 0-2, and we better hope we keep this trend. But something is telling me tomorrow that Washington is going to win this game. I don't know why, but something's telling me tomorrow.
Listen, man, Washington's favored, so a lot of people probably think Washington's going to win the game. So we'll see tomorrow. We'll see how the New York Giants rebound. DJ, I'm going to let you go just because it's super late. But I appreciate you coming
DJ.
on. I've always been a long time subscriber of mine.
Appreciate you, man. Hey yo, you one of the most New York cats I've ever fucking seen in my life, and I love that.
Yo,
This dude-
Pet,
this
you
dude-
gotta have me on the show. You gotta have me on the show.
On my
Pet.
show?
Yeah, it's a fact.
I will. Hey, hit me on Twitter, man. Hit me on Twitter. This is the
Yeah,
most
let's
New
get
York.
it, man.
This is
Yeah,
the most
for
New York
sure.
cat I ever seen in my life. I gotta get you on. Yo, we gonna have that. Yeah, we make it happen.
Yeah.
Line it up, man.
Here we
Line
make
it
it
up.
happen. Yo, Chris, holla at me, man. Oh, Derek, yo, be good. See y'all
Peace,
niggas
brother,
on,
man. Appreciate
see y'all
you
niggas
pulling
on
up.
Twitter. For sure.
Enjoy the game,
All
my
right.
man. Enjoy the game,
Yeah.
DJ.
Yeah, Roldy, hold it down, Roldy. That's what's up.
Hey yo, hey man, my guy is so New York. He is so New York. He had the wife beat on.
Yeah.
Right? He had to tell
Wait, Pat.
he had to tell his
Pat,
baby
Pat,
mama to shut up.
Yo,
He was like,
you don't even know if that was
hey,
his
yo.
baby mama, man.
Yo, he had to tell his baby mama to shut up. Yo, I love this guy.
You picture New
Damn,
York.
good.
You picture guys in wife beaters just running around.
Chris, you know how much time I've spent in New York. I've been in every borough. All right, I've spoken. Like talking to him made my accent come out. Like
I heard it too.
talking to him made my accent come out.
Come on,
I don't
Chris,
talk
be
with
honest.
my
You
accent.
got a couple of wife beaters in your top left drawer. Come on.
No, actually, I don't even have any more wife beaters. I just got plain old white tees. Like I've upgraded, right? I live in the suburbs now. I can just wear white tees. Yeah, and we good. Yo, that dude was so New York.
Let's have a home. Tay says, "I love to make a run with Aaron Rodgers." Yes, but I don't see it. I don't see Aaron Rodgers wanting to play
With
for
what money?
Hey, and if we go on week to week, man, Aaron Rodgers let me down on fantasy. He had 1.3 points. I lost my
Marcus
whole.
Mariota had more fantasy points.
Part of me
Yeah,
feels like Aaron
crazy.
Rodgers was like almost like intentionally playing bad to screw the Packers. Like he was that bad. Like it was like what the hell?
Yeah.
How do you?
I don't know. I
look at
think his
that?
mullet was in his eyes. He couldn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. That was a wild performance.
Darren says, "Why would Watson want to come here?" Good point. I mean, we'll see how we look at the end of the year, but offensive line's not great. It's a good point.
It sounds like the Texans.
Well, I think we're better than them, but Boston Nick, man, thank you very much. Says you should collaborate with Pub Sports Radio on YouTube. I'll write them down, man. For sure. Man. Let me write them down. I'll definitely give them a look. Pub Sports Radio. Appreciate you for the donation. Thank you very much. Dope content you got here. Respect. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Somebody said you're going to be streaming till kickoff, Tanner.
No, we're going to end this.
24-hour stream.
Thank you to you guys. I didn't think it was
we appreciate you,
You
man.
guys have hung around, and thank you guys so much for hanging around with me this late. You guys didn't have to do that.
Nah,
I mean, you YouTube Yoda, okay? We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, man.
Zahibe says, I get making your players run, but the coaches, man, I don't know about that. You don't make your coaches run, you just don't. Yeah,
It worked on Graham. He dropped some LBs.
Graham.
Yeah, Graham looking all right now.
Yeah.
True.
I swear, the first game this year when I saw Graham, he looked like a different person.
He did, yo.
Right.
I was like, my
Right.
God, I gotta get on that guy's.
I thought
diet.
that was who's the DB's coach? Jerome Henderson. I thought that's who that was.
Yeah,
he
he looked like a
totally different
person,
look.
man. Maybe he needs to get fat again. Based on the way the defense played week 1. Maybe he needs to start eating some fast food again.
It's fogging up his brain.
He's
all the
just trying to keep
testosterone is clogging his judgment.
He's trying to keep up with Coach Chaos. You know, Coach Chaos, crazy ass out there. He's making everybody run laps too.
RZN, man, thank you very much. You want to see more Tony? Because Darius Slayton is pure butt. Doo-doo. Like a baby's hiney. Stinky, funky, boo-boo.
That's what I've been saying.
RZN, man, thank you very much. Man, I appreciate it. And I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm with you on that. I think Tony sooner than later is gonna overtake Slayton in terms of being the third most targeted receiver.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, no one hates Slay more than Fisk, man. Fisk just I feel bad for Slay. He just sits there and he just tries his best, and Fisk is coming at him left and right, bro.
Look at this. I ain't been on the channel in forever, and I've already got haters again. Like I love it here.
What happened?
Go ahead, Chris.
You, dog.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Read
that.
New York.
Read that last super chat.
He ain't a hater. New York Flight's cool. He says, "Pest, you ain't from New York. Go back to Virginia with that energy, Goofy." Oh,
okay. Now read the next super chat. Yeah, go ahead, read that one.
Roldy says, "Pest, where are you from? You sound like you're from Vermont. You definitely sound like you're not from New York."
Hey,
all right.
So I like the voice that Tainer reads the super chat in when somebody's trying to dog somebody on the panel.
Right.
He's like, gives you like some energy.
Right. So I never said I was from New York. I'm from Jersey, first and foremost. Okay, I'm from New Jersey. I left New Jersey to join the military. And through my travels, I ended up in Virginia, and this is where I've been. So there's the answer to your question.
Don't let them back you into a corner, bro.
No, they're not gonna let me back. They're not gonna back me into no damn corner. All right, y'all forgot who the hell I am. I'm Pestialis, goddammit. All right, understand this. Understand this, right? Don't let the fact that I talk kind of proper fool you into thinking that I'm somebody that I'm not because I'm in this big ass house on this nice quiet cul-de-sac. All right, I'm from the streets. God damn it, y'all gonna show me some respect. We finished and we done. You put some respect on my name.
Yo, Pest, where you from in Jersey?
Boston Nick says, haters mean you doing something right. Always right. He's right, man.
Hey, that's what's up.
Listen, man, every time I go live, I got like 5 thumbs down half the time. I'm like, that means I'm doing something right. If people take the time out of their day to hit the thumbs down on my live stream before I even go live, more power to you, my man. So he's absolutely right. If you got haters,
where are you from in Jersey?
I was born and raised in Plainfield, New Jersey, Essex 10.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah. And stay in Virginia then. I mean, first of all, Goofy, New York for life, 12. 12 is probably how many brain cells that you have in your head. First and foremost. Secondly, okay, why you got this funny face ass dude as your profile pic? You know what I mean? Like, you could have picked something. You could have picked. I don't know, man. I thought maybe that was like Jack Tripper, you know what I'm saying? Like from Three's Company, but old as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. No, put it back. Put it back, YouTube Yoda. Put that stupid ass face. Yeah, it's late and we getting ready to close up, and so you're already demonetized. Fuck it. Hey, come on, New York for life.
That looks like looks like the science guy on roids.
New York for life. Who the hell are you? What borough are you from? New York for life? You from Staten Island? Huh? You from Staten Island?
Don't get yourself in trouble, man.
You from Staten Island? I'm saying, are you from White Plains? You from White Plains? You got to be from White Plains. Shut your dumb ass up.
We got a couple more. Tay says, Chris, if you haven't owned some Timbs, you're not a New Yorker. I have owned Timbs, and I am a New Yorker. I've lived there my whole life, but I don't think I own Timbs now. But I have owned Timbs. Okay, I have owned Timbs. What about you guys? You guys have owned Timbs?
I had some Timbs, but I never had no butter Timbs. I had some Chukka Timbs.
You what? What'd you say, Nicky?
I wound up in the possession of a pair. I had a best friend who just left them at my house, and he and I had a falling out, and they were mine. So
That counts then. That counts.
Hey, as long as they wasn't them cinnamon Tims that was popping for a second. I don't know if y'all remember the cinnamon Tims.
I remember
Absolutely.
the cinnamon Tims. Yeah,
Cinnamon Tims was popping heavy for a second. I always thought in DC we call you Obama if you had the cinnamon Tims, which means you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. No, you can't be rocking them cinnamon Tims. No.
Oh,
I had some wallabies though. I thought he was gonna say wallabies.
I see
Should have
this.
said if you ain't had a pair of wallabies, you ain't a true New York.
New York
Don't know
Flex
about
says
them
the
wallabies.
12 is your credit score. When you got that trailer park oh my God.
You know what? That would have been a good one. That would have been a good one.
I'm not gonna lie, that was definitely dirty, but that was pretty good.
I've seen way better. That one is like super mid. That's a super mid. But I mean, as long as you feel good about yourself, with your fake ass profile pic, your New York for life, even though you from like, Buffalo or some shit. But I mean, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, yeah. Listen, you repping the 12th borough of Buffalo. I mean, it's all good.
There you go.
And Benjamin says, next time in New York, Chris, I need you to take you to the best. You got it, Ben. Next time you're in New York, you'll
forget it. You gotta take DJ to the club, bro. What are you doing?
That's right. DJ and Benjamin. We'll have a party.
We might want to go ahead and wrap this one up. So now,
yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up. Brody says you definitely not from the hood. You probably the only black dude in your neighborhood. It's all good. I rep your sticks, homie. I'm only messing with you. We are gonna wrap. I mean,
there's like two other black dudes.
That's getting all that static, man.
Yeah, listen, I love it. I love it.
Hold on, what static is it? Is it?
No, I'm talking about. I don't mean static like they coming for you. I'm talking about off the mic.
Yeah, I had to mute. Let me see if it's still doing it. I don't think it is anymore.
Nope.
I ain't trying to make my
list. Sounds like he's talking into a voice.
I ain't trying to make my list deaf. But guys, we are gonna wrap it up. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. Had a lot of fun tonight. Got a little fun at the end. Always love doing that. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning into the stream. You guys are the best. I'm gonna be on Bad Dog's channel tomorrow. Maybe live on my channel midday before the game. I haven't decided. I definitely will be for the post game for a couple of hours late. But I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. All the support you guys always show. And of course, I'm gonna let my panel wrap it up. I'm gonna start with Nikki. Nikki was on last week. Go ahead, my man.
All right. I want to say thanks for having me on again. And I'm going to leave with 2 points. One of them is that we got to find out if Danny is the guy. Don't play not to lose. The second thing is to do that this week, you got to attack the holes that are in between the Tampa 2 defense that they play, in between the deep safety and the underneath shell coverage in that zone. So what Herbert was doing, driving the ball in there. Danny has the arm to do it, and that's what they got to do tomorrow. I want to say thanks again. Authentic. It was great talk. I don't know if you remember, we were on Chris's channel together about a year or two ago.
Yep.
This is my first time talking to you. It's been a blast. You're one of the funniest guys on YouTube. I really appreciate it. And to everybody else, hit me up on Twitter. That's my handle. And then go and follow Fireside Giants. I run their TikTok. Follow them on TikTok.
What is your Twitter handle again?
Nikki Sav ESM.
Nikki Sav ESM. All right, I'll type that in now. Nikki Sav.
Yeah, I'm about to get it now.
ESM. Anybody that wants to follow him there on Twitter. Nikki, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. Authentic, go ahead, buddy.
Yo, so I'm gonna be at the game tomorrow. Definitely tune in. We're gonna be doing a preview show on my channel, Authentic in the Beard, the way I spell it, tomorrow at about noon. I'm gonna do a little bit of live content at the game, possibly. I'm also gonna be doing a recap of the game. I'm definitely bringing a camera out there. I don't know if y'all saw the FanFest recap that I did. And I'm looking for a Giants win, man. I picked Denver to beat us the first week, and I picked us to beat Washington at this meeting. I think we're going to take care of business here. You know, I got faith in Joe Judge. I think he's going to get this together. He's the man who's running the ship. He's the captain. He's got to take care of this. So I see us coming down here to my hood, Washington, D.C., and taking care of the Washington football team. And we should have a good game from Daniel Jones, man. And outside of that, I do content on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays on my channel, Authentic the Beard. Y'all definitely check me out one time, man. Chris, I appreciate you holding me down. And, bro, I want to have you on the show on Monday. I got a new show I'm doing on Monday.
Yep.
It's called Giant Overreaction.
Yeah.
I want to have you on there because if we get that W, I'm going to have a bunch of questions set up for if Daniel Jones is that guy, man. So I appreciate everybody in the chat for tuning in too, man.
That we're definitely
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's a great show you got going on over there, and we definitely got to do more things together. Love what you're doing over on that channel. I appreciate you coming on. Just going to read a couple of these, and then hopefully Pest Static is better. Orphanage DeGrom says, I own the whole state of Maryland, so poverty. And New York Life says,
I'm from Maryland. What's up?
New York Life says, Pest is the representation of the New Jersey education system.
Oh, my God.
Wait a minute. Y'all do
Hey,
realize
Pest, you got to type your rebuttals, man.
Maybe you can change microphones or something.
Yeah, that Jones, I don't know, something going on over there.
Wait, is
It
that
sounds
better?
like Darth Vader.
Is that better?
No.
No, still. I don't know.
Yeah.
What
Sorry,
happened. I don't
man.
know what happened.
Sorry, man. Trevor
Text
says,
me your goodbyes.
Tell Best Trevs from Boofs League said, what's up? Virginia Giants fan gang. And Roldy said, Best, I'm only messing with you, homie. Much love and respect.
Shout out Roldy in the building.
And Benjamin as well. Sports pervert is trash bag garbage. Okay, sports pervert is trash bag garbage. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Pest is still sounding like a robot, but Pest says thank you for.
You know what, Chris? I hope that tomorrow night after the game, you and Bad Dog and I'll be joining you. I hope we're all doing victory shots tomorrow night.
Oh, dude, listen, man, I'm gonna be down in beers like I'm 21 years old if we win tomorrow.
I'll have my Sky Blood Orange Italian vodka in hand right there with you.
Hey.
Am I still bad? Am I still bad?
You're good.
Okay, good. I don't know what that was about, man. I just I was all the smoke. Just really quickly, for New York for Life 12, New Jersey was rated like one of the top states in the nation in terms of our education. So that shows how dumb you are. Okay,
it is. Also
Trev,
one of the worst for heroin, though.
One of the worst for heroin, yeah. But we smart though. But we're very smart. We're very smart. Trev, what's up? Yep, Boofs League. How you doing? All right. Boof, still a piece of shit. Great. Roldy, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. Hey, listen, this is what we do. We talk a lot of smack. Nobody takes it personally. All right. And just to kind of close out, first and foremost, it is always a pleasure to be on Chris's channel. I would not be where I am in terms of a content creator without Chris. So it's always great to come and mob out with YouTube Yoda. I call him YouTube Yoda because he has taught me everything I know. I will be doing my preview of the game tomorrow morning. It'll be on my YouTube channel. And then I will do my immediate reaction right after the game. Don't matter what time it is. I also stream on Twitch. So if you guys want to come hang out with me over on Twitch, you can search PTA Sports on Twitch. I'm on there every day. And go Giants. I don't know if we're going to win or if we're going to lose, but I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch some football and hope that we have a good game and we have some good things to talk about. Fabian, I have not been to that fan club in Virginia. I don't know what it is. Hit me up on Twitter. It's at Pestilence. And I don't know. I don't know where it's at. Tell me where it's at. Maybe I'll show up and we hang out. I don't know. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Go Giants. Deuces.
I appreciate you for coming on. Just going to read this. DeGrom says, I own the Poverty Nationals. Get better, please, man. And taking a little shot there.
Chris, if we have a winning record by the time Halloween rolls around, you need to post a picture of yourself on your Instagram in a Yoda costume for YouTube Yoda.
That'd be dope.
And I'm just going to say, I wanted to give a quick shout. I saw him in the stream. I know I missed him last time. Let me just make sure I get to him because he always says hi and I always miss him. Where is he? I saw him. Oh, there it is. Sergeant Nix, man. What's going on, man? Thanks so much for popping in the stream, man. I see you pop in. I know I missed you the last couple of times. So just want to make sure I say thank you for coming in and all the love you always show on the channel. I appreciate you for popping in. Roldy, be good. Fabian, be good. Nick Yak, be good. JD Sports Talk, of course, the freaking man. Go over there and subscribe to him as well. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate all the support. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm sure, like Authentic said, he'll be on at noon. I'll be on at some point, whether it's on my channel or Bad Dogs. Pest will have something up. Nikki, of course, I'm sure I have some content as well on his platform. So thank you to everybody for tuning in. Let's get this win tomorrow. Be good, everybody. Have a good night.